Welcome back to 13 Card Subject Change, the show that will now be referring to CM Punk as CM Zack, because according to Jesse, I'm just a punk for not being here last week.
I was going to call you a punk bitch, but since we went on for 5 minutes, now I'm just going to do it. I guess I'll have to edit it for YouTube purposes. You punk bitch. Oh, I decided to go make money. Punk bitch.
Tilt your mic up.
You know what? As a matter of fact, why don't I call his wife so she could come in and take his spot since she's such a punk bitch.
She might be better at it.
She's making more money than all of us right now, so I don't.
That's probably true.
So I'm not even sure why we're going to
unless I win the lottery.
Yeah, exactly.
Tilt your microphone up a little bit.
We good? We good?
Yeah, there we go.
Bitch,
there.
but to get away from Zach's bitch assness, we have a guest today.
Yes, we do. Yay!
First and foremost, welcome to the 300th show.
Yay!
We decided that Mark was going to be a good idea for that. Not quite sure how that got through HR, but you know.
Yeah, how anyone thinks I'm a good idea is
well, to be
beyond
fair,
me,
I ran into you while you were working. We were talking, and this happened very quickly.
And then all of a sudden, I get a text message, and we find out for the first Mondays in 2026, 25, and 24, Mark's free.
and I might as well stay consistent. I just have to say for my first statement is, who thinks Cody Rhodes is a superstar? I mean, why does he keep going in the main event?
Because number one, he's QB1.
We'll fight about that later. Hold on.
But you know what?
But
I do have to say,
everyone stop.
no.
Leroy's got a stupid childlike comment to make. Go ahead, Leroy.
No, it's not stupid and childlike. It is a point to make. Mark did walk in here with a belt.
He did walk in here with a belt. He did.
So
he did.
There's a 44% chance that he's not going to walk out with it.
This wasn't a childlike comment in your mind.
You fucked up the math that quickly at that.
What
qualifies
as a childlike moment to you?
44%.
44.5 and 3/4%.
He has a 25% chance. There's 4 people. You got a black dude from Brooklyn doing math better than you. What is wrong with this picture?
I'm not going to lie. After all my years in the drug trade, I take offense to that.
Hey, I am the only one sitting on the folding chair, right?
That is true.
Yes. But to be fair,
I'm not going to lie.
But to be fair, I'm the only one that can get away.
We have to stay true to the wrestling creed.
Yes.
So this right here is about the only legal thing to fight 3 of you off with.
But I'm the only one that can actually get away from Mark because Jesse's injured as always, and Leroy is Leroy.
Yeah, I know, but I give Jesse the full privilege and right to actually use me as a weapon to hurt you.
He can't lift you. Look how much weight he can put on his leg.
I can't lift you today.
Okay.
But if Mark were here next Monday, I mean, anything's possible.
Jesse could be out with a heart issue. Between Mark and Jesse, we got one good working heart today.
I've got what is there, 7 in there? I've got 4 that are working.
I think
Towards the mic.
Sorry, I think I've got
hear you, so.
4 that are working of the 7 or whatever.
I think yours works way better than mine right now. That's for sure.
That's a statement.
All right.
Trying to get off the soul food is very difficult.
Maybe he'll go home with the belt.
Anyway, folks, welcome to the 300th edition of the show. Throughout the day, we're not only going to cover the most recent wrestling stuff, we're going to go over some stuff that we've done over the last 300 episodes. Obviously, a slight portion of those included Jesse as either not here or as just a guest spot.
Correct.
We'll be going over that stuff a little later, but as we open up, I think we need to open up with a couple of topics that are going out throughout the wrestling world. Jesse, first and foremost, so Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant have agreed to arbitration.
Yeah.
I think that everyone was kind of assuming it was going to go that way when if you were following the case like we were. Unfortunately, what kind of killed anyone's hope for Vince to go to jail was, let's just be honest, unfortunately, there was too much evidence that it was consensual regardless of what the act actually was.
She kind of wasn't a good self-witness at all.
We knew he wasn't going to get a poopy deal.
Yeah.
This is why I brought you.
She enjoyed that steamy turd.
But we got him out of WWE, and a win is a win.
Well, that's the other thing that we have to talk about is, Jesse, I don't think, despite all the terrible business decisions that TKO has made in the last year and a half, I don't think they're nuts enough to bring him back in any capacity.
Unless they do it to put him in the hall, have him, do a guest spot. No, I doubt it.
Well, I mean, as much as everyone hates Vince, you kind of got to put him in the hall. I mean,
Well, you got to, yeah.
And I agree. And
He would probably go into the pro wrestling
Right, yeah.
scene,
But-
so.
Cauliflower Club or
But after, it's probably going to be after he dies because no one's going to want him
Well-
actually there.
Well, but, but that's the
see.
thing is that, like, okay.
I agree with you
Okay,
on that.
Mark, we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, probably is going to be going down for at least night one.
Night one,
We'll
yes, for
talk
sure.
about that when we get to the SummerSlam preview. But basically, what I think.
and first on
Yeah.
the 31st.
Yeah. So what I think people need to
gonna be a good
understand though is that I don't think even TKO can announce that Vince is back in any capacity because the wrestling fans, like, they're already mad about ticket prices, they're already mad about this, about that. That would probably throw everybody over the edge and just be like, we're done with this product.
By the way, it doesn't look good on people who keep talking about bringing him back. Like, I want you guys as wrestling fans to know, regardless of her situation, he was accused of a lot of things in the 80s and 90s. It looks like you guys support predators for the sake of entertainment. You got to stop doing that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Do not, anything he did is pretty much heinous. There is no.
there's a lot of people that do that. Can I just go? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Now we're going to destruct. Go ahead.
I
It
mean,
was bound to happen.
I mean, if you want me to get political, the Cheeto in chief there, the biggest pedophile on our planet and convicted felon.
I would like to point out that the views of Mark technically do match those of 13 Cards.
Hey, they really do.
So go ahead.
Yeah,
And the other guy that was worse than him, he's dead because he hung himself.
yeah. Well, so you know what I?
You'll believe anything, won't you?
I'm just saying that's what they say.
Go ahead,
You know,
Mark.
I saw today on the internet, and it's probably a doctored picture,
Yeah.
but it was the last picture of John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah.
You know, Giselle Maxwell's in that picture, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
She didn't go missing. She went to the fucking island.
Yep.
Pardon
Nope.
my
Exactly.
French.
But anyway, I think that's like the thing that we have to discuss is that from a business perspective, what is the benefit of bringing back a guy that made the entire thing almost go into financial ruin just by existing?
2014 to 2019 were some of the worst
And that's
years
the other thing
ever.
and that's the other thing that like I want to bring up before we talk about. It's the other thing that people have to understand. Despite what you think about Triple H's current booking situation, which by the way is not as bad as people think, they just keep comparing it to people that had a C pay-per-view last night, and everyone's saying it's at least a 7.5 out of 10.
To be honest,
We'll
I
talk about
absolutely
it.
forgot that the show was on last
So
night.
did most people. But anyway, but no, that's the other thing. From 2011 to
I've just gotten
2000.
used to not having to pay for pay-per-views, so now I don't. When it's like, hey, it's $50.
Well, it's
I'm
okay.
like,
Jesse doesn't pay.
I ain't doing that.
Well, it's okay.
Neither do I.
And
Jesse and I don't pay for these. We just watch them. But that's the thing. From 2011 to like 2019, people have to understand something. The guy admitted on Pat McAfee, the biggest sports show in the world at the time, I'm booking for me.
He said, "I booked for a general audience, and then I booked for me because a general audience is like me, and I wanted to go through the screen and start choking him and be like, they're not all perverted 70-year-old men. What are you talking
And
about?"
that's the thing that we have to understand. Guys, again, we do it on the show mostly because it's funny when Jesse brings it up. Leroy still doesn't know how to deal with it. Guys, let's just go through some of Vince's lowlights, shall we? There was a tag team called the Lesbians that existed for 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw. Choppa Choppa to PP,
Choppa
whether
Choppa
it
to
was
PP.
Vince Russo or Vince McMahon, was allowed on television.
Yes.
I will say, as an diagnosed ADHD person, that skit lives rent-free in my head since it was on the air.
That's list rent free in everyone's thing.
Every time I pick up
number-
a katana, that literally goes through my head. Chubby, chubby.
But also, number one, this man got away with fighting in a tag team match the
Against
Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels,
God.
and God. This happened, and wrestling fans look at people and say, "Oh, we are highbrow entertainment." We've
And-
never been highbrow
and no,
entertainment.
Jesse, I don't think you probably would forget the moment that he walked up to John Cena
Oh,
with
what-
the do-rag on it. And
What's
said,
up, my nigga?
Yeah.
And as Booker T walks up thinking, should I get fired today?
I
Today's a
would've.
good day to get fired.
Today's an okay day to get fired.
I will tell you, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would hit him. I'm that person. I
All
would
I'm
attack him.
saying
And
is,
Booker made that
all
slip
I'm
calling
saying is,
Hogan that.
we
but
are in
still.
2026. That man gets free range to do whatever he wants again. I have said it before and I will say it again. There is a litany of young women in NXT who are trying to do this business right. They're whores in 2 weeks. They're literal whores in 2 weeks.
I won't say that because he was pretty good later on when it came to Charlotte.
But he had
Mercedes.
Stephanie there.
And Stephanie was there.
And now she's busy doing the podcast. By the way, go listen to
it's
What's Your Story.
amazing. What's
It's
Your
an
Story?
amazing
It's
show.
very
She does a
good.
She is.
She's awesome.
I want to say it's very much like a Chris Van Vliet in that it is a story. It is literally a conversation.
Right.
And what you do realize is regardless of what the court case with Janelle Grant said, regardless of everything that came out, regardless of, let's be honest, we all know how corporate America works. Jesse, she is as much a victim as anyone in that court case. And that is actually a fact.
that's
When you
for
look
sure.
at the amount of years that she had to deal with.
Well, just think of what Vince did to her on air.
It
as a
was
child
supposed
and
to be
subjected
his child.
Well, that's the thing.
Triple H's first kid was supposed to be her.
The crap that he suggested here. This is the storyline. Like the what was it? The week before her wedding, because he couldn't do something.
Right.
He basically punched her in the face on
Yes.
air.
Yeah.
And Linda's like, if you give her a black eye, we're divorced type.
Right.
It's like you hear all this kind of stuff from all these shows. It's like, well, we don't really need to hear that because we all knew that. But
Well, that is the thing
you know,
that the Vince defenders will not drop. We can just look at the booking and we know what this man does in real life.
Well, here, I can break it down with this real quick. We can obviously tell by who we have in office
yeah.
that 90%, well, okay, 60% of our nation looks the other way for things when it just doesn't involve them.
Yeah.
Just to say, I want this entertainment, I want this.
Right.
Where the rest of us are like, well, I'm going to go because there's no option because I like wrestling, but I'm still going to be like, you're a dick.
Do you
And
realize?
I'm going to call you out for
Do
it.
you,
Right.
do you
Like
realize
Mick
the
Like Mick
percentage?
Foley is the perfect example.
Do-
He's
Do we understand the percentage of people in this country that legitimately stop listening to music because they find out it was AI generated? Like, we are moving into an era where entertainment is becoming so slopped that if you even bother to dip your toe into something that, again, I hate to be that guy, but like, I'm not here to say the cancel culture exists the way that it did even 5 years ago, but we are still in an era where I think the most out-of-date phrase in America is all press is good press. I think we're at that point now where, like, you can go too far. And I think that bringing Vince McMahon back in is going too far.
Well, everyone is press now, so that's kind of a false statement. We can't all just be like back when it was just the news sources on TV and
Fox,
print.
CBS, NBC. Yeah.
Right.
That's a valid statement. Now everyone with a phone, everyone with a camera is a news source because we're all of they're doing stuff. You know, I will just remind everyone that's listening, you have free choice to do anything. There's consequences. And see, the thing is, people don't get punched in the mouth enough.
Well, you know, it's funny because I recently got sent a TikTok.
I felt like that when I had to watch certain episodes that Zach told me to do, but that's all I'm going to say.
We'll get to that later.
That's
in
a
the show.
preview for
Yeah, we'll get
later.
to the later show. But no,
You're welcome.
it's interesting that you say that. Jesse and I have been going back and forth a lot about the third most popular podcast in the world being Financial Audit. And one thing that, yes, you've got 40 people who went on the show who come out and they say, Caleb made me do this, that. At the end of the day, all those people, hilariously enough, all admit to the same thing, though. It was all real and unscripted. So you're lashing out at somebody who, yeah, it's really easy to have someone look at you and say, hey, you want to save $20? Don't spend $20. But when you watch these episodes in totality, for 90 minutes, how would you act if you were talking to someone who, while you went through the dumbest decisions in their life, they have one of three responses. One, it could be worse. Two, that's why I'm here. It's like, okay, cool. I have to fix it for you. You have no accountability. Or number three, yeah, that happened and, it was what it was. It's like, there is no accountability anymore. And people get mad when they're held accountable, and that's what Vince was. And when he tried to come back and hostile take over everything, we thought that the people at TKO were smart enough to not bring the guy back. But I will say this, and I want to bring up a counterpoint, not that I'm hoping for it. They are convinced that what's ever going on with the popularity of WWE is solely on something they don't understand, and that is the wrestling side of things. They think that the booking and Triple H's version of wrestling is not what's going to bring people back. And I'm like, Jesse,
No, it's the
what
jacking
happened
up the
after
damn
WrestleMania
prices.
39? WWE went on a hot streak that made more money than any company ever.
Yeah, for year and a half, 2 years, They sold out every arena. They sold out every stadium show.
And then all of a sudden, one of Mark's favorite people, Mark, Dwayne can't sell a movie anymore, so he comes back to the one thing that he's still popular in, and all of a sudden
And
Ari
he
and these
ruins
guys.
that.
Yep, exactly. All these people in TKO they're so enamored by celebrity. I don't understand it.
It's because they think that the celebrity is going to draw in the non-wrestling crowd
Bingo.
to get them more money and the richer side of it, because they know most wrestling fans aren't rich people. We watch wrestling because we want an escape from
And
reality.
now it's interesting that you
because
say that, because now I want
most
to
of our lives
transfer.
aren't that great.
Now I want to transfer into.
I work in retail all my life.
Yeah.
Trust me, my life ain't great.
Yeah.
I love my life, but it ain't great.
Yeah, but that's just it. It's just
That's why I got a different job.
there is there is this understanding in the world of wrestling that you have a certain type of celebrity that is going to be into the product, and 9 times out of 10 it's podunked down south style people, because wrestling in the South, guys, you can deny it all you want, because you look at their and when I see all these posting on Facebook and Twitter and Reddit, everyone's always like, what's the best this, that, yada yada. People can't get past 1985. And it's like, you guys know that Jerry the King Lawler is the most decorated professional wrestler of all time. Over 180 championships, different championships in the history of his career. And he has made more money than 90% of the people that you tell me had these great matches.
Yep.
Like, don't get me wrong. I will sit there and tell you probably a top 5 match all time. Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WrestleMania is an amazing match.
Yeah.
Guys, Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat had that match 4 different times in like 8 different territories.
Yes.
And
The
I think
history of wrestling.
He might have used all 15 to 20 pages of that match that he wrote out.
But that's just
Because he
my-
wrote them out.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's just my thing. When you look at the history of wrestling, Andy Kaufman made the Jerry the King Lawler thing go on forever, but it made sense because Kaufman was in it was twofold. Kaufman was in an era where people still believed it, and Kaufman understood the cultural significance of Southern wrestling.
And it also made Andy Kaufman relevant again back then. 'Cause
True.
He was starting to get unrelevant.
He's getting
So-
very unpopular. Yeah.
Think about our moron president. He was using the WWE to get himself a branded sign. I'm sure it was.
Right.
I'm sure it was to brand his hotel or his steaks or his
Right,
water or his college
Yep.
or whatever other businesses
Well, he-
bankrupted.
Right.
Bankrupted. But that's why he went in there. I mean, why else would a out of shape piece of crap, shitting himself person get in a ring and take fake punches and bumps? It's to make sure that he appeals himself. So every celebrity that goes in there, they're doing it, of course, for themselves.
Well, correct.
Well,
And-
he wasn't pooping himself then, but he is now.
He's been pooping himself since the 90s.
probably
So,
pooping
yes.
Maybe
Yes,
maybe he
the
got
80s.
hit too hard. That's why he pooped.
No, he's it's documented since the 90s. He's been in diapers because of mainly his addiction to speed that he doesn't have. Because,
Well,
because it's a medical one, because it's Adderall.
But it's funny because how do you sleep that much now?
Well, he technically doesn't. I mean, look at all of his true social stuff. It comes from 1 to 5 in the morning.
It's like
Yeah.
slobs, you know?
But there has been some celebrities that have come on there, like
Unlike Vince McMahon, who just still wants to speed in a car even though he can't use his fucking
I
left
know.
leg.
But there are some celebrities that
Tony
have been
Romo
on there
did
that
that
actually good.
a couple days
Go
ago,
ahead,
too.
Leroy.
Like like Speed, that's been on there. He actually trained with Randy. Did a good job.
Okay,
Bad
but
Bunny.
okay, but
you
hold
know,
on.
so there are the
hold
good
on.
things that are in there.
But hold on. Whilst that, yes, disproves my point about the Southern people, let's look at those individually. One, you have a music star who comes from an island that is rich in wrestling history. There's no way he didn't grow up knowing the Colognes every other day of his life. And then number 2, I Show Speed isn't the type of celebrity that WWE ownership looks at as real celebrity, even though some of the top earners in entertainment are literally streamers these days.
Well, it's the I Show Speed thing. As long as he's getting clicks from something and his name's in there, he's getting paid. So he's going to go on anything. That's
Well,
gonna-
right,
Well, it's true.
right.
I mean, just look at his channel and the stupid stuff that he does. It's entertaining, but I mean, that's part of his job. That's his entertainment. And don't get me wrong. If WWE ever offered me something to go on there, I wouldn't say.
Well, that's just the
no
thing,
either,
is
so.
that WWE tried to do this thing where there is an untapped market of celebrity that a lot of businesses are actually starting to use. Like I said, you look at what Caleb Hammer is sponsored by. It's not just other YouTubers anymore. It's not just financial stuff. There's legit businesses trying to get on the third most popular podcast in the world.
Right.
And WWE was trying to integrate that in a way that made sense to wrestling fans. But once again, the WWE is held back by whoever fucking owns the WWE. Because you go from one extreme in Vince to another extreme of, hey, we think celebrities will sell tickets. Did you not learn that didn't work? Jelly Roll literally told Pat McAfee, we need to leave. We have to go. We are no longer welcome here. Jelly Roll at least had the balls to sit there and be like, I was no longer welcome by the fans, and I was at least able to admit that. I give Jelly Roll all the credit in the world, not just for what he tried to do in the ring, but it got to a point where instead of just doing it like in Puerto Rico, where of course Bad Bunny was going to get over, and especially since the song they used for his entrance was like his first big hit when he
Right.
was a local artist. But then you got to the South with Jelly Roll in his hometown. It was all country music, this and that, fine, whatever. But when Jelly Roll went on the road, when Jelly Roll was at SmackDown and they opened with him instead of Cody, which we'll get into Mark's rant about that later on the show.
I'd
Hold
be
on
okay
now.
with that. I don't like Jelly Roll, but I'd still be okay with that.
But that's my point, is that Jelly Roll got away because he looked at it as a fan and said, they don't want me here anymore. And honestly, Speed was only there sporadically, and he did the thing, which, by the way, I think was actually well done at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But then it was time to sort of pull back on Speed. But I think that Speed was going to do that anyway, because obviously he was going to ramp up his World Cup coverage.
Right.
There's no way Ronaldo's the GOAT. Sorry, I don't even like soccer, but like,
It's debatable.
And see, I liked Speed's angle in
How
the
many World
WWE
Cups?
because he always just ended up being Logan Paul's punching bag for something.
Football is as much of a team sport as American football.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. But
to
getting
place it all on one
speared
dude
is
is
bad
crazy.
And that's the other thing. Logan Paul was a guy that is, once again, we all know the phrase, there's always one exception to the rule. Streamer, but he did take it seriously. He did start to do it full time. So, like, now you have to use that celebrity to sort of bring in people that will stay for him, which is why I always told people, regardless of what you think of the man as a human being, and I don't think very much of him, because let's be honest, he didn't come from nothing. His father was actually quite successful before he got into this.
For sure.
But the guy, unlike Jake, has at least tried to apologize for past mistakes. He's at least tried to come off as a good guy. He's not good at it because he's genuinely just a douchebag. But his celebrity, unfortunately, still exists.
But
and
do you-
that's just the way it goes.
Do you still consider him a celebrity, or
Oh,
do you
absolutely.
consider him a superstar?
Okay, let me explain something to you. You know Logan Paul maybe at best twice a week. He still streams fucking 18 times a week.
Okay.
Impulsive is still a top 20 podcast in the world. He still does YouTube channels. He still does TikToks. He still is doing a ton of things,
So, yeah.
including getting sued by a company, a state, and a country.
Yeah,
I
his-
don't like him, but he is entertaining once again.
Yeah.
So, but if somebody would say to you, "Hey, I think he's a superstar," would you disagree with them or say
100% agree.
you would 100%
You
think
have,
he's a superstar?
you have
Okay.
to agree. Mark,
I will agree with that.
Mark
too.
is patient zero on a personal level hating Donald Trump, but Mark is not going to deny. Unfortunately, he is polarizing. I mean, like that. I mean, like that's just a fact.
I don't know how. Like it's,
I understand that you don't know how, but-
It's kind of like looking at Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, well,
You kind of want to go. Is there
Yeah.
something under there? What
Yeah,
like,
no, it's very strange.
I want to touch the hair to see if it's real.
yeah. No, it's,
I want to run my finger down to see how much paint is actually on his face.
yeah.
About 4 inches.
And I honestly want to smell how bad he is because
I would.
my grandma's in the nursing home right now, and there's a lot of smells in there. And if it smells anything like that, there's
Oh,
no
probably.
denying that. And I don't understand why someone
Well,
would
to be
cover
fair,
that up.
Jesse could probably tell you about the smell because Jesse was in New York, and according to Jesse, half the smell in New York is just the Trump family.
I mean, that doesn't.
A bunch of filthy fucking rats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's fair. I mean there isn't anything I can say good about any member of that.
Oh, God,
family.
no.
So,
And to be fair, they don't like him either because they all were making money comfortably from that little charity that eventually got shut down,
well-
and now they have no jobs.
well, here's the thing. I don't care if you're a piece of shit, but if you're running our country, you sure as hell better have better morals than I do.
That's fair. And that bar's not that high. No offense to you.
I didn't say it was.
Yeah,
but,
no, exactly.
But I
But
mean,
anyway.
he's
Well, as
the
presidents-
bar for him is
well.
buried in the ground,
Logan-
past the septic system.
Logan
right?
Paul is probably the best case scenario, and
Yeah.
that is the fact that he actually has committed to this to be, for the most part, a full-time wrestler.
Yeah.
He does their live events. Well, when he was not hurt, he does their live events.
And to Mark's
He
point,
still is making it,
and to Mark's point from earlier,
injuries.
yes, it was a trying to gain a new popularity style thing for him
Sure.
because I think what people don't understand if you were looking at the streaming the world the way Jesse and I do, Logan had fallen to a point where Jesse, his stuff just wasn't working anymore,
Well, that's
and I
because
don't think
the
he
Paul
understood.
brothers, the Paul brothers were just not respected. So, like,
No,
They're still not.
and definitely not their father.
despite
either.
how Mark feels about the whole world of feels and vibes and feelings, that is a community based on it, and they just didn't fit that mold.
Well, and it's one of those things to give Logan Paul a ton of credit.
Yeah.
His frog splash is probably
he-
one of my favorites.
Well, his commitment to pro wrestling, to actually commit to it, so like the other dumbass streamer, the half
What
half
other
black,
dumbass?
half Mexican dude, who was just at Saturday Night's Main Event, used to date the terrible white rapper from Australia.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But he fucking stupidly, in WWE probably didn't think he was going to do this.
Yeah.
But they let him backstage.
And he filmed
And
Penta.
he's
Oh,
filmed
yeah, the
his
guy
face.
that-
That guy,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And
He
just-
deserved to get slapped for that.
just the understanding, and this is why them TKO / Endeavor getting into this now in hindsight, you're just like, fuck, almost worst case scenario in a way, besides Saudi Arabia, is just because you're just like, they have no understanding of the actual thing itself.
And that's the thing that I don't think. So we're going to get into a topic here in a second that is the extreme of what the wrestling business ultimately becomes backstage. It's the final episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which was absolutely botched. Terrible job. Hated every fucking minute of it.
What?
Well, the part 3 of TNA.
Part 3 of TNA was absolutely botched. They
Well, you
should
mentioned
they
that
should
in
have gone
in
with what the
our-
creators originally said, which was they
in
should
our
have just
group
done a
chat.
full season on TNA because they skipped over so many things and there was so much better stuff to talk about. But
That's all right. At that point, they had already buried.
we'll get to that in a
They
second.
buried
We'll
the
get to that in a
bitch,
second.
so I was
Did they
good
let-
with it.
But
We'll
maybe
get to that in
they
a second.
come.
We'll get
Maybe
to that in a
they will
second.
come back
But-
to other parts
Oh,
later in the
nope,
season.
nope.
You
Did
don't
they
think
let
so?
Hogan make
No, no, no.
decisions then or
They
something?
only did the
You're
3
right.
episodes.
You're right. Once
Yeah, they
again,
only did the 3.
they've already announced all the episodes, and the only one that I'm halfway still interested in was Joe versus Necro Butcher.
Which is really good.
Because, by the way,
It
I've
was really
seen the
good.
match.
Yeah.
And it's... Whew! Anyway,
was really
but back
good.
to my point. No, that's the part that people don't get is you can go back to Ann Gunkel from the Georgia Wars. You can go back to later Jim Herd because he lost the plot after about 15, 20
yeah.
years in the business. You can look at so many different people, and you have to understand that the guy that we opened up talking about, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, is the only wrestling promoter to survive because he found a balance. And unfortunately, it's an understanding that Vince was able to hold on to wrestling fans ultimately because he was the only game in town for about 15 to 20 years. And what's sort of annoying, and we'll get to them later, is regardless of how fans feel, AEW has missed so many at-bats. They've had so many misfires. And we'll document that here on episode 300 because obviously it's one of the biggest things that's happened since we started this show because Leroy and I
Yeah.
started right before the T-shirt company dropped their first show. But like the WWE,
And their first T-shirt.
right? The WWE
2 years down the road.
has
Yeah, at
had
least you got
a
it.
year and a half
Yeah.
period where,
the Young Buck shirt.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the WWE for a year and a half was like one of the biggest things in entertainment. And it was because they were focusing on wrestling, and Triple H, who everyone thinks doesn't get wrestling, no, he found the balance. It's just that Vince came in, made you forget about all of it because he took over everything again, and then all of a sudden, these dudes at Endeavor, which, again, Jesse tells us all the time, the UFC fans told us it was going to happen. These guys are obsessed with... Okay, let's go through the numbers one more time. Jesse, what was the sale for WWE about 6.5? We We rounded up.
I think it was 6.3 bill or something.
Okay,
like
so
that.
we're on
Yeah,
up to about
that sounds about right.
okay, so about 6.5. Within 8 months of buying this company, the first WrestleMania under your full control netted $1 billion in the only week they were in Philly.
Correct.
You were selling out arenas across the world. You still had the Saudi deal, which you inherited,
Right.
which was still at the time worth probably $1.5 billion. So now we're already at $2.5 billion. Then you signed a $5 billion deal with Netflix, which, by the way, folks, even if Raw does terribly, they still have to pay the $5 billion. You think WWE got a fucking no? You know, oh, you don't have to pay us if we do better. What?
According to my thing on Netflix, it's always one of the top 3 shows.
Oh,
Always.
hold on. So somebody other than Jesse at our show is telling us this. That's funny because people are always like, Jesse, where are you getting your information? Literally Netflix
I
themselves.
just go on to Netflix.
You just go to Netflix.
It's like when I go to watch my Raw, it's like number 1 or number 3 or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like
every week.
Yeah, so
In just the 3 things that I've mentioned, they've paid.
And by the way, it usually stays on there for like a good 4 to 5 days.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I just mentioned 3 things that arguably made you money on purchasing this thing. And instead of what people in this room would do, which would be, Mark, you just made another $700,000 in this past month. Mark would be like, cool, so I can just stay on the couch for the rest of the week and just cash that check? Yeah, cool. No, these guys are like, we
roll one
know.
up and take a nap.
Yeah, right? These guys turned around, and what did they say? Oh, we know entertainment. We know this. We know that. When all they had to do was look at the history of wrestling and realize, okay, how many people get in the wrestling business? They have the money. They're the money angels, whatever you wanted to call Dixie Carter at the time, besides a douchebag. And all of a sudden,
A lot of
they're
things.
like, well, I want to be in control. And it's like, this has never worked. ECW was successful. They just didn't have the money thing figured out. Can you imagine if ECW had the money?
They'd still be around in probably.
Paul
wrestling
Heyman
WWE
had
'cause-
people in rabid.
Paul Heyman needed a partner to be able to deal with television.
And I agree
Well,
with you on
Because
that.
he was fucking garbage at it.
Well,
And I
yes,
agree with you on that, but if
his
somebody
wrestling
comes in
brain,
and
if someone
pays for it-
gives him the money
Well,
back.
right.
His wrestling.
But
brain takes
even
over
like
and
he
wins.
eventually admitted he's probably one of the worst New York Jews of all time. Because how you don't know how to deal with TV execs is insane.
Yeah, he has admitted that. But anyway, so now we'll transition into this.
Too nice in real life, I guess.
I mean,
No.
I wouldn't even
No,
say that.
no.
But it was just like he didn't know how to work with execs, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but anyway, as we transition, Jesse, I know you didn't think it was that bad, but like, we got to talk about episode 3. First of all, there was no Billy Corgan. They jumped all around the map, and by the end of it was just a puff piece on Jeff Jarrett.
You know what, though? The reason I didn't have a problem with it overall was just because,
And how about the 5 minutes of Tony Khan beefing himself up? Tony Khan was a talking head in this thing. You had nothing to do with TNA except killing a main event scene.
Listen. His part is whatever at this point. Like I just every time I see his face, I grin and bear it.
He is the
I'm
most
like Melania
coolest man
taking.
in wrestling.
I'm like Melania taking photos with Trump in public. I just grin and bear it with Tony Khan. But it's just
a lot
one
of Trump jokes today, folks.
Isn't it more of a wince from her though? I mean, she doesn't
Yeah, well.
like being next to that.
No, it's. I mean, she'll push his hand away, but she still grins and bears
But back
it.
to this whole point.
But here's the thing. It's just.
She's getting money.
Well, as I say, she thinks he's rich.
I would never in a million years get like
And he
because
got it.
otherwise
we'll try to talk about wrestling here, boys, at some
But
point.
what I'm
you
getting
know.
at is you can't. That
We're talking about a Hall of Famer.
I'm glad you knew where to go with that joke. I
Um,
appreciate you. Thank you. I don't have to write anything half the time because everyone that comes in the room just knows where
Sometimes
to
you
go.
don't want to talk about Hall of Famers.
Otherwise you do have to do
we'll
a.
get current.
You would almost have to do a full like 10 episodes on that whole story. But their focus was to talk about Jeff Jarrett's story as well. So I really had no problem with how much they skipped over in episode 3. I thought it was a nice way to wrap it up. By the way, I think Karen Jarrett comes out looking much better because
Well,
for
but what's
years-
so funny to me is that, once again, everyone wants to talk about we want Vince back, but once again, you can't separate yourselves from reality. They're like, of course we can. I'm like, you're the same people that thought that Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle had real, legitimate, real-life heat when, A, it was explained by by Jim Cornette for the last 5 years that he's had a podcast. Kurt was dating Raka Khan.
Yeah.
They'd been separated. The whole locker room knew
Right.
it. And that's why Jim was confused as to why Dixie was able to use something that everyone knew. Not to mention the fact, Jeff said in the piece, people ask me today at like cons, are you and Kurt okay? And he goes, we've been co-parenting children since 2010.
Right.
Karen and Kurt were long done.
Right.
Jeff and Karen
Because they were going to divorce before he got let go by WWE.
right. And by the way, Jeff and Karen was a well-established thing. The part that gets me about episode 3 was, I think Dixie or someone came to the or Dixie came to the party. No, Vince Russo, I think it was, came to the party, and Karen and Jeff opened the door. So there weren't 60 other people at Jeff's house who were all aware that Karen and Jeff were together.
So yeah, it was Dixie Carter.
Yeah, it was Dixie.
It was Dixie, and then she calls Vince Russo afterwards and goes, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" And Vince was just like, to give him some credit, he was just like, "I didn't think it was important." Like, who
That's
cares?
true.
This
Is it involved in the wrestling storyline that you're paying
At
for?
the time,
No,
no,
then
she
what
wasn't
does
even a
it
part of the
matter,
wrestling
lady?
business.
And that was the craziest part about this episode 3 was, look, I understand she declined to be interviewed, which pretty much proves that she's guilty of
I was going to
everything.
say, all she
But-
did was admit guilt by not showing up.
But they could have done so much more on her. I feel like they were actually nice to her for whatever reason.
I think in the sense, because she's not there to defend herself, so why even tear into her more? But like I said, I'm like, by not defending yourself, you tell the whole story.
Well,
You really, like I tell people, I'm like, if you're going to a court case, a good lawyer at some point will allow you to tell your story, because otherwise you just keep looking more guilty
that's
and more
why.
guilty.
Well, that's why I've always said. I'll let you go in here in a second, Mark. I've always said if a lawyer is part of a big case that's like covered by all the U.S. outlets, and everyone's like, well, why didn't he testify in his defense? Because the lawyer was smart and told him not to.
Well, right.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to go on Jesse saying they didn't want to pick on her because, she's not there to defend herself. Well, Hogan's been gone for a while, and every chance I get, I will make every reference.
So that
I
was
can
the
to-
other thing in this. I'm glad you brought that up. That was the other thing, was they didn't get too deep into Hogan because he had just passed when they started recording it.
Even though Eric Bischoff admitted Hulk was out of money, so I got him the job in TNA.
Right, and then Jeff was just like, he was supposed to be my friend, and as I'm sitting across from him, I realized he knows nothing about TNA.
and just to let you know, for my personal views, I don't care who you are. If you are a racist piece of shit, I will never be nice to you.
No, that's fair.
Thank you. See, this is why you're my friend.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
But like I think what bothered me the most about the episode.
I just didn't pull a Twitter and dance on his grave. I thought about it, but I didn't.
I wouldn't spend the money to get there if I'm somehow in it's probably in Pensacola, Florida. If I ever decide to
Yeah, he's in
degrade
Florida,
myself to go in the sun in Florida and deal
Become
with
leather?
Well, no, it's the Trump heaven down there. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and I'm also allergic to the sun,
well,
so I mean,
well,
it doesn't
you are very much so. But like that's my thing about this whole episode was like I understand what they tried to do for entertainment, but then you look at other episodes that they've done. Once again, the problem that I have with Dark Side of the Ring is there are episodes that are geared to just give you what happened. And then there are episodes that you look at them and you're like, we talked about the Canyon episode.
Okay.
And the Bucks were there just to basically say WWE didn't treat him fairly, and it was like, and it was like, look, Chris was an amazing in-ring talent, but no one ever said he was going to be entertaining.
I think, and then
They did him wrong. Don't get me
to
wrong.
be fair,
but
having
like,
Chris Jericho actually on that episode balanced a lot of the Buck shit out, because Chris Jericho is also his friend.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's not as simple as that. And
Chris-
even the Undertaker, they had one part where Mark Calloway, who was talking in an interview, like there was some shit that was done to him that just wasn't cool. Like even some of the shit that I was forced to do to him, he's like, I always talk to him backstage like, in WWE, you just got to take some lumps sometimes, brother.
and the thing about the Chris Canyon episode that bothered me was like, everyone thinks because
And yes, John Cena looked fucking horrendous coming out of that episode.
he did, yeah, no, it was not a good episode for him. But like when you look
Well,
at
when you
wrestling,
pull the curtain back on him in the WWE, a lot of things didn't look good for him. So
when you look at
we'll
wrestling
just
as a
keep
whole
his
today,
Make-A-Wish thing as the forefront. For
there
now.
is
Right.
legitimately there is legitimately the sicko side of wrestling, and then there's everybody else. If you don't agree with what the elite say, then you obviously A, don't understand wrestling, and B, you don't get what wrestling was. And I'm like, guys, Chris Jericho is the perfect example of, let's be honest, Chris Jericho, we all knew him in Japan
Right.
and in WCW.
Right.
Very entertaining cruiserweight,
Yeah.
but was never going to be taken seriously on a mainstream level. When he got to WWE, think about what Chris has told us in interviews and the documentaries of his debut.
Right.
Everything that had to go into that. His first interaction wasn't a squash match. Here's Chris Jericho from WC. It was The Rock.
But don't take that. But don't take his last match as a good match. He won by a drill.
Oh, we're gonna talk about
We're gonna get to
AEW.
that. Don't
I
worry.
know,
Trust me,
I
we're
just-
gonna talk about
We're
AEW.
gonna get to
today.
AEW.
Trust me, I didn't want to interrupt you. I had such a good zinger there, and it kind of went away. But I just had to say,
Save the zinger. You can do the zinger over again. It's fine.
it'll
we're-
come back.
We're gonna get into
Exactly.
AEW
But no,
today. Yeah.
But to finish up, it's just
The Painmaker.
guys like
Yeah.
Canyon, we all knew could go and we were
Right.
fans of.
Right.
Painful for
Nobody.
us.
First of all, I've literally sat next to Tatanka and asked him straight up, was it ever like a weird vibe with Vince? And he said, absolutely not. Vince was always respectful of my culture and all this other kind of stuff. So Vince got that when he wasn't senile.
Right.
But like, it's like, again, going back to what I said earlier about people like Vince should come back. The whole gay thing with Canyon, that was a step too far. That was Vince doing something that just didn't need to be done.
Correct.
Especially since that was the same era where I think Billy and Chuck, a lot of people have said, that wasn't offensive because there was never any real, push at being gay. There was like just the comical allusion to it.
It was the comical implication of it.
I always tell people,
Also,
don't watch Whose Line Is
Billy
It?
and Chuck, gay
Yeah.
people actually liked.
Exactly.
I know my brother was
Yep.
a fan of that because he
But here's
thought
the
it was
deal.
funny.
Don't
so.
ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyway from the 90s because you will be, if you're a 2026 Gen Zer, because yes, back then, just alluding to being gay made an entire audience laugh. That was just the era that they were in. And obviously, in an era where you could get away with just about anything on television, that was a step too far. Everyone
To
kind
be
of
fair, Wayne
acknowledged
Brady
it.
is still doing that show and is an
Yeah,
openly
they're still doing
bisexual man. So
pansexual.
pansexual, but he has said
I
he's
love
had
Wayne
relations
Brady.
with men.
They should never watch the episode with Richard Simmons. That's all I have to say.
Well, he
'Cause
was
they'd be
he
very,
was
very offended.
super goddamn gay.
Yeah.
but
Everybody would be offended, but that was
it's just
funny
it's-
as hell.
But I get what you're saying because it's one of those things where it's just like
They don't always. I don't think they had enough balance in talking heads in this episode because, you spent too much time on Jeff, which don't get me wrong, Jeff Jarrett is integral. He is on the Mount Rushmore of TNA. No one's going to deny that. But also, you spent too much time talking about something that was.
I think me and you are going to disagree because I think from the first episode, they always said Jeff Jarrett's story is the same as TNA's.
So okay, let me ask you
So
this.
I think their whole thing was to talk about Jeff Jarrett as well.
Then why not make a separate episode just about Jeff?
Here's the thing. I still have no problems with it. Here's the reason. One, TNA is still alive and well.
We don't know how, but they're still alive.
The
and well.
cockroach will not die from the nuclear war. It is still alive.
The wrestling show that will never die.
And,
I
and
will
by
s-
the way, it's as good as it's ever been. I actually
yes.
genuinely enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Number two, I think having the two as because it really is interesting to compare his life story and all that. The starting of it, thankfully him and his father made up before his father's passing. I think that was the best part of the episode.
Because
for
I
me.
think they said I think Jim said in his review of episode 3, it was like for the first 3 months of them talking again, they were allowed to talk to each other, but could not bring up anything about wrestling. Which, if you're a Jarrett, good luck, but somehow that worked.
Well, when me and my father eventually reconcile, it'll never be a political talk anymore. I'll tell you that, goddamn.
Yep.
Because the second he opens his mouth about politics or really religion, I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I definitely get that in that aspect. There's just some stuff with your family. If
I
you want to
I
keep
still
them close, you
now
can't
now
talk to them
now
about
okay. Let me ask you guys this because everyone knows the documented story of Vince, not McMahon, but Russo. Do you think? And I'm gonna be honest.
That's the shit I didn't like.
Hold on. Before we get into that, let me ask the question, and then we'll go to your
ahead.
point. Do you think though that was Vince Russo a good hire in the sense that did he get what Jeff was trying to do?
Vince Russo was never a good hire.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I got from the
What are you
Vince,
talking about, bro?
Here's what I got from Vince Russo and Jeff.
I also,
Jarrett.
by the way, didn't realize this until I went back and watched the whole thing. Brian Last said it on the Jim Cornette experience, and then I went back and watched the TNA episode. And I'm like, oh my god, he was right. Vince Russo enunciates every consonant and vowel in a word when he's speaking as a talking head. It is the most annoying goddamn thing in the world.
It's very New Jersey of him. So here's the thing. Yes, the toilet bowl of America. So here's the thing. Even though I was born in Summit, New Jersey, but was raised in New York, thank God. So here's the
you
thing.
smartened up at birth.
Well, my mother and father were very, 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 very young, like not 18 yet. So and it was prom, so things happen. So here's the thing. And here comes me. I understand that Jeff Jarrett and Vince Russo have a really good friendship. And so he believes in Vince Russo. But through 3 episodes, I kept going, why the fuck do you trust this idiot? Everything that comes out of his mouth is stupid.
People have to understand something. I did personal polls of a lot of our fans.
And also, really quick, I'll
Yeah.
say this about the 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It does show, and it reminds me a lot of Leroy. Some people just have really good hearts.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett has a really good
A great heart.
Because
I-
remember he talks a lot about the balance of having
Jerry
Vince
and
Russo
Vince, yeah.
and just
I
Yeah.
did polls of people who that was the first time in the docu-series of Dark Side of the Ring
Right.
that people were aware that Jim Cornette wasn't making a joke in his legendary rant about Russo. 45 minutes. I listen to it once a month just to remind me that pure hate does exist in this world, and I love it. But understand something. There was an episode where a midget was basically beating off in a trash can. This happened, and then, by the way, he pulled a gun.
I remember that.
Yes! We all remember this!
And we all will piss on his grave with Jim.
But
it's
understand-
supposed to be TV,
But,
bro. Like,
but,
get the fuck
but this
outta
was the
here.
first time. But this was the first time that the majority of the wrestling fans that I polled actually were like, wait, Jim wasn't joking? Jim Cornette is the only guy left in the wrestling business who will never joke about stupid shit because he doesn't need the money anymore. But, that happened.
No, that was a real ass thing.
That was a real
I don't know why
segment.
people thought Jim Cornette was making that up. I'm like, that was on TV.
You don't just... Mark's brain goes about 15 million miles a minute. He can't come up with something that funny, that quick, that instantaneously on a subject. No. So when he said it, I was like, no, guys, it happened. And
Yep.
by the way,
By the way,
had...
the segment ends with Jeff Jarrett crowning the midget. Something people forgot he got into trouble in WCW for.
Yep.
But Jeff was just like, fuck it, I'll do it. It's a weird story, but whatever.
And now I'm going to ask this. Do you think... Okay, we have heard this. It's been referred to. We all know that the first real reign of terror in wrestling was the 2 years Triple H was the World Heavyweight Champion on
God,
Raw.
yeah.
But now my question is, Jesse, when you watch the documentary, and just off that information, because the stories of TNA, someone needs to write a book series and just get the information out there, from the Health South issues to Dixie's parents to finding out that Dixie, the PR woman, apparently never understood PR because she didn't think it was a bad idea to hump a man's leg on the way out of television. Anyway... was it a good
Pure
idea?
fucking
Well, if you're
genius
Vern
by
Troyer,
Eric
it
Bischoff
would
and
be
Hulk
okay.
Hogan.
Huh?
If you're Vern Troyer, it would be okay to
I mean,
hump
that's fair.
someone's leg on.
But now my question
She thought
is
the
this.
P had something to do with penis.
Was the booking of Jeff Jarrett ever actually part of the downfall?
No. No.
Despite what a lot of people think?
No, it had everything to do with Dixie Carter.
Mark, you'll admit too, he was the only television star they had at the beginning.
Jarrett can talk.
Yep.
He can wrestle.
Yep.
He can make other people look good. So it definitely wasn't him. It was other people's. It's never the talent that makes it. It's always the behind the scenes people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the behind the scenes people are the ones that create the drama. The wrestlers go out there and create the storyline and do what they're told.
You have any idea how
and
many
are always
times-
just going to do it. So,
Mark-
so even though it was
Yeah.
Jeff's company,
Yep.
I don't think a lot of that was his fault because he was just going out there to do what he loved and making sure that he could
Now,
still do what
okay,
he loved.
just like Triple H,
Myself.
we know that Jeff gave himself a few NWA World Heavyweight Championships because he felt like he deserved more in the other companies, yada, yada. That's wrestling. But
you're in charge. Once again, I'm booking myself. I'm making myself the champ too. I didn't pay for this belt to
And
not
to
put
be
it on
fair,
myself for a
it's-
while.
he was the only real star they
I'm about
had.
to say, I go
Yep.
back to when AEW, when Tony Khan actually made the decision to put it on Jericho. I'm like, well, if you're trying to build out your company, you got to do that.
It
Because
makes
that's,
sense,
That's
yeah.
the well-known guy. You got to
for
do
sure.
that.
But that's the thing is that when you look at the mistakes of TNA, and actually this is my biggest takeaway from this, it's like watching AEW 15 years ago. Everything that Tony Khan openly brags about is the same thing that hurt these people.
He's so smart.
So I just got to go back on Vince Russo real quick.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
When he took over in WCW, how long after their peak,
Yeah.
where they were beating WWF, was that?
It was about 2 years.
So
Well, no. Hold on. Pause. Time out. Before we get to that, we have to point this out.
'Cause I'm-
the ending of the 83 weeks, Russo was still in WWE
Correct.
because that was the Mick Foley segment.
Correct.
Vince Russo, I forget because Jim just talked about the final email between Vince and Vince, but Russo quit via email, which is weird because he literally was probably 20 miles from Vince when he quit and didn't just go there and shake his hand. But no, what WCW did when they started to see the decline was they offered Russo to come over because they stupidly thought that this guy was the reason for the Attitude Era. Because one thing I will give Vince Russo, and I learned this in the documentary, the man is a salesman. That is the only compliment I can give him. It's not even a compliment because you're still the lowest of the low human.
yeah, most
but, like,
salesmen are pretty low. So
but let me tell you something. The guy can sell ice to an Eskimo, bro. It is not even hard to see.
well, that explains how I ran the creative of so many companies because he kept the. It's kind of like that thing when we work in retail and you wonder how the people that are in charge of you got there. It's like, how did you pass the interview so well but are so horrible at the job?
He's good at selling himself.
Yeah.
Let me all right. Let
And
me
that-
make the caveat.
That's
He's
true.
good at selling himself, nothing more but himself. But that's the thing. So Russo gets there, and immediately the biggest problem that Russo had, and people don't understand when I say this because once again their brains cannot get past 1990, is WCW was the spiritual successor to Mid-South Memphis wrestling. So it had a fan base that didn't want to know about the politics. They just wanted a show. So when Russo decides the finger poke of doom is a good idea, because I'm going to air my personal grievance with Hulk Hogan, which I get you would have that, but like you're going to air that. Vince McMahon, to his credit, even if he did do it, he did it in a way that we still looked at it more as a performance than actual bullshit. Whereas Russo, he got personal on TV, and you looked at yourself and you were like, Vince Russo didn't kill WCW because the world stopped watching. It's your core audience gave up on you.
Vince Russo was responsible for having Jeff Jarrett laid out.
Yep.
The finger poke of doom was actually a coalition of them and Eric Bischoff.
Right.
Which, Eric, it's taken him fucking 18 years, but he
to
finally
admit
goes,
that it was horrible.
that was a horrible idea.
It also, by the way, came out in episode 3 that when Eric got to TNA, Eric, you clearly were only there for Hulk because you said it. You went back to tried and true methods. You went one-on-one with WWE. Bro, everyone else in wrestling told you it was a bad idea. They said on the documentary, everyone told you don't do this.
They were too well established at that point.
Raw was just a monster.
Raw and SmackDown were monsters.
I will say at that point, being of the appropriate age to go to that stuff, if I would have heard Hulk Hogan was going to be there, I would have bought a ticket to the event.
Sure.
So it's
It
literally
was
about
the
the draw.
highest rated TNA Impact they've ever done was the first
I will
on
say
Monday night.
the
But-
years with Hogan, Angle, Sting, those are some of my favorite years because because that carried the Attitude Era over for me, and it didn't matter the storyline because you just kept in mind what they did in WWE.
I might have you go find the first segment again. But here's why they lost instantaneously, Leroy.
TNA.
Because I believe the entering statement of that show was you see Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
You see Kevin Nash.
Yep.
You see Scott Hall.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt when people did flip, including some people watching WWE at the time, were probably like, what the fuck is WCW doing back on the air?
And that,
that's what it was when you flipped the channel.
And the problem was that if you listen once again to the people that were there, the Dutch Mantels, by the way, D'Lo Brown, probably second best to Awesome Kong as a talking head in this documentary.
Yeah.
D'Lo was great.
Yeah.
But everyone knew backstage from night one it was Hulk's Florida crew. All the old timers who lived in Florida and who just had to take a 20-minute or like a 2-hour car ride down the interstate, that's what TNA became. And by the way, whilst the six-sided ring, getting rid of it was probably best health-wise, it was the only thing that really...
It was a big selling point for them.
I miss those X Division matches with the ropes above the rings in that six-sided ring. Those were some exciting, fun matches. I mean, I'm sure those guys are still in pain.
Although you only got 10 years of AJ Styles because he didn't wrestle in the
But the
six-sided
problem
ring.
was
How
Eric
much
Bischoff's...
harder is New Japan's ring?
Oh, it's
a 20 by 20, but...
It's actually now it's a 24 by 24.
It's a 24 by 24, yeah.
But it's, to be honest, you've worked with DPW. It's probably kind of the same format.
Okay.
But I will say this because they're basic with what they do, except when they do big like pay-per-views. New Japan goes extravagant with it.
Yeah.
But Eric Bischoff's fucking reasoning is the reason why I'm listening to him, and I think we talked about it last week. As I'm listening to him, and I go, why? Now I'm wondering why Vince brought you back in 2020, because maybe you've lost your touch.
Well, no, I think what Eric proved was once again, if Vince McMahon is in a right headspace and he gets the right people and he works collaboratively, he's the guy who pulls back before the craziness kicks in.
I always said if Vince McMahon, seriously, this was so real. If during all this time, if Vince McMahon in like 2013, when the ratings really started to hit the shitter, would have been like, I'm just going to allow you guys to write but manage.
Yeah.
That's where he was still at his best.
Right.
When he wasn't in, like he used to say, in the weeds. Like if he allowed Triple H to kind of do what he wanted, but maybe went, let's cut the time on that a little bit, and this and that. That's where he was still great.
The prime real-world example, especially for our fans, would be this. You can question what you think of the man, and he had a terrible introductory press conference, and it was all hoof. Guys, Nick Sirianni is an incredibly successful coach in the NFL, but it's obvious that he
Philly's
needs
so
coordinators.
fucking lucky. Philly is so lucky.
Jesse, get off your high horse.
Because
you're a Jets fan, it's fine.
Shut up and let me finish this. Because their coach did the same thing that Adam Gase did, but he turned out to be good.
Well,
and it pisses me off to this day.
Jets still suck, so.
Hey,
we're not doing that great here.
Yeah, go ahead, Leroy.
All right.
You got the wrong. It's the Bears still suck. That's the statement. You can of course say the Jets suck, but
that's only for Jesse.
It's the Bears still suck.
And I still sound that we're not doing that good either.
Yeah, but that's also death taxes, and the Jets aren't going to win a playoff game.
Let's move on.
Right. But if you look at
it might change.
But if you look at Nick Sirianni, and we all just talk honestly for 2 seconds, when the guy loses coordinators, they take a step back. But when he's got good coordinators, Jesse, we all know one thing about sports. And actually, Mark, you're the perfect example of this being a Cowboys fan. You had good coordinators in the 90s. But
there's only one thing I don't like about him.
Jimmy, no Cowboy hate right now, shut up. Jimmy was the guy who ultimately pulled everyone in the right direction.
Well, yeah, because I can point right to Barry Switzer, who was handed the goddamn championship.
Yeah,
he was handed the Super Bowl,
goddamn thing.
Because all he had to do was keep doing what Jimmy already did.
No, trust me. Being a Cowboy fan, the hatred I have towards my owner and every coach that came after Jimmy Johnson since is infuriating because nothing's ever been that symbiotic in that organization because Jerry Jones thinks that he is the reason for that. He was just the money. Jimmy Johnson was always the brains of all of that success, and then he's like, "Nope, it was me. You bowed to me," and then it went sideways, and then he went to Miami,
And then it's been what, 26 years?
yeah.
Sorry, 46. Like what, 35 years since NFC?
Well, my 30th anniversary for graduating from high school is next year, so that was 97, 96, so 31 years it's been.
Okay, so anyway.
The problem is, and this actually goes to pro wrestling, what we're talking about with good managers,
Yep.
is Jimmy is your owner is very much Vince McMahon.
Oh, 100%.
Like if he's not fully fucking involved, like it's like he can't take a step back.
Well, think about every interview after every single game, win or loss. Who's the first person that gets interviewed with the Cowboys? It's not the best player. It's not the worst player. It's not the coach. It's the effing owner.
Okay, Mark, you've been there. How many reporters and cameras are lining up outside of his suite at the 2-minute warning?
Last game I was there, even when we're like, I mean, it's been 30 years of crap, but we're always the first in the media. So I mean, every media outlet that's in Dallas is there. ESPN,
Fox Sports,
literally every big
CBS,
one. Plus, you're going to have 20 news reporters. There's probably 150 people circled around there just to go, Jerry.
And then he also,
what'd you think of your loss? Well, I think we gotta get some. Dude, you don't know shit.
And
You're
then,
115 years old, and
then is it
been able
Tuesday?
to have a working brain for 20 years.
Is it Tuesday? Is his Dallas morning radio show?
Yeah,
Tuesday morning. Okay,
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Cowboys, the or WCW, AEW, WWE, all of them. You had the people at the top that knew when to pull back, but they're all insane and ego-driven that they don't realize, because one of the most infuriating things about watching the Cowboys isn't even watching Cowboy this and that, Mark. It's we talk about you guys, and it's literally the definition of insanity because, like you said, he doesn't know a thing about his team.
No, he honestly, I don't think actually knows a thing about football. I think it started off as an investment with him, and then he got the Trump brain and was like, I know how to do football. I'm going to do it myself.
And now, Jesse, again, I'm not saying this as a let's make a funny joke, so Leroy, shut your fucking mouth. Woody Johnson, really, he wants to be Jerry, doesn't he?
I love
a
you.
little bit.
Woody Johnson. No.
Okay, Alfalfa.
Well, I mean,
The worst part
technically,
about-
don't we
Fix your
all
hair.
want to be Jerry? I mean, think about it.
He has the hair for it right now.
You currently, Mark, does he not look like Alfalfa right now?
Oh, well. Oh, my hair. Well.
Yeah.
Thank you. To your point, Jesse.
But I mean, don't we all want to be Jerry to some
No,
point? I mean, the
the-
billionaire that just runs
no,
everything
Woody
and is
is a
delusional
lot-
to
no,
do
Woody-
whatever we
I just want
want.
to watch the money
Woody
come in.
is a
No.
lot. Woody is a lot like Tony
No.
Khan.
Yeah.
I'd rather
There-
be Hugh Hefner.
There is no understanding of just like
The base product.
the base of what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. Now, yes, under the Johnson's tutelage, yes, as fucking bad as the record is, the Jets have had a better record than under the Hess family. No doubt about that. They're still not great.
Low bar, yeah.
It's like, oh, I put the bar into the earth.
They have a
And
cool
they just
shiny
walk
helmet
over
though.
it.
I think what people have to understand
Yeah,
is
they got a cool helmet.
I think what people have to understand, TNA was working in an era where no one was expecting them to do anything, and they actually had some headway on a channel that did good ratings. Spike TV was doing well over the years,
Yeah. Right.
but then
it was fun watching them on Spike TV.
but
Yeah,
then
I
once
watched them all the
again,
time.
Spike
I
TV
think I actually watched them more than WWE at the time.
Yep. Spike
They were a better
TV
product.
Yeah.
didn't want to get rid of them, but as Tony's going to figure out real quick here in about, what are we at now, Jesse? 5 months?
Well, I mean, the deal got paused, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, no, remember, they still don't have a deal, though.
Well, they don't have a deal,
But no, here's my point. Vince Russo got them kicked off Spike because, as Jim Cornette said, and by the way, if you think Jesse is going to stand up here today and go all black church and say, Lord, I have been absolved of all my sins of talking about TNA, Jim
I
Cornette,
kind of want to see that now.
Jim Cornette and Jesse
We'll
need
just
to
baptize
do.
him.
Jim Cornette needs to do a show with Jesse. Because, Jesse, you and Jim were both given last rites, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, for sure.
Passage into the kingdom of heaven.
Oh, for sure.
Because Jim Cornette said, Spike TV wanted one thing. No Vince Russo.
Yeah, they wanted him off.
Dixie Carter kept Vince in secret. I'm going to repeat the story even though Jim's told it 1,000 times. He sends an email to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, not Mike Tenay, about how to do commentary, but Mike Johnson, who, by the way, one of the nicest dudes in all of fucking wrestling
Very
reporting.
good at being a wrestling
So
journalist.
good.
Yeah.
And by the way, he called Dixie. He asked for a quote. Russo has nothing to do with us. She was unaware of the email. They lied to him, so he printed the email. Spike went, huh, we had one rule. And apparently you broke it. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then they end up on Destination America, which, by the way, in a year, I don't think we have the rights to that soundbite.
Actually, it's a free one.
Perfect.
So.
Okay.
That is a free one.
So
yes,
anyway,
it's fine.
and then you go to Destination America, and in a year and a half, I'm like, wait, why are they going to another TV station? It's because backstage, Vince Russo was calling Destination America and emailing them almost weekly saying, these guys have no idea what they're doing. You have to hire me as a
Oh, my
consultant.
God,
and by the
dude.
way, Mark, I'm going to ask you this question. If you're running a network and you just purchased this thing that's now on your show, and you got a guy who just... Okay, you know nothing about wrestling. This guy technically has a resume in wrestling, and he's telling you that the wrestling company you just purchased knows nothing. Wouldn't you probably get rid of the wrestling company at that point?
Well, I would think about either investing in someone that's going to run my company that knows and actually take resumes and job interviews and do it like an actual business, because that's the way I would think. Is like, well, if I purchase this and I want to make it work. But if I literally just bought it because I have money and want to win, yeah, I'd sell it, because if I don't know what I'm doing and I'm going to lose money on a business, there's no point in owning a business.
You're very sweet. Let me put it in this
Thank you,
terms.
Jesse.
If you are invested in Taylor Farms right now, with everything going on, with people getting the wet shits, and some people who might die from the wet shits.
Can we send that to the White House?
Oh, well,
He already has
I
his
love
own.
you.
He doesn't eat lettuce.
Sneak it in the Big Mac.
Well, as long as it's
If it's green, it's not allowed anywhere but the reflecting pool.
He likes Big Macs. Put it in
He
the
eats
Big
a
Mac.
lot of Big Macs.
That's not lettuce.
So
Just shredded lettuce. That's giving
That's,
people a shit.
that hasn't been lettuce since 95.
here's what I'm getting at. If you
We
are,
could sneak it
if
in
you
there.
are an investor
Episode 300 is
into-
going well.
to Taylor Farms, you better divest pretty damn quickly, because you're about to lose a shit ton of money.
But also, if you're hearing from Vince, it's like you look back at Vince Russo's record. WCW, 1999 to 2001, and they sold and
But
got
you
out
got to
of it.
understand. You got to understand.
that's
Destination.
actually a great fucking point.
Right.
He
Destination.
tried to bring what WWE was doing,
Well,
but,
what he
but
was
it
doing-
wasn't.
But remember,
Yeah.
Destination
good.
America knew nothing about wrestling.
Right.
They were the Sasquatch channel at that point.
Yes.
There were 15 different shows. I'm not joking. I fucking dare anyone to check the TV
Bigfoot
guide.
as well.
There
It's
was like
before he
15
knew
different big
Jack
shows.
Blake.
There was Bigfoot.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was Bigfoot. That was the only channel.
Investigations into witches.
Yes.
So where I'm from, that was always Channel 49, the morph of those channels.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, but
God,
Bigfoot
I-
exists in your part of the country.
I loved the morph of those channels, because I mean, from the TNN days to
Yeah.
the Spike TV days to the Sasquatch, all this stuff. It was such horrible programming most of the time, and like 4 shows that got
Yeah.
everything over. It's like it's kind of like how TNA with
Okay,
Wait
Russo
a minute. Did you
survived.
say there's?
Mark.
Wait. Hold on. Did you say there's Bigfoot in his part of the? But we live in the same part of the city.
No,
it's not that it's
no,
Bigfoot.
no, we're-
No, I'm from the Upper Peninsula. Michigan.
Oh, okay.
He's from the
from-
UP.
Yeah, from
I
the
was gonna
UP.
say,
That's
it's not-
that's-
He's an
Bigfoot,
Ooper,
and-
so
they're mostly my
It's
relatives.
just big
Sasquatch
women.
was in
and
your
I
backyard.
love big women.
But anyway,
Yeah, no, these ones have more hair than all of us combined.
Okay, so I've been to the
And
UP
don't know how to
few
use a razor.
times, and there's a
I'm
reason
not talking
weed-
ladies either, just
There's a
anyone.
reason weed was legal there first. That's the reason,
but anyway,
Nobody wanted to go
that's-
across that fucking bridge.
That's the thing. Is like now
The
as we
Mackinac
finish
Bridge
it
is
up,
the worst.
It's crazy.
now here's the transition. I don't say this as rah rah. Let's get rid of them because wrestling will be better without their existence. I hate that narrative. Everything that documentary pointed out about the downfall of TNA It's literally AEW minus the billion-dollar backer who's never going to stop backing it.
So are you saying that right now the only security that AEW had was is a bad investor?
Yeah.
Well, we have a great investor that's a billion-dollar company.
Yes.
This one in NordVPN.
We appreciate our friends over at NordVPN. We're going to get to a few more here later in the show. But anyway, no, Jesse.
I have it too.
But Jesse,
Awesome.
Ad reads. You weren't ready for that.
Ooh.
but no, Jesse, that's my point. If you look
have
at it,
another one
and
later.
in the times that Mark will send me clips on TikTok about something that happened in AEW, I have to explain to people, holy crap, if you only understood that in the moments that Mark will send me, holy crap, I would love this company.
Right.
But then when you watch the show start to finish, oh my God, even the ADHD guy can't keep up.
Yeah, so when I watch AEW, and I watch AEW, I watch WWE, NXT.
Yep.
I find myself falling asleep a lot if I'm trying to follow the story because it confuses the crap out of me. Because from week to week, even
AEW?
even like the Death Riders thing, which is the most congruent story that they have, makes no sense. It's like
been about a year, yeah.
it's like, what is that even? Why is that? And
It started-
How did Mox go from a bad guy now to a good guy because he gave up one belt for another
He
belt?
started-
because he took it out of a fucking bag.
The Death Riders was started as
A Nazi group?
And no.
Well, it evolved
Maybe.
into one.
Maybe.
It evolved
Probably,
into one
yeah.
of them.
It started as their version of NWO. They wanted to take over the company. They said that it wasn't the higher power storyline, but it was the idea of there's somebody coming, which to this point proves, I think, they thought they were going to sign Shane McMahon.
Yeah,
They thought Shane was going to come work for them. They didn't realize that Shane, for better or for worse, was deathly loyal to his dad.
None of the McMahons will ever leave anything that's not WWE.
Right.
Period.
But that's
because
the
that
thing.
would
It
tarnish
started-
their name anyways,
Right.
more than Vince already
It
did.
started as that, and then it became, oh, we don't have an option. So now Moxley is just in charge of this group that doesn't even, like, okay, Evolution got annoying because, let's be honest, whether it was Hunter, whether it was Randy, whether it was Dave and Rick, they won all the time. They were at a, 95% win percentage for, a year and a half total on Raw. And, and on SmackDown when they decided to show up. But, understand something. This group has never, one time, benefited anyone monetarily, meaning belts, championships, victories, except for Jon Moxley. And everyone always argues, Claudio got a world title. He won the CMLL World Championship.
Yep, a title that's not even in this company.
That's not even part of the company.
And I will say that's the one thing that I like that AEW ended up making the WWE do is
Acknowledging
bringing other companies and bringing other belts in so you can actually acknowledge wrestlers in their
And
whole thing.
Again,
but,
there's positives to AEW.
well, of course,
but
there's
the
positives to
negatives-
WCW, and it was there,
Yeah,
and now it's
but
not
the
there.
negatives are, like you said, you try to watch and you're like, wait, last week this was this, and this week this is that, and it's like, let me explain something to you. Moxley won the world title, and then for 6 months kept it in a briefcase.
Exactly.
Never brought it out.
Okay, but you know what? You're talking about they wanted to take over. Okay, and
Why are you going backwards always?
no, I'm not going backwards.
Okay.
Well, I kind of am going backwards because they
I just
had,
want you to admit it. It's fine.
but they had that story kind of going with the Young Bucks and what they did to Tony, and then they totally fucking dropped it.
Because
that could have been a good
that's
one.
The Vince Russo effect in that
Yeah.
he did it, A, so he could get the spotlight for one night, and then B, so he could wear a neck brace on NFL Network.
Oh, really quick.
That was it.
Get that card ready for AEW.
That was it.
Oh, I got
That was
everything up
all
here.
it was. And the part that boggles my mind was you got me back. There are 3 moments in the history of AEW where I was like, okay, I can't wait for next week. One, which never happened, which made no sense. And Leroy, I told you about this. Jesse, you and I can argue this later after Leroy's review. I think the first match in AEW, the very first match in AEW Dynamite history, should have just been Kenny and Mox. Just do it. Out of the gate. Fuck it. Let's go. Pedal to the metal. Because that's what you ended the third pay-per-view of the pre-television era with, was Mox and Kenny. That's number one. Never happened. Number two, when you brought in Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan on the same night, I was like, this is insane.
It was game changing.
And they did nothing.
Nope.
Yep.
And number three was the night that they speared Tony Khan. Because I thought for a second, you know what? Shad Khan, for like 15 minutes every week, could be riveting television. Tony, it's an on-screen character, possibly taking some ball shots from the guys who are like, you can't get rid of us. We're the elite and all elite. Like, again, the story was there. And it just completely... And here's the part about the elite thing that I still don't understand. It wasn't even, we're not getting Shane. It wasn't, this guy didn't work out. It just never happened.
Right.
For some reason, it just didn't happen.
Right.
I
right.
think that's loose on them in that.
I was just telling you to keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It's...
Those are the three moments.
Because, by the way, then the Elite decided, what we're going to do is eventually with these same characters that we created by, tombstoning fucking Tony Khan, is we're going to shit on the biggest star we used to have,
Yeah.
After he gets fired or whatever happened.
Hold that because later in the show, I've already got that as a
Gotcha.
thing. So, yeah, hold on.
So,
And I also want to know how the hell the Young Bucks are back to being good guys after being bad guys. For
Because
they
there's-
choose what they want to be because there's a moment later in the show that he and I
The
have to explain to
sickos
you.
don't matter.
Yeah, no, sickos don't
like,
care.
I literally I'm trying to follow everything. It's great wrestling.
Yeah.
I'll give that. I love watching their wrestling.
No one's ever questioned that. And by the way, at this show,
I find it funny that Jim Cornette calls his show the Cult of Cornette.
Yeah.
And the two things that he always gets on has active cults. And that's the president of AEW.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
People used to try to call his fan cultists, and I'm like, no, they're just... A lot of them are just wrestling fans who hear him and go, no, he's just making a lot of fucking sense here, man.
And that's
I will give AEW at least one more positive before I shit all over them again. when I start to.
no. Go ahead.
At
Oh,
least
no, I'll shut on them.
I mean, I'll still shit on them, but I'm going to give them one positive.
Yeah.
At least we can afford to go watch their shitty storylines.
That's because no one shows the fuck up.
Well, no, but I mean, think about it. Can any of us working slubs really afford to go to SummerSlam, to go to Monday Night Raw, to go to SmackDown?
Well, now we can.
Technically not, but
But no, I get what you're saying.
But at least
because Endeavor and TKO set the bar way too
But
high.
they did that for UFC years ago because
Yeah.
you and I used to talk about UFC all the time. And then all of a sudden, you and I...
but that leaked into TNA too. Have you seen the ticket prices for TNA crap?
Well,
because
Yeah, it's
they're
not great.
affiliated with WWE.
Yeah,
They
it's
went
not
up to
Exactly.
like $300 to
Yeah,
$500.
right, yeah, exactly.
For
But that's-
seats. It's like, come on.
But that's the thing that people have to understand.
And then autographs for these guys. We'll get. I know we'll get to that
Yep,
later.
yeah.
but the price of autographs at the con and what WWE is going to charge is insane.
Well, okay,
for them
but part of that, but
I-
part of that also you have to understand. Sorry to interrupt. Is that is also, and this is the disappointment of working for Endeavor. A lot of that, what you don't understand, is
they have
that
to probably pay them.
that's to pay the people doing
Well,
doing that.
said that.
They're not paid to be there. They're paid based on their demand.
But
so.
even like WrestleCon, like I want to go get Sting's autograph.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
It's $120 to get a picture and an autograph with him.
Yeah.
That's just insane. $80 just for an autograph. If I wanted to put it on a belt,
Of course, he's
that's
also
$120.
there as an independent, isn't he?
But that's everyone.
Yeah.
The
No, it's through AEW.
Is it? Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
the Hardys?
Yeah.
And the heart. Well, because
It's 180.
Well, the unfortunate part is you're also talking about legacy guys.
Hold on.
I mean, go for it.
People that are there that I've never heard of in this industry, and I know a lot of wrestling. I know there's a lot I don't, but even like people like, and I'm gonna pick on our indie guys, and I love these guys.
Yeah.
I'll give them $20 for the autograph all day long, but when you're charging $40 to $60 for someone that's never actually been on TV, that's not a superstar, what do you like? I understand. I understand there's the fees of the things,
Yeah.
but they still can't charge that much. I mean.
You are what the market dictates.
Because
And you negotiate.
I'm not going to the con because you have to pay $34 to walk into a Hilton room
Yeah.
to walk around and then pay $40 to $60 just.
And
to,
that is unfortunately how the world of entertainment has gone. And what's really
and
sad was that okay.
You don't mind if I do this really quick?
Yeah.
I tell this to everyone because Matt's another good friend of ours. But I tell him all the time because he'll talk about that. I'm like, the market and what they can negotiate is the price you're going to pay.
Oh,
See,
And here's the worst part, right?
Yeah.
If you do go pay it, it tells them that they're worth that.
and I think what people
You know
need
what
to
I mean?
understand,
So
Mark.
I do get where people are coming from. Because
Yeah.
Our wages ain't really going up.
No.
But people want more money for shit.
like I said,
And the other part
if
about
they
it-
were all charging $20, I'd
Yeah.
get every
Well,
damn
right,
person's
yeah.
autograph.
And the other problem,
everyone would.
and the
make
other
more
problem
money
that you have
Right,
to
I don't-
understand.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, and the other problem that you have to understand is that what people don't get.
Oh,
about,
by the way, really quick, and I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
We will be at ExcaliburCon. Now, we will be, everyone will be posting the announcements ourselves as ExcaliburCon, but we will be doing free signings. We will be doing
I'll
free
autograph for
talks.
including
And so-
including a free live 2.5-hour podcast.
That's right. So come talk to us for free. Just come walk up to the table. ExcaliburCon, August 15th.
I
and
promise
August
you,
16th.
I promise
I'll
all
be
of our
there, too, to
fans,
pick
Mark
on
will not
them.
tackle them.
Well,
And
Well,
if you want
okay,
as
to,
long as you're not in, don't come and clown crap around me because that's not going to be a good. But
yeah.
I'll also give free autographs
Which is sad
or
because
punches
technically-
or. I mean,
Which is unfortunate because one of the biggest celebrities at ExcaliburCon voices a clown.
you know,
as long as he doesn't look like
She-
the clown,
she-
well, as long as she doesn't look like the clown, I'm
Which
fine.
one?
I will sign.
The voice actress for
You know, Mark?
Pomni on Amazing Digital
You know, Mark?
Services.
Oh, yeah.
I will sign free autographs, but if you want to give us money just for
I
giggles,
mean, there
we
will
will
be-
gladly
there will
accept
be
it.
a
I love how
tip
he's
jar.
the guy from Brooklyn, but you're always the one asking for
Oh,
money.
no, let's go. There
I-
will be a tip jar.
I'd give Zach
So-
and Jesse money. I'd make sure I put you in a field and put you out of your misery.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I love Leroy.
I know,
Yeah,
but
I
still.
love you too, buddy. But I make sure the field is.
I'm more old. I'm older and you and more decrepit, but I still
that's
would
why
kick
the
your
field-
ass.
I mean,
I have
you
no
could
money
try.
on
I
you,
don't
Leroy.
think you could get your foot up that high, buddy.
Leroy.
My son. I'm going to use my son, and he's younger.
That's not
Well, that's
fair.
cheating,
I can't
sir.
hit a child.
Leroy, you have to
I mean,
understand something.
just remember, for every time your child hits me, I'm going to hit you 6 times as hard.
Leroy,
and probably
stop
use a
yelling
chair
for a
or
second,
baseball
Leroy,
bat.
because you're going to
I'm
lose
gonna
this no
make-
matter what.
I'm gonna
Leroy,
make sure
guess
you go
what?
down the first
Leroy,
time.
guess what? First of all, you have
Yes.
no ability to take Mark down at all. Please stop doing that. It's a stupid argument. You can't do it. You're pathetic. Anyway, number 2. Let me be very clear about this. You are missing out and you are failing to acknowledge the superpower that he has. It's called real ADHD. It's not that bullshit that gets diagnosed. He's got the real shit. He's got the real shit.
Some people think I have it.
Remember, I also have
Exactly. You
See-
have the fake version. He's got the real thing.
And once again, y'all think
been
you're
to
crazy, but have you spent any time in a mental hospital?
I have.
Yes.
I have.
Jesse
Hell
has
yeah.
too. Yeah.
have.
High five to mental hospital. Woo!
My ex-wife has. That's why she's my ex-wife.
Yeah, well,
Well, anyone that would marry you has got to be crazy.
Now that is the deepest insult I've ever heard.
or
you
wildlife.
say. Yeah.
Well, that was the first ex-wife. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We still have. Hey, we still have to be nicer because PETA still comes after everyone.
But
Yeah,
once again,
you're right,
August
you're right.
15th and 16th,
But once again, to
we
be
will
fair,
be at ExcaliburCon.
Anyone that decides to marry me, hey, ladies, I am single, by the way. I'm a little crazy, but I'm loyal.
Hey, at least you put it
Hey, you
out.
got that going for you.
And now back to our show.
That's it.
Thank
That's
you.
that's a
Everyone
real
put the pen
thing.
down. Back to our show.
Every guy you know, I tell them that hey, if she tells you you're crazy to start out, that's okay. If she hides it, like the ex-wife, and you find out later, then you're fucked.
and now back to our
That's
show.
the fun.
Well,
That's the funnest part of crazy.
Whilst Leroy sips on a drink.
5 years later and a knife
Where's
to your
that
neck.
drink from, Leroy?
It
Where's
doesn't
my
matter. They're not paying us.
Where's my drink from?
Shh, Jesse.
Somewhere we can't talk about.
That's right.
The dog training works. All right, perfect. Give him a
not
treat,
paying us.
Jesse.
Where's my treat?
Here's your phone.
Anyway, back to our show.
I don't care. He brings a jar of fucking applesauce in here. All
but
right, that's what I
I'm
gotta
eating
say.
healthy, sir.
Is
I love
applesauce
it.
copper? No, it's not. Okay. Anyway, as
It's
I was saying.
applesauce. I
As long
can,
as I don't say the company.
Yeah, exactly. As
Hey,
I was saying, back
if
to
you
our
make-
show.
if
the
you bring me
ranting's
some
getting
apples,
worse.
I can make you
Leroy,
one.
shut.
But of
up.
course, if you say it, anyone that wants to sponsor them for anything we're talking about, any of the substances,
We'll
you know-
happily say your name for about
Yes.
6 times. Leroy,
yes.
and I'll even put it on my social media.
I appreciate
for
you. Anyway, here we go.
Go ahead.
As I was saying, back to our show.
kind of appreciate you.
I know. I'm okay. It's
The shirt's
Yeah,
coming
that-
soon,
it's
everyone.
coming soon.
He is okay.
Here's the thing about AEW though is that the thing that like no one wants to admit is you are in the western part of the world, where wrestling has never in the history of the fucking world successfully drawn consistent television audience.
That's true.
With wrestling.
Correct.
The house shows of old in the 14 towns a night that Jim Herd would run.
Right.
Those were, I got you in for 2 hours of wrestling. The stars were not there because they were getting ready for TV in some big town
Right.
in some bigger state.
Right.
But what people don't understand, and I come from the world of indie wrestling, although I come from a show that surprisingly understands the production aspect of wrestling.
Amazing
But-
production.
But my point is this.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yep.
successful wrestling promoters will tell you all the time, if you want to go up a level, you want consistent TV, you want to go on pay-per-view, you want to go on streaming services, you have to have character development and the one word that AEW has never been synonymous with, consistency. And not just consistency that your diehards will use a whiteboard and a corkboard to explain to us with a bunch of fucking, red tape. Real consistency, like, okay, Mark, you're sitting here asking what happened with the Death Riders. Unfortunately, for me to give you actual consistency is literally impossible because they've never been consistent.
never
in
For
their
sure.
storyline.
That's why, like I said, and Mox is one of my favorite wrestlers. So to watch the story that he's developed into there, it annoys me. Claudio, one of my favorite wrestlers. Like both of them, right when they went to AEW, they were the first 2 shirts I bought out of there because they're my
I've got
favorite.
Right.
I've got a John Moxley shirt.
They're
Yes.
two of my favorite wrestlers from the WWE in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome. They're going to get more of a push as superstars. There's going to be more storylines. They're going to be more involved instead of being the third wheel in the storyline
Yep.
and in the background in the storyline.
Everyone thought that, yep.
And then there's no damn story.
Nope.
It's like, I understand the wrestling aspect of it, but I'm going to say the horrible thing.
Okay.
It's a scripted
Yep.
entertainment thing.
That's not the horrible thing. Fake is the horrible thing, but
That other word starts with an F. You don't
yeah,
say that.
I stopped myself from saying it, but I still had to say it.
Yeah,
It's still right, but continue.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's scripted. So with that scriptedness, you need the story in there to make everything
Bingo.
gel. Otherwise, it's like, why are they fighting?
And now I'm gonna-
even in the UFC,
Yeah.
there's a storyline to their
Why
fights
was
because
Conor
they meet
McGregor-
up and push each other.
Why was Conor McGregor the perfect guy to put against Jake Paul's promotion that night? Because if anything, Conor can sell you on a show.
God, I hope Conor actually fights Jake and actually hits him. I hope someone actually fights.
No, actually, what I want now, and by the way, your boy Jerry might do it. It'd make you more of a laughing stock, but you probably get more.
I mean,
fun
Joshua did do it.
Somebody,
Did you see that? Yeah.
somebody, give me what I want, and I want Jake Paul on an NFL roster, and I want him in a live game, and I want to line him up as a wide receiver, and I want to put a cornerback on his ass. I want to watch that boy play wide receiver.
Yeah, we'd let him play
Because-
we'd
yeah.
let him play till at least week 2 or 3.
Yeah, Jerry would do it.
Well, I mean, we'd probably trade. Hell, I don't even know half my team anymore because I quit just carrying so
Well,
much.
even against third shooters, they would light
okay.
him the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because
Zach.
they're trying to get a job.
Oh yeah,
Zach, is there somebody on the defense on a certain team that you'd want to have him hit?
nope. Because
By
guess
him?
nope.
Or does it matter?
Nope. Because guess what? If you are a cornerback and you get lined up against that guy, you're immediately insulted for the 15 to 20 years you put into football.
See,
I don't need any specific player. I just need one NFL
Then
player to be
you-
like, is that Jake Paul? Oh, fuck this shit.
Or
See, that's about the only
I'm
time
getting a
I'd
15-yard
like.
penalty out of this.
See, that's about the only time I'd like to see the Packers play my Cowboys because I'd like to see Micah Parsons just destroy him.
Yeah,
and
but
then stand over
Yeah.
and look at him. I think he pooped himself.
Oh,
once again, Leroy, 17 going on 13.
What?
Anyway,
That was a good
as long
movie.
As long as Geno Smith doesn't go to prison between now and September, they're going to lose week
But
one.
that was a good movie that he did that.
but anyway, so
You know
so
what movie I'm
back
talking
to my
about.
point. The thing is that, and Leroy's almost there. Leroy's going to give us in a few minutes here his take on the first 3 episodes in the history of AEW. By episode 6 or 7 is when
the flaws. are
everything fell apart, and here's why. And Jesse and I have documented this 1,000
Yeah.
times. And Jesse was one of the first people to break this, whether people listen to our show or not. That show with the Dark Order, that debut, was so poorly recepted that's when Tony Khan decided to take the pen. That is the moment. And what's so weird was that you were kind of okay in that segment until someone whose name we will not mention, don't do it, we will not mention, threw some punches that clearly were outside of Dustin Rhodes' aura, let alone his head. And then they ripped the tongues of the Young Bucks out, which was clearly, here, let's have Evil Uno take the blood capsule, shove it in your mouth, and pop it. It's like, this is the smart crowd. You can't do that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And then Tony Khan decided after that, I'm not only going to take the pen, but then, and before we get into the actual AEW results, we're going to go through the stuff Jesse wanted to talk about. And then came, we got the biggest star free agent that WWE had no ties to. And in less than a year, we realized, oh no, Tony Khan's listening to him. Oh no, there goes our way of life. We're never going to get anywhere because we've never actually been good at this. We'll never say it out loud, but we've never actually been able to draw a crowd by ourselves. It was always WWE hate. What do you mean? We're supposed to be good at this? Then the Bucks chased Punk out the door, and then came this famous moment that Jesse and I have told so many people. They're like, you guys don't know this. I'm like, oh, don't we? Hey, Jesse, remember the reality show Edit?
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to keep me watching this stuff. I'm going to start drinking.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mark, let me set the scene.
I'm a Minnesota now. You betcha.
They had
Yeah,
yeah.
they had a
Don't you
reality
know, eh?
show for about one season. There was a second season that was taped but never released because
Never
the ratings
showed
were
the light of
terrible,
day.
I
right?
think I watched some of that reality show.
Here's
if
the
I'm not
thing.
mistaken.
Jesse and I watched live one time, and the Bucks said something. They talked about something involving Brawl Out.
Yep.
They spoke about it on the live edit, meaning the live broadcast.
Yeah.
Jesse and I went back to watch it on Hulu, Next Day Hulu.
Yeah.
It totally erased
Gone.
why they were suspended in the...
Yep.
No, not even suspended. It erased why they were gone in the first
Yep.
place.
Race while they were gone.
They mentioned it in the original live edit,
Correct.
and then they went back and re-edited it. Also, that's where Jesse and I learned that Chris Jericho had an office.
Really?
There's a whiteboard when they walk into the backstage of AEW, and there's a whiteboard that had all the offices and like arrows pointing to see, okay, go this way for that guy, go this way for that guy. Tony Khan, couple of executives, I think Jerry Lynn was on there.
Jerry Lynn was on
And
there.
Chris Jericho was to the left. He had an office.
And
Get
you might
the-
make the list. I don't know.
Get the fuck out
And
of
I
here.
sat there and I said to myself, oh, so you guys know you're full of shit. You know that everything's your fault. You're admitting that the guy who tried to fix everything, because we're going to go up and down this because it is the 300th episode, and it's arguably the biggest thing that's ever happened in the history of this show because it was the only time I went to bed and Jesse stayed up. We'll get to it in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go line by line. It's always fun
Oh,
to bring it back
yeah.
up.
The
But
presser?
no, they admitted.
Do you need a muffin?
They
Oh, no, I'm
admitted.
good.
You
That-
have a muffin over there?
No.
just-
We'll get to the joke.
I
But
should have.
No, they admitted
I want a
that
muffin
Kenny Omega has been innocent from day one of AEW because he was in the reality show for 35 seconds.
Correct.
And he was bleeped out.
Yep.
He walked through the camera, and because they don't even have an editor on staff, they put it on TV.
I think I remember watching that.
It's still on Hulu.
It's still on Hulu.
It's still on Hulu.
Yeah. The edited version.
Because,
Oh, man.
because okay.
Here's a question I have.
Go ahead.
So AEW likes to always sign the talent that WWE releases, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they release writers. Why in the hell don't they sign them too? Who?
Because they're not smart.
They fire writers.
Because Tony Khan has a staff of, he admitted, 17 people, but Tony Khan has also said on so many blumbering occasions, he is the final pen. And then we get to Jesse's favorite part about AEW's reality show. Sammy Guevara walks in and says, I would like to do this. And Tony Khan pulls out a vanilla folder with graph paper. And he maps out Sammy Guevara's next 3 months. Not maps out, writes down in front of him. He already had it.
I could not believe this shit.
A vanilla folder with graph paper, and he had Sammy Guevara for the next 3 months. Now, here's the thing. Sammy Guevara is not without guilt in why his stock dropped.
Right.
What you said about Mercedes Moné should have never come out of your mouth, bro, even if you thought it. But also...
See, I hate her.
Yeah, but anyway, also,
Yeah,
before we
pretty
get
bad.
into this, because we're going to dive into actual real stuff for you guys, we have to get to one more thing. So Vince McMahon was a problem because he would, and by the way, Jinder Mahal recently put out a TikTok explaining
that was
everything.
glorious.
Hold on. He put out a TikTok explaining how it actually works. When you are cut from WWE, you are technically not cut. What they have announced is that they've never officially cut anyone when they announce that we have a bunch of releases. What they say is you are being taken off TV so you don't get hurt on our dime, and we have to pay you for injury time. You are no longer an active participant, but you are still employed for 90 days, which means you get paid for 90 days, and then you're free to go do whatever you want. In reality, they're still employed with WWE officially. They're just not being worked, and they're told you get to sit at home and collect a check. Now, what's funny to me, before you go on, so it's announced by Dave himself that Ty Mello Conti would like out of All Elite Wrestling.
Correct.
And Tony Khan fails to grant the release. I thought he was the wrestler guy.
Right.
I thought he was the talent forward guy.
Correct.
Then a week after it comes out that he won't do it, and the internet surprisingly actually goes, you know, we'd be killing Vince if he did this, right?
We'd be killing WWE.
He announces
Right.
she's free and clear to go. Now, she's probably going to step away from wrestling, which her camp has already said is not the plan. And then Sammy's situation is up in the air because he's not even featured in Ring of Honor anymore.
He has changed a lot of his social media shit. What Tony Khan said was, "Oh, Sammy's good from everything I understand. We're planning on bringing him up again soon." But on social media and other things, Sammy Guevara now goes by his actual name.
And everyone sits there and says, well, but you can't always believe social media. Except in this company's case, where every single day one person would plaster AEW on every fucking Twitter mention they had.
Correct.
So you're telling me, and this is the part where I look at the number one thing that Jesse brought to our show, which was this. Vince called you stupid, and you fucking got pissed at him for it. But Tony Khan does the same shit, and you praise him for it.
The greatest thing Jesse brought us was the Temple of Sodamus.
We're trying to get through a segment. Shut up.
Well, he's just saying that I'm usually right.
Basically, right.
And that was a hell of a journey trying to get there, too.
Did you ever listen to that episode? We got to find the episode. There was an episode that we did that was literally on location in the sense of in between segments, Leroy and I were walking through the rainforest. We did a full show of us crash landing, trying to find Jesse. But the best part is we still did the segments.
I went through 3 machetes during that time. Oh, it's horrible.
That was one of the best shows I ever did.
to the Temple of Stodamus.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
It was great when we got there.
I've always said
It had running water, too.
when
Yes.
I'm right for you, that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, when Jesse's right, he's been right about this person's released, that person's pissed,
This story's not happening.
that story's not going to continue, and oh, by the way, New Japan's not happy with AEW regardless of
Correct.
what a bunch of people are being paid to
Correct.
say.
Well,
But now let's go ahead.
New Japan, TNA, and none of these companies that are latching onto AEW and WWE to get their companies a little more exposure should be happy because none of them are getting.
Oh, TNA
any-
is happy as hell with WWE.
I don't understand how because they keep just stealing their
No,
talent.
no. Understand this. Mike Santana is the prime example of what you're saying, and I will give you Mike on the surface. But understand this: Mike Santana's story is not what you think it is. He goes to AEW. He doesn't form a tag team. He brings a tag team with a buddy of 15 plus years with him. They get put in a group. Mike gets this weird thought that you're not allowed to have in AEW. What if we were doing? Don't mention this word to Tony. Better. What if we did something with what we were doing, not already in a vanilla folder, is what
Correct.
Mike said. Ortiz and I'm not mad at the guy because he wanted the guaranteed paycheck. He had a family to take care of. I'm not going to rip on the
Right.
guy for it. But Mike and him got into a rift in real life. Conan has talked about it ad
Right.
nauseum.
Right.
And Mike decided, I'm out. I'm going to go bet on myself. He did, and I promise you this, and this is why I don't view it as stealing. His contract was up. TNA did not hold him on anything. There was no injury time put on. Not that I think there was
He
supposed
never
to be.
had any. Yeah, not really.
No.
Mike's contract with NXT, I promise you, is double, if not 1/3 more than what he was making at
Oh,
TNA.
for sure. I know it is. It's just I see him, Joe Hendry. You know, like
But but remember, Joe's older. Joe's older than you think.
Yeah.
Joe's going for the big money now.
oh no,
Joe's
like I said,
35.
But I get. So I get what you're trying to.
I get what it looks like.
But on the surface, once again, as a wrestling fan, not business side, I'm
No,
saying
no, no,
as,
go ahead,
as
go
a
ahead.
wrestling fan, I don't see the benefit that TNA gets because people are getting exposure, of course, on the other shows, but then they're going to the other shows.
But you have to realize.
But not all of
but,
them.
But you know, a couple of their pretty big stars there. They don't really like TNA right now. It's good wrestling, but they
Sure.
don't really have a draw. Like all of their
Let me
characters,
discuss with him. Go ahead.
all of their
Yes.
characters are dry to me.
So
except for the
which-
ones
which
that
you
keep
do have a
going on
point there.
WWE.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
I'll say this about some of the TNA stars jumping. Right. There was already interest in Joe Hendry because of everything he was already doing.
Yeah.
And Jordan Grace.
And I think, and I'll get to
They're
that.
two of the
I
big
think-
ones that
and
came
she-
out.
Jordan Grace
She's
right now is a
buried.
story on her own. I don't think she's buried, but we're going to get to her in a second.
I know she hasn't been around this.
But we'll get to that in a second. So Joe Hendry's an interesting story because Triple H had been watching everything he was doing.
Yeah.
So he was already interested in him, but he wasn't sure how he would work. Now, it's been a half and half thing so far.
mostly
but-
because of visa issues,
Well, right.
actually.
Yeah.
But also,
he was stuck in Scotland for
remember,
like 3 months.
we all thought it was going to be like a different star that was going to come back to face Randy when Kevin got hurt initially. So the fact that they used Joe Hendry as the test at WrestleMania, I think shows that Triple H's interest was always there.
And you also have to remember, with the TNA deal...
especially with the fact that he was allowed to bring the TNA World
Yeah,
Championship.
and the other thing you have to understand is that they're not. This is where Triple H has tried at fucking nauseum.
Oh, and then one last thing.
Yeah.
I think the reason I still feel that WWE has done a better job under the tutelage of Triple H when it comes to TNA
Yeah.
is he doesn't always just pick them up for stories either. So just because you're not doing anything in TNA doesn't mean he's going to bring you up for something.
And-
Oh, for sure.
There's clear communication.
And the other thing you have to
between
understand
the
is
two
that
companies.
Triple H is trying to sell you on something that unfortunately you were never brought up to understand because Vince didn't want it to exist in your brain, which is this. They can always go back to TNA.
They can always go back.
You have to understand, TNA isn't even a subsidiary. They are a partner.
So the-
Triple A is a subsidiary where right now you have the ability in WWE, and this is unbelievable to me because if you would have
dual
told me when
contract?
this show started that this was going to happen, I would have fucking thrown you out.
Especially
the
with
window.
Vince in charge, you were just like, it's never going to happen.
Triple A, everyone's like, they're buried. They're doing good work on consistent television in a country that believes in this shit. And guess what? People think because, and again, this isn't Triple H's fault. He's working against what Vince created. Raw and SmackDown are no longer the be-all, end-all of professional wrestling
Correct.
in America.
Correct.
And what people don't get is that Triple H, well, first of all, Royce Keys literally just said on a fucking show, I asked for everything I've been given.
all of his-
So anyone that says Triple H doesn't know what to do with them, he asked for that.
Right.
Yep,
He wanted that.
He
So-
wanted to get better.
So it's weird. Triple H
Right.
doesn't like black people, but the black guy asked to go through the trials and
And
tribulations.
like five of his biggest stars are all black.
yeah.
So
To get Triple H credit, I did not see that coming in 2003.
Are people confusing Triple H and Hulk Hogan when they think about
Yes.
he doesn't like black people?
Yes.
You got to remember.
MVP's kind of been the guy
Well,
fanning those
between
flames.
MVP and then I was there in New York City when he was world champion with Ric Flair and was cutting that hellaciously all that heel promo against us that almost got him fucked up. Like I was there as a kid, I threw a bottle at him. I was there. So there's always been a thought in our heads maybe he was, but then when you watched NXT when it was black and gold, you were like, oh no, this dude has a mind for the business, and Cleveland just loves talent.
So Mark, I'm glad you brought it up, but I think the thing you have to understand is that TNA is pulling an AEW, even though they don't want to admit it, they got rid of the guy that was making them popular. They got rid of Scott D'Amore. And by the way, Maple Leaf Pro's doing just fine.
Doing great.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like,
yes.
so like, I think what you're not getting, and that's fine because you haven't been following it as deep as you are. Because like you said, you want to watch the wrestling, which is fine. They are trying to make something with people that have no goddamn clue what wrestling is.
No,
and in WWE, Triple H is trying to. And by the way, what you're probably going to see down the line is two very large British companies have new ownership who work very closely with Triple H.
And I'm all for that. It's just like I said, if
They probably helped her buy it.
and like
He might have Drew McIntyre do something for Damo and Nikki, because apparently Nikki has said, no, we actually still worked very closely with Triple H.
No, I think what they're doing with AAA is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great reciprocal back and forth. I just think that the WWE is taking more from TNA than TNA is getting, and they're still getting.
Well,
I respect
it's
that.
still
I can
getting
respect
a lot,
that
but-
feeling.
And while I
I
can
can
respect
respect
that, you also have to understand is that TNA is not the big dog in town.
No.
So that was always going to be the case
to me,
anyway.
TNA is now just, they're the biggest independent company left.
Yeah.
So, no, Mark, is it because a lot of the times you see WWE stars holding TNA titles?
No, it's mostly that
Right.
the WWE talent is getting the titles, and
But he's-
no one from TNA is holding up an NXT title or a WWE title on TNA things,
Well,
winning
yet.
championships.
Not yet.
So for that to be reciprocal, once or twice, one of their
But-
stars should take it.
I
even
agree.
even if it's for a pay per
Whilst
view.
I agree, though, this is, and by the way, I'm glad this is coming out on episode 300 because this is another one of the. Thank you for bringing this up. One of the biggest topics we've had on our show since the beginning. Triple H is unfortunately not doing what fans want in what Tony Khan does too much of, and what I think a lot of other bookers don't get. When he took over for Vince, everybody had this thought process. In a week, your world champion is Tommaso Ciampa.
Right.
Finn Balor's the Intercontinental Champion. That's going to go back and forth for like
Right.
6 months. Triple H knows because he was there when Vince started to do it and realized what the problem was. The biggest problem you can make in Western culture when you have a show, and Game of Thrones learned this the hard way, you can't rush things. You can't just flip the script night one. You can't do that. The problem with TNA is that they have TNA would be where you want if they had already been on television more consistently when they partnered with WWE. The problem with TNA is that Triple H wants what you're asking for, but the problem is that AAA, as of right now, is staying in its lane, meaning Mexico, meaning the internet, which is where they were. So
And
they're
LA.
at the they're at the same. Yep, exactly. So they're at the
But
same
I mean, that's
level.
still Mexico.
Yeah. So AAA can be pushed a little bit faster because the audience that is still watching it, they already know what's going on. They just brought structure.
And Mr. Iguana is awesome.
Yep. Oh, it's great.
Oh, it's great.
TNA brought forth a down brand, got a TV deal out of working with WWE, but Triple H knows one thing. Our audience has unfortunately been trained a certain way, and Vince got that for, what did we figure, 40-some years at one
Yeah.
point?
Yep.
You can't.
Oh, yeah.
If
The
the biggest
whole life.
mistake
Me
anyone's
too.
ever made, and by the way, we can go down the list of television shows that did it from the 80s on that just got canceled after 2 seasons because they were like, oh, this is what they want. Boom! Next season, this person's been replaced, that person's been replaced, new relationship here. The reboot. Okay, the reboot of Scrubs is a great example. Okay,
That's a good show.
Scrubs came back, and people ask me all the time, how is it? Because reboots usually suck. Everyone who is back is playing the exact same character, the same mannerisms, the transitions from scene to scene are identical. They upgraded some stories, and they're hashing them out. But that's why Scrubs has been so safe. That's why King of the Hill did so well,
Right.
was because all you wanted was an update. You didn't want, and again, people will think that I'm going to go conservative with this topic. No, we are bipartisan here, whatever. You can't just go woke with a new season. You can't. It's funny with Hank Hill because he was always against that stuff in the 90s anyway.
Scooby Doo reboot.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't.
Bobby, what the hell's going on?
So you can't just turn around
sell
and do
propane and
something.
propane
TNA,
accessories.
TNA will get there, but the problem is Triple H has probably had this conversation. You guys need to establish your TV better before we bring them up here, because also Triple H is trying not to do what Vince did, and Karrion Kross was the prime example. If we, okay, let me ask you right now. Give me someone that's still in TNA right now. Just give me anybody. Not the Hardys. Give me someone that's a TNA guy.
Moose.
Okay, Moose
Yes.
right now, main roster, fails night one. He fails night one. And I say that because Triple H will spend the time telling you the story, but the problem is he's going to throw him into something, as Jesse always tells people you can't do. If we take Moose, who is a main event guy, and he's in the main event tomorrow, he doesn't fit. Not because he's black, not because he's too big, not because he's too athletic. He doesn't fit the aura of the main event. That's what TNA under Jeff Jarrett tried to establish with the 4 different brands. You couldn't have the X Division guys in the heavyweight division in the early days because it didn't make sense to his audience. The WWE audience is a very simple formula, but the problem is that Triple H has to fight the IWC, which is not the typical WWE fan.
Well, here's the thing: he fights 4 different things, right?
Yep.
And Paul Heyman has actually broken this down.
Yeah.
He fights within his writers' room.
Yep.
He fights his bosses above him, and he fights 2 different fan bases that both love WWE, but in their own way.
Yeah.
Because there's the fans that go that aren't online all the time, and then there's those that kind of go, but they're always online.
And now...
And as Paul Heyman said in that interview, I got to give that to you guys so you can look that up.
Oh, it's great. I loved
he,
it.
He said, he was like, you're fighting a lot of wars. So, like, of course, they just released the new season of, what was it, Unsomething.
Unreal.
Unreal.
Unreal
And,
season 3.
of course, they didn't. The original plan was to have Braun Breaker win. But he told the writers, I feel like if we do that, there's going to be a big portion of the fan base that feels like he's getting pushed right down their throats.
Now, to Jesse's point, it was brought up by the IWC, the other section of fans. But they went with Roman. Roman's the safest bet they have right
Correct.
now, and that's why you do it. When you have to pivot for the safety of Braun Breaker, you have to go with an A+ guarantee.
Because remember,
They're building Braun to be the star that
right?
they
Because
want him
remember,
to be
they
instead
did
of
Jey
Rush.
Uso, and you got people in the fans who showed up who loved it, but then the IWC was constantly pushing back on it.
If Jey Uso doesn't get as much blowback as he does, Braun Breaker does win the Royal Rumble.
think so.
And I guarantee it. But they looked at the situation and they said, everyone's like, Braun Breaker's now from the main event to a tag guy. Yeah, but you're forgetting about the fact that 2 things. One, you're forgetting about him right now, and he's not in the front of your mind, he's in the back of your mind. But you also know, because you've already seen it happen, if he goes to a main event spot the next day, he's legit.
Yeah.
He's been there. We know he can do it. It's a balancing act, and now it's interesting you say that because now we're going to talk about what the internet fans have screwed up with the other guy. The biggest star in the history of AEW, not even close, walked out on a night where I decided to go to bed, and Jesse was like, I'm making popcorn.
So I decided, because I thought All Out was all right that night.
Yeah, it was actually not a bad show.
I thought the match between CM Punk and Moxley was incredible. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll watch a little bit of this. I usually used to only watch like 20 minutes because it was just all jerk off on each other.
Yeah.
And I see CM Punk walk into the room.
And the first thing he does is look at Nick Houseman of House of Wrestling.
So he's talking about the show.
Yep.
He's talking about, I'm proud of Mox, blah, blah, blah. We had a great match. But I need to address something. And I'm like, he needs to address something. This is interesting.
And then he looks
And
at
he,
Nick
well,
Houseman.
he goes, how many people consider themselves wrestling journalists in this ring or in the seating area? And of course, most of them hold up. He's like, Nick, right? Nick Houseman, right? He's like,
Scott Colton.
Scott Colton,
Also known as Colt Cabana.
And the moment I heard CM Punk say this, because I know the history between those two, I went, oh, let me go get some popcorn.
Basically, what ended up happening after that was CM Punk, the one guy where I think universally everyone, whether they loved him, hated him, or were indifferent to him, there was only one thing everyone agreed about Phillip Brooks. Motherfucker don't care if he gets fired.
He don't lie.
He doesn't say anything he doesn't believe. He doesn't say anything that he doesn't have receipts for,
Right.
which is funny because he literally had receipts at the press conference.
I mean, one of his sayings was "Tell me when I'm telling lies."
Yep.
One of my favorite sayings to say because I'm kind of the same way in life.
And so what ended up happening?
I still need to go to that muffin shop. I know I can't go on Mondays.
Quit talking about muffins. I want a goddamn muffin.
So do I, but I gotta go to Chicago
So
for it.
anyway, well, no, Leroy. Once again, you didn't watch, even though it's on YouTube for free. They were closed
Yeah, I
on
have.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, okay, I thought Monday too. Okay.
Shut up over there, fatty.
I heard
Becky and
Monday was
Seth will
closed.
have
Nope.
muffins when they are hawking their coffee at the WWE Experience.
right. But anyway, so to finish up,
Yeah,
what
I
ended up happening was CM Punk said what he said, and then all of a sudden, because again, everyone thinks we're stupid. All the internet fans were like, "This didn't happen the way that they said." I'm like, "Huh? Let me just go down the line here." All of a sudden, CM Punk walks out, and then all of a sudden, Chris Jericho walks in. All of a sudden, a security guard bolts out the fucking door.
Fucking bolted.
Because there is a fight going on in CM Punk's locker room. Then Ace Steel gets fired. CM Punk gets suspended. The Bucks get suspended. And Kenny Omega is reportedly to have been bitten by Ace Steel. Being the fucking moron that Tony Khan is, lets Kenny Omega go over to Japan. Now, he was originally there to work on some stuff
Correct,
for the
correct.
new Yakuza game.
Correct.
He was in Yakuza 5, I believe.
Yeah.
And Kenny then goes on one of the 6 billion, and that's an actual probably real number, Japanese game shows. And Kenny's left arm, or right arm, I don't remember which one it was.
It was the right arm.
Yeah, it was the right arm. All of a sudden, it gets extended on this little show. And there's a mark on the arm that has, how you say, not gone away. It's a bruise, you could say.
Correct.
Right in the area that reportedly he was bitten. And then the Bucks are not only suspended, but after the investigation is concluded, are not seen by anyone. Because it was reported that Matt Jackson had a black eye. They weren't seen by their families for motherfucking the amount of time that black eye took to heal.
Right.
And then they come back, and then it is told to us that Tony Khan was scared for his life and has never
much
been
cocaine.
in fear more than he was that night.
It's a hell of a drug.
So then I hear the statement that Tony Khan says live on Dynamite, and I go, I come from a family of lawyers. You've met most of them, so have you, and so
Yeah.
have you. That is the most lawyer fucking bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life, because they probably said, well, unfortunately, he's got us by the balls. So anyway, that, by the way, I'm skipping ahead because there was this whole we brought him back and then there was the Wembley thing. So anyway, we're skipping ahead because we don't want to spend all this time on it. Then,
shit,
all of a
get
sudden,
hit.
CM Punk arrives
balls.
on WWE television because, as reported by, I don't want to get the name right or wrong, Jesse Stone before anybody else, there was a no non-complete clause.
Correct.
He was free and clear.
was free to go.
The day he got fired.
And the rumor that I was told at the time, or apparently the fact I was told at the time, was Nick Khan has reached out to see if he can get him by the Royal Rumble because he figured they had the
90
same
days.
clauses
Yep.
as WWE, so it was 90 days. And Philip told him, I mean, there were some things we would have to discuss, but I'm free right now.
Which, by the way, as confirmed, Nick Khan immediately hung up the phone and said, "Give me 15 minutes," and all of a sudden,
Paul said I was laying in bed. We had just got done feeding the kids. I get it. And he was like, he was hoping it wasn't something terrible.
Yep.
Picks up the phone. He goes, "What's going on?" I know you two have had history. He's like, "Who?" Phillip Brooks is a free man. We can sign him today. And Paul goes, "Shut up, you're lying."
Pause. The rest is history. He debuts at SummerSlam.
Oh,
then
man.
the boys over in
Survivor
fucking
Series.
Survivor
Survivor
Series.
Series,
The
correct.
boys over
Right after the Thanksgiving dinner,
Yep.
he got the contract.
The boys over
Yeah.
in Jacksonville, then decide
Oh God!
we're going to release the footage of Wembley.
On the same day, by the way, on the same day where he does an interview explaining what happened at Wembley, so you're watching the video.
Hold on. It was actually a couple days after.
Oh yeah.
Because Tony had to go through
Well,
Wembley
the interview
security.
was first before they actually released it.
So anyway, so what ends up happening, because I have to explain,
So fucking crazy.
because once again, you want me to explain Dynamite. So the Bucks, Maddie and Nick decide that they are going to explain why they lost to FTR.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is why they lost FTR.
They're sitting in a dark, very poorly lit room. Don't know why, and they're like, this individual, because we are executive vice presidents, caused a ruckus at Wembley, and that's why we lost our match at Wembley, because we as the executives have to make sure the show is running good for you guys. That's the bullshit they said. So then they cut to the video, which 150% matched what Phil said.
Correct.
To the point
Yes,
where
he don't
Ariel
lie.
Helwani put up a split screen of Phil talking, the footage, and it matched like Dark Side of the Moon. Then, hold on.
Are you sure that wasn't a copyrighted statement?
I would love for Pink Floyd to come after me at this point in their careers. I would love for them to do that.
We're probably introducing them to new fans. Right
Yep,
now.
exactly. So anyway, so then,
I'm gonna have to listen to some Pink Floyd when I'm done.
Right?
yeah.
Shit,
So
right.
then,
Gotta get a muffin in. Listen to. Quit putting suggestions in my head. I'm
not doing it.
Easily,
That's
Well,
all
the
they
store
wrote.
up the street sells it, but I'm sure you could get it for cheaper where you work.
Probably.
But anyway, so then comes,
it's been pretty good, so.
once again, Jesse and I are like, no one believed us the first time. Then you went back and watched the replay of that Dynamite, and they left in verbatim, word for word, what Matt and Nick said live. But it cuts straight to FTR walking in the ring.
I mean, to be fair, wrestlers never said that they were smart.
No, wrestlers always said that they were smarter than dumb promoters. What people didn't understand is that when the boys are in charge, the promoter wins.
Killian Dane / Big Damo might be one of the best wrestlers of all time, just from quotes like that. For those who don't know, besides the ones where he's like, sometimes I think it's okay to punch wrestling fans in the face, and a lot of us went, I agree.
Oh, 100%.
I'm in. Let's go.
Honestly,
Let's go.
like the kid that touched Fatal Influence on the way out after their tag win, I think that kid should have got drug out by security and kicked a few times.
I'm not going to lie.
Fortunately, he was a minor.
I want to be
Well,
clear.
get a minor security kid.
As
Get a 14-year-old.
I have two feelings on that.
Yep.
And we didn't even talk about that last week. As a New Yorker, proud of that kid. Flipped off a wrestler and touched a female wrestler. Proud of that kid. Didn't sexually assault her, but touched her.
Yeah.
No problem with that. Okay.
Here's one question.
Here's my problem.
Hold on.
Where's the mom and dad?
They were there.
For
but here's
sure.
the
I mean,
problem.
the first things first, you go after the parents
Okay,
because
here's the thing,
you
here's the
smack
Let
them
Jesse
and then.
finish.
Oh, I would have beat the shit out of that
all
kid.
right, we
here's
have
the
to
thing.
finish
So
the
here's
topic.
thing.
Your
Here's the
parenting
thing.
is not relevant.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. He shouldn't have done it. And his parents should have admonished him the first time.
Yep.
But as a New Yorker, that kid's a fucking legend.
As a wrestling fan, I'm like, and an impulsive person, I would want to do that too. But it's
So
just,
when we went
it's the thing.
You're also over 40.
You just know.
Right.
Well, even that age child knows that when you're at that sporting event, you don't touch them.
No, I wish I would have recorded it. So when we
You
went
just
to
put your
Raw,
hand out. You put your hand out,
But
and if they want to touch your hand,
but
they
unfortunately,
do. That's
well,
how
but
it goes.
Unfortunately, impressionable young children also look at other wrestlers that do get patted on the back and don't react to it. I'm not saying that Fallon Henley
Right.
was wrong, but at the same time, it is a situation where you do need to let it be handled. Okay, I'm not defending the kid. I want to make that clear. Caveat. But at the same time, Fallon, welcome to live entertainment. Stuff happens. It was not to the level that unfortunately Rhea Ripley's had to deal with the last many years.
no,
So
the-
it
the
wasn't.
swarming
It
of
wasn't
people
even.
and stuff.
So it wasn't. And by the way, she's definitely in the right. So as I commented to people, she's not wrong, but it also sometimes we also have to take this in the brown. That wasn't malicious.
It wasn't, but still, it's a decorum that we as wrestling fans,
But-
no matter,
but
no
now
ma-
it comes
but
back-
no matter
Well,
what age.
let him finish.
Here's the thing: no matter what age, if that kid's like 4, I understand the impulse. But if he's 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, whatever the age, you have enough knowledge in your head to not touch people that you don't know. And if you don't, yes, it is their parents' fault.
Yeah.
But that kid, honestly, it's 100% his fault. He shouldn't have done it. There is no repercussion for that. You put your hand out. If the wrestling wrestler wants to slap your hand, if you're at a sporting event and the basketball player, the football player wants to.
But now we bring in the argument that no one ever wants to talk about because unfortunately people think it's a slippery slope that can excuse too many bad behaviors, even though I disagree. Unfortunately, and Jesse and I try to be the right kind of fan, as Jesse and I have explained for years. If you haven't done it a lot, the excitement and the adrenaline's a bitch.
Oh, for sure. No. Well, once again, I get why he did it, and it's not that big of a deal because he didn't really do anything that bad. He just went, "Oh, I touched her." But once again, it's the decorum thing. You literally look around and no one else is doing what you're doing, and so that right there seems to me just going off on a tangent. That's a problem kid. Yeah, and that means that they have bad parents,
which is fair
because most problem children are a product of bad parenting.
I will agree. The parent should have stepped in. Maybe don't touch her.
But I don't.
Apologize to Fallon.
Before we get off on a tangent about how Leroy does parenting to all of his kids individually and how he has done for the last 16 million years that he's been on this earth, we have to get back.
He hasn't even done anything. But go ahead.
He was.
I love it. Are you dead again? I'm gonna beat your ass in the middle of the goddamn thing. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, before he goes on, let me get back to what I'm trying to do here.
I will beat my kids' ass right there. I don't care.
We're done. Thank you. I was trying to avoid it. Jesse said no.
Go ahead.
Report me if you want. Fuck you.
This is on Jesse. That I'm trying to do a show.
This is my fault.
Yep.
I was trying to defend him because he hadn't said anything, and then he went off.
Because you gave him the platform. Because of you, before I continue, I'm going to need fucking better help.
You never give the garden gnome the microphone.
Okay, now we're back. Thanks to our friends at BetterHelp. All right, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, so now back to my point.
Yeah, don't give me the microphone, but I have control of everything.
What people need to understand about what happened there, Mark, control yourself.
I know. That's at the ADHD.
Yep, exactly. I don't have a spray bottle this time. Anyway.
It's right there.
Oh, well, there you go.
But he doesn't want to get up to get it.
But anyway, here's the thing. Now, back to the topic.
Empty bottle.
This is the part that Jesse's been getting at for upwards of 150, 200 episodes now,
yeah,
probably.
Something like that.
Is not understanding that Vince called us stupid for years, and there are fans that want you to believe in that Tony Khan, what he says, it is true and is this and is that. And I'm like, okay, but if you watch the fucking show, like I said earlier, Vince McMahon deserves everything he gets because based on his booking, I can tell he was a creep. Everything Tony Khan tries to tell you is a lie based on how the booking has worked out. Because if you watch the fucking television ratings, and this is a stat I always bring up, you might not know this, and Leroy might not know this, the last official 900,000 segment released publicly of AEW Dynamite was that video. They've never reached it again. That was the final time that they ever had a 15-minute period of the show reach 900,000 people.
And and by the way, you helped the guys you're supposed to be.
And by the way, the majority of the people,
a couple of years ago,
the majority of the people started not only chanting CM Punk in the arena because you were in Chicago, but also it made every fan who isn't a, to quote Brian Last, smart ninny fan, that it pretty much proved to you, well, the illusion on Jack Perry's gone.
Yep.
The illusion of Jack Perry was gone that night. And Tony doesn't realize that for everything I view as Jack Perry being a useless pile of shit as it pertains to being good on a wrestling program, Tony Khan has screwed Jack Perry from day one because he tried to make him into a tough guy when the only thing he was good at was being a good-looking babyface who fought from underneath. That was all he was good at, and he worked with a dinosaur. Exactly. But then he tried to make him into a badass, and what you don't understand about being a badass was Stone Cold Steve Austin in the era of kayfabe was a badass because he really was a beer-drinking cowboy.
Right.
But WWE never let it get out that he would do a Make-A-Wish. They never let it get out that he would sign autographs outside. It never made it to the fucking public. But what you proved to us was that a guy almost half the age of CM Punk, all he's good for is a slap to the chest. That's all he's good for. That's all he can do in a fight. Because it's like Jack Perry to this day stood up there and said, well, do something about it. I'm like, dude, even if he lost in the UFC, he's trained in MMA. You are trained in what is basically entertainment fighting. I'm sorry it is. I'm not trying to diminish what the people do,
Right.
but it's entertainment. What are you going to do when a guy puts you in a headlock and it's a real headlock? And oh, by the way, Samoa Joe also gave me a little tidbit of information to make me never believe Tony Khan again, because they didn't even edit it out. That Samoa Joe sat down at the press scrum of Wembley and said, I've seen worse.
Right.
So one of your big stars that everyone knows is legitimately like,
Whatever.
okay, cool, whatever. And then you turn around and the lawyer speak happens, and then you tell us the disciplinary committee, which never existed until this point. I'll never believe Tony Khan a day in my life on that shit. Was 2 lawyers who probably worked for his dad,
Right.
and Daniel Bryan, who is so about the indies and the anti-WWE rhetoric that he was never going to give Phil the benefit of the doubt. Because once again, and I've been meaning 300 shows to say this, we said it once, we're going to say it again. If Mark assaults a coworker, A, I know Mark is probably justified, but B, they will get rid of you because you can't assault people in a real working job.
There will be no evidence, by the way.
Fair enough. But if Mark does that,
I concur.
Mark in a retail corporate setting, Mark, you're gone. And by the way, you know it.
Oh, for sure.
But guess what? In wrestling, it's not working at a bank. It's not working at a grocery store. In wrestling, it is a sport with adrenaline and a lot of testosterone going. I'm sorry, but also, and this is
And
the part.
estrogen.
Yep. And this
Yeah.
is the part that Jesse tries to talk to people about,
Because
but
Jack
never
Perry
gets.
was producing the estrogen.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of it.
And by the way, this is the part that Jesse has tried to get people to understand, but it's Jesse and Brian last, and no one else has ever brought it up. Tony Khan is the #1 fanner of the Flames of all the controversy backstage in AEW history. From day one, Tony Khan fanned the Flames, and then when it backfired, he said, I've never been so afraid in all my life. You caused it, dumbass!
That is the typical definition of a male Karen right there.
Yeah.
Like when you watch that footage and you're talking about, I fear for my life.
He
You're
yelled
like-
at you and pointed.
He yelled at you and pointed.
He did the Sophie Cunningham with bad language.
Right. And then, like, literally, there's like 7 wrestlers there, like 3 times CM Punk said, like, they're going to let you get punched in the face.
Aleister Black was so worried he never dropped the coffee cup in the fucking
Hell
footage.
didn't held Punk back. Right. Right. Like, he never thought about it.
CM Punk was so out of his mind, was so deranged, was so bad that as soon as Samoa Joe tapped him on the shoulder, he let go of Jack Perry, and Aleister Black was so afraid for his well-being, he literally never drops the coffee cup that he had the whole video.
Like, it took nothing for Joe and Alistair to literally just bring him back. Nothing.
He was hot, but
Like,
he didn't do anything.
As CM Punk said, like, I wasn't. It was the whole he got too close, but otherwise I wasn't trying to hurt him.
Yeah, is he on top of him, mounting him, just beating him?
No, he just put him in a chokehold. Like, hey, I told
Do
you
you
not
know
to
how
get
many
too close.
friends in my life I've literally put in a chokehold and knock it out from doing stupid crap at a
Right.
bar? It's
Right.
the same kind of principle. We get heated when we argue, and sometimes fists fly. Sometimes when fists flies, you put someone in a chokehold.
And
When
before
the
we get
chokehold
into
is
the
done, you
pay-per-view,
get up and walk away and hug.
That's the last part of the point I want to make about Tony Khan. It's hard when people tell me Tony's a great guy, right? And like I tell people, the reason it's hard for me to believe that completely is because only. Thank you,
Only Leroy
Leroy.
would make things fall into place.
Only was that my chair? Okay, no.
It was a stand.
My fat ass hit something.
Only Tony, only sniffling cowards with rich daddies or families constantly try to act like they're innocent. When you caused a lot of the issues, the shit recently when it comes to Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara, but it wasn't even the first time because Penta and his brother went through the same fucking thing where they were just like, you're not going to use this.
And before we get to
just
the pay-per-view,
go.
I don't want to go on too many more tangents, but that is another example of, guys, Penta showed up. You can't tell me he's not better off.
Megastar.
Oh, he's the stuff he's doing in WWE now compared to AEW is so much better. I do wish that him and his brother were back to being a tag team. 'Cause
They were supposed to, but Penta got hurt.
Yeah, it was.
They were supposed
It
to.
was the injury. So I mean,
And by the way, it'll happen.
oh for sure, and it's going to be a glorious day when it happens. Because
So
those
I
two
thought it
are
wasn't
just
Penta
poetry.
that was
Penta
hurt.
got hurt.
I thought-
Penta got hurt. Phoenix went on that same show. Penta got hurt
'Cause, yeah, Phoenix
before that
won-
tag match.
Penta got
Phoenix
hurt.
won
It was a
tag
Triple A
belts
match.
with
if
someone
Penta got
else,
hurt.
didn't
Okay. I thought it was
maybe.
Phoenix that got hurt. That's why. Okay.
Because
all right.
hasn't Rey Phoenix been tag champs with someone already in the WWE?
It's his brother.
No. They haven't.
So they've been tag champs
they-
in Triple A again.
He
together, yeah.
tagged with Andrade.
Before we get
But
into
there was no
anything, I
tag
would like
champ.
to say that because this is our 300th episode, we'd like to extend that whilst new things are coming for us, new things are coming to a friend of the shows. A friend of the shows, not a friend of Leroy's. Our buddy Darren Corbin would like everyone to know that if you subscribe to his Patreon account, just remember that the $1 a month tier unlocks all of his content, and the 3 other tiers get bonuses every month. He is getting rid of a couple of tiers. He's reworking his things, and I've spoken to Darren personally that this is just some basic information. He felt that this was a better deal for all of his wonderful subscribers. So if you have subscribed to him in the past, there is a better option now. If you have never subscribed to him, he is probably one of the best indie wrestlers in terms of extra content, and where Caleb Hammer will tell you to go subscribe to Hammer Elite because of the thousands of hours of extra content. Darren Corbin is also will give you hours upon hours of extra content, many shows. For what you're going to pay, guys, you will get more than your fair share of value. $1, you can go subscribe. It unlocks all of his content. He's very interactive with all of his Patreon subscribers, and he wishes is not just that the people that are still with him continue, but that you possibly go tell a friend. Also, we have our own Patreon for $1. Not as elegantly said, but there you go.
And by the way, the extra content on ours is coming. But yeah, great shout to Darren. This show does really not exist without Darren Corbin. So go subscribe to him.
And Leroy's left testicle.
Yeah, talking about great shot. I don't know how great shot that was, but
It made Barbara's day. I feel like it made her month. It made her year.
I do just want to say I don't have a Patreon at all, but if you guys see me in public and want to give me $1, that would be awesome.
He's not going to say no.
And-
He's not going to say no.
and I believe everybody that was working at Menards the one day, she showed everybody that was working there had a great day from that too.
She did. Anyway, moving on to
You know what? You don't need to reproduce anymore. You have 4 beautiful children.
I don't want to anymore.
They're good kids.
Anyway,
They are.
and now we'll move on to more of the updated content, and we'll try to explain to Mark everything that's been happening because, well, we have to. Moving on to AEW Redemption, which is the 56th annual. Tony Khan had an idea, and it turned into a pay-per-view.
Because if I can do it, I do it.
That's about it.
Instead,
Tony Khan.
instead of being the modern-day WWE where Triple H finally got it right of, yeah, we're just going to go through 6 weeks and build to the biggest show of the year instead of throwing a random pay-per-view in the middle
Like
of
I
it.
tell people, though, even if the build was half par, like a lot of SummerSlam, and we're going to get to it, but let's do AEW Redemption. Leroy card.
Well, they only had, I believe it, they only had one pre-show match.
Correct. I need to stick to this.
This was the Conglomeration defeated
Conglomeration.
The Conglomeration. Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Kyle
Easy for
O'Reilly.
Leroy to say.
Yeah, it's a big word. That's the problem. This was for the World Trios Champion, which it actually was still around, I guess. They defeated the Lethal Twist, Jay Lethal, Blake Christian, and Lee Johnson by pinfall.
So
The Trios Championship,
So,
where it's been
great match.
not been a while for a while.
I did enjoy the match. I got to be honest with you, Mark, because me and you probably watch this even more religiously than me and him do. I no longer understand the point of the conglomeration. I understood why they originally formed. I'm at a point now, though, where I'm like, there is nothing. There's no real reason to keep these 4 to 5 guys together.
No, it's kind of like the organization from New Japan that just keeps getting new people that like Finn Balor was in the
Oh, the Bullet Club,
Yeah,
which
but-
they eventually killed, of
yeah,
course.
but
It's
it's
Yeah,
kind
Bullet
of
Club's
kind
right now.
of like that. It makes no point
But-
at a certain point, and
Right.
that's kind of like all AEW's ideas because they don't ever draw their storylines out enough
Right.
to make
Which
any
is,
sense. So
and what's sad is that when you look at the conglomeration, there are at least 3 to 4 of the biggest indie stars of
Oh,
the last 10
absolutely.
years in this faction,
Absolutely.
and it's useless.
yeah, no,
When was the last time the Trio Championship was
Defended on
Defended.
Dynamite, no one knows.
on any television?
So it was defended
Ring of
on
Honor.
Probably on Collision at least once.
Collision about a month ago.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, because only
Yeah.
12 people and Jess were watching, so that's why.
And Mark.
And
Here's the
Mark.
thing,
Oh,
man.
sorry.
I like you said, because
That
a
makes
lot of the
14.
wrestling is so good.
Collision
But
is a
there's
great
no-
wrestling show.
But there's no fucking story ever.
Yeah, to make any like, it's-
Nothing hooks you.
No, it's like, oh, holy shit, those are some amazing spots, and it's like, why were those two fighting again?
Like, wait, what the fuck is this?
And
happening
Mark is the
for?
prime example of guys. It's not just us,
Right.
so that we can sound like Jim Cornette, and we're like Jim Cornette light, or it's like we have guys. The average person just wants to know why are they fighting?
Really quick before we go into the main card, only 66% of this podcast listens to Jim Cornette all the time. I do not.
You don't.
As they know,
But you say the same thing.
I respect him,
And I
but
love
I'm
him.
sure we would talk and get into horrible arguments. But I'm like,
But you'd be friends afterwards.
I'm sure we would be friends because we're both old school in that way. But it's just, we don't need to sound like him. I have common sense. First match of the card.
First up is the 6-way ladder match determining the number one contender for the AEW International Championship, where Mike Bailey gets the win.
Love this match. Hate the reason they're doing it. Why not for the AEW World Title?
Because it's not a relevant title in that company. That's the other thing I don't understand about AEW, how their top title is not like the most prominent title shown. The international
Because
title
Tony
is their
Khan,
prominent
because
title.
Tony Khan, this is
Great
how
match.
this is how Tony thinks. Hold on, this is how Tony thinks. I obviously needed tag belts, and a world title. Cody came up with the TNT title. Tony has botched it since.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
But now
And it was
I
su-
get
it's
to
such an
add
awesome
all
belt. I
these.
have it in my collection.
I always get to add all these, but now I get to, because I'm the guy, I'm the promoter, I'm the guy, and everything's great, I get to add as many belts as I want. So every new title that comes in is prestigious to him. He thinks that people care about the International Championship. No
he
one
stole
gives a
from
shit
another
about the
organization.
International Championship. The TNT
true.
title has changed hands more times than Jesse has had health issues in the last 75 days. I love you, Jesse, but you've been honest about it.
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Most of them not even your fault, by the way. I want to make that very clear.
You trying to lose weight on a body that's probably needed to lose weight, you're gonna have a lot of fucking issues. But no, here's the thing, because like if Mike Bailey
It was a great match. I loved it.
Mike Bailey pulls down this contract, and why not just copy WWE? He has this for about a year to challenge at any time the AEW World Champion. Oh, I'm super into
Why not
this.
just make it for the International Championship? It's a mid-card title.
Because he
There
had
you
other
go.
plans for that story, I guess. Next match.
Next up,
Oh,
the
by the
tag
way,
team.
really quick.
What?
So, for the guy who just came back and wants to win the world title, he's still in the mid-card scene, Jack Perry.
Yep, because he's not a main eventer, and never will be.
But
And even Tony Khan knows that.
He keeps cutting promos about, I came back to be world champion. The next thing you'll be going after is a TNT
So what
title.
you're saying is he keeps getting in Tony Khan's stash when he says that. Because that's the only way that's going to
supposedly
He might
Tony's
be.
sober now because he talks about God a lot.
Yeah. He goes to church now, apparently.
So, God is a reference to cocaine.
Jesse,
It is pure
hey,
white.
Hey, Jesse, I know it's episode 300, but I asked you this probably 150 episodes ago. Why did you not call our boys in Cavo to get the right to use that fucking soundbite? We could have edited that in so many times.
I mean, I've made the email requests. They've never responded.
Yeah, we got to
It's
try
sad.
again. You know.
Uh,
All right,
next
up,
match.
Next up,
who's the record label they were on at
I can't even
that
remember anymore.
song anyway?
Yeah.
your guys' favorite tag team guys, the Young Bucks, defeated the Death Riders.
Oh,
That-
by the way, I
that
finished
wasn't
the
even-
book, so I guess within the next couple of weeks we can talk about it finally.
So
The
with
Bucks
this,
book
I
report? Yeah.
kind of liked the match, and the only reason is because it actually had a bit of a story that they.
No, the only reason why you like it is because you haven't watched the Bucks for as long as I have with
Go
Jesse.
ahead.
I didn't say the Bucks had a good match. I said it was a good
Okay,
match.
fair enough. Fair enough.
I did have John and Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
on it, so.
that's the whole thing. And at the end,
And then
the
by the
end of
way-
that match, not letting Osprey not going after him,
Right,
because he was concussed,
right.
and then basically having his end to the
Right.
death.
But then what pissed me off was that following this match, not to interrupt you, but like this is why it was a C show. They did a backstage segment on a pay-per-view.
So I mean, doing the
I
turn.
mean, to be fair, all of WWE's PLEs have commercials now, so I mean,
But there's a difference between a commercial and you're doing an angle on a pay-per-view.
There is
I'd
a
rather see
difference.
that than a commercial.
And by the way, when we talk about SummerSlam, we're going to get into that because I know you're going to be there live night one. I still might be there for both. That's going to be fucking awful. I agree. But I agree. Actually, for the Bucks, some great stuff. But it was stupid to me in this sense. It's just this sense. Of course, we're gonna do babyface versus babyface. The more interesting story was heel versus babyface
Yep.
for Kenny and Will. But no, of course we're gonna do babyface versus babyface.
And that's the biggest
Because the
problem.
Young
that,
Bucks needed to get on the paper.
and that's been my biggest problem with them dropping the belt from MJF. You could have easily, in the back, when you found out MJF wasn't going to make Wembley, because, by the way, when they found out, you had time. Okay, Andrade, you're no longer turning against the Don Callis family. You're bringing the world title to the Don Callis family. You're going to cause all sorts of shit, and you're going to stay heel, and we're going to push you to Wembley. Because, by the way, you get, like, a motivated Andrade versus Will Ospreay all motherfucking day and twice on Sunday, please.
Yep.
But instead, they
Yeah.
went with the safe one
Yeah.
of, by the way, what's going to really piss a lot of people off, Jesse included, even though Jesse's prepared for it, the last time Kenny and Will faced off in Japan was how many years ago?
It was like
they
18 years
physically
ago.
can't make that match again.
That
You're
match-
not going to see a front flip.
I think that match is a lot old enough to get fucked. I would have to go look at the date.
But understand
Yeah.
something. If you're expecting Will Ospreay to do a running front flip on Omega's chest again, it's not happening.
And he doesn't wrestle that style anymore anyway.
So it's like, guys, you're giving us a match that is no different than Kenny. See, this is the problem that I hate about Kenny Omega right now is that Kenny Omega is being used in his probably last good year of wrestling to just redo the same matches that Tony watched 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he should be building half your roster.
Also, really quick, so I had to step away to go grab a pen and myself something to eat. I heard you talk about Jon Moxley. The reason I hate watching him on a weekly basis is he's the dumbest, stupidest fucking heel that's supposed to be a top heel I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, no, that's like they ruined his character, like because Mox is a great wrestler.
Yeah.
He is a great wrestler. He can tell a great story. He can.
Yeah.
But he
in the-
clearly needs to be
Oh,
produced.
let her finish.
So in
Yeah.
the WWE,
Right. No, you're right.
they gave him the comedic side because
Right.
that's his personality.
Yeah.
Now he got bulked up, and now he's supposed to be this mean. I'm an old hardcore guy. You're not the hardcore guy. You're a mid card to main event joke wrestler that can make everyone look good. You should.
I said early on to your
Yep.
point, Stone Cold Steve Austin connected because that's who Steve was in real life. You're saying, they're trying to make John into a character that he's just not.
Why is he not continuing with Dean Ambrose just as Mox? Like that would be a perfect transition because he can
Because
still he can
John
still, he can still be
Moxley
as hard.
before because John Moxley before he became Dean Ambrose, who was a GCW icon.
Yeah, CCW, yeah.
CCW, sorry.
But like I get that. Like it's he should be combining both. He doesn't have enough comedic side to his stuff anymore. It's too
Because and I want to use my next point after what you just said, the afterbirth. Nigga, you saw Will rip it. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? So he sees Will rip the back. He's clearly not gonna hurt Kenny anymore. Why are you just standing there? What? Beat his ass. You guys know what he's about to do. What? Like he sat there for 3 minutes and the drama didn't work for more than a minute. It's like you said. At least Vince understood how to produce him. Vince always made John, even when he was serious,
I
look
will
good.
never take away that if you just let him go, John Moxley can wrestle with anyone on this planet.
John's a superstar.
But the problem is that what he's become.
His first AEW World Title run
Was great.
to me was great.
But the problem is that whatever he's decided to become, the walking back and forth, shoulder twitch. I'm gonna wipe my nose because because all of my badass fans think I'm wiping blood away. It's like whatever this is, and I can't even come up with a coherent thought. Whatever it is, and I can't even see. It's not
To
even,
me, this is Roman Reigns' big dog years right now for him.
That's exactly what it is.
It's Roman
That's
Reigns' big dog.
Roman
years.
Reigns
Oh, yeah.
didn't know what to do with the big dog, so he did what he thought Vince would want him to do, and it failed miserably. And despite the 17 people online who tell you John Moxley is the greatest member of the Shield all time,
Shit.
prime un-knee injured Seth Rollins would like
I
a
was
word.
saying, how is this even a question? Seth Rollins is obviously the best wrestler of the three of them.
Prime Seth before destroying both knees
before
both
before his
times.
knees went there
Seth
wasn't
Rollins-
anything Kobe couldn't do.
Seth Rollins,
Right.
in a contract signing, go
Yep.
watch the video, in a contract signing, was able to jump over the table and then land on the table twice in a 15-second period. The man was not human. And that is why the biggest match we've ever been cheated out of was Prime Seth versus Prime Kenny.
But that's why I keep saying, I
Yeah.
keep saying, the reason the Roman shit works so well is because of Seth.
Yeah.
Without the way he operated early on, you can't appreciate the OTC now.
And the problem with John Moxley being the Death Rider guy is A, whatever he was doing in Japan, they never fucking allude to.
Right.
And B, there was never a reason explained, even if you had to throw darts at a board because you didn't get Shane, which we all agree is now they thought they were getting him.
Yes.
It's never been explained why the Death Riders were formed, what the reasoning became, and if at the end of the day the higher power will say, as a reference most fans understand, if it was just John, then it's just John. But they just kept going with whatever it is they were doing.
There, Brandon.
That, by the way, before we go to the next thing, that's my other problem with Tony Khan, which comes up in a couple matches here. He can pivot. Most of the time, he won't. Next match.
Next match, Kyle Fletcher beat Bandito because it was the International Championship match.
He
there.
can pivot. Sometimes, in this case, he won't.
Yeah, Bandito should have.
Bandito deserves
Move Kyle Fletcher up.
Yep.
You need fresh young stars
Yep.
in the world title picture.
Fletcher proves time and time again, if you're going talent right now in AEW, he
Oh, he's
is
the
their
best.
talent. He's the best.
He's the best.
Why does he not have the strap around him? Why is he not in the title picture? Bandito should have beat him for that title. He should have moved on to the next
Because
story.
the
Mark,
biggest-
you and him, and I'll let you finish
Yeah.
a second. You and and by the way, I was joking when I'm called Zach upon. I understand why he went to go make his money. Me and him were talking
Yeah,
last
he's a
week,
punk.
and I literally said, in any other company, the booker would. The only thought is, how do I make Kyle such a big star that when he wins my main title,
Kyle Fletcher-
he can carry my company.
Kyle Fletcher
Which
is
not
the
what Tony
biggest
does.
misguided attempt of anyone because Kyle Fletcher is the most start-stop
And here's the thing, in New
guy
Japan,
ever.
I didn't see this.
Could you imagine like a Kyle Fletcher Trick Williams feud in the
Oh!
WWE?
No, pause. Can you imagine if Kyle Fletcher got Trick Williams booking?
I know, yeah.
No offense to Trick, he's great, but if you give it to Kyle,
Except for that belt. the furry molded belt thing that he's wearing is not a.
But
pimp
let me
belt.
say this:
There's-
no
there's-
offense to
there's
Trick,
nothing pimp about
no
that.
offense
Started
to
to like
Trick.
you might lose
If
it,
you're
but we'll talk about that
talking
later.
technical wizardry, Kyle's better than Trick 9 Ways to Sunday,
sure.
and that's just being
for sure.
honest. That's not ripping on Trick. He's
no.
got something that works.
But I was just that's the first one that came to mind is just a match that I would love to see that
Right.
we're getting screwed out of because Kyle Fletcher is literally underutilized in
And
this
what
thing.
bothers me the most is that the internet keeps bringing up the fact that, oh, he's their Randy Orton. Randy Orton was never booked like
Randy
this.
Orton was world heavyweight champion
At
by
24.
24.
Why are MJF and Kyle not having the feuds for that title? Why are Mox and Kyle not having those
And
feuds?
why is
'Cause
MJF still doing the same bullshit a year later? Hey, guess what? You want to know what pissed me off? The fucking glass broom thing. It worked when you were in the Texas Death
How old
Match.
is Kyle Fletcher now? 28?
26?
Yeah.
Because he's not that much older than Sky Blue, who's dating.
And he's younger than, right now, he's still younger than when Bray won the WWE Championship, and that's the last guy
20
to win in his 20s.
Okay, hold on.
And
I actually didn't know
barring
some of
Tails or
this.
Not, Sky is my favorite.
I
female
also
wrestler.
didn't know some of this. I want people okay, I don't know if this is true, but I want to read off some stats here. He's 27.
Okay.
He's 6'3".
Yeah.
You pray for a 6'3" guy in wrestling
Who
these
looks
days.
like that?
Who
Yeah.
looks jacked?
It can move like that.
They also did him a disservice by making him bald. Because the hair did differentiate
The hair
him.
did work, yeah.
And even if you wanted him to have less hair, you could have styled it some way.
Being
That's
a
the other
follow-
thing.
be-
We
being
got to
a
move
follow-
on.
Being a follically challenged man myself, I just know it's the sexiest way to be. So I don't.
But there's only one of you. But Mark, there's only one of you.
There's like one of you where you work. too,
Remember
so
that,
it
ladies.
works.
There's only one of them. He's still ready.
Yeah,
We
once
gotta
again,
get
ladies,
moving
I
here,
am
so-
single.
We got to
so-
get moving here.
Next match.
All right. Then we have these, I don't know, kind of dogs defeat the Bang Bang Gang
I
in a
don't- I
double
don't-
chain take match.
I don't get the dogs. I don't get the Bang Bang Bang.
I'm walking out.
the Bang Bang Gang to
As
me.
gingerly as I can, I'm
like-
walking out for a second.
I love Billy Gunn.
I fucking.
Still-
Why?
Still 60 years
Why?
old. Still 60 years old in wrestling.
What the fuck is he doing?
And he
But
looks really good.
His children
too.
are horrible.
He has Bullet Club right fucking there.
No, his children are
He's told
great.
the wrong story.
They're great. They're just booked
Kids are
like
good.
shit.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. It's since I've watched all this in AEW, it's literal
Jay
garbage.
White is a literal main eventer, and you're not using him. Let him go to WWE like he was planning to do.
Because
As a matter of fact, please take Juice with you. What the fuck is he doing?
Mark, you're gonna come over,
We have a
and
better.
I'm gonna show you the only AEW match.
I had to walk
that-
away. I didn't want to scream into
that
the mic.
that Jim
heard you
Cornette
fine.
saved in his DVR because I don't know if you've seen it, but it was Gin and Juice versus FTR on Collision. They went 60 minutes. It's the greatest tag team match ever
It's
put on television.
amazing.
that sounds like an amazing match. Just
Jim Cornette he still raves about it.
And that's
Jesse was in the hospital trying not to get kicked out watching it.
I was with my ex at the time. Yeah,
That-
it's
that-
just.
that's
We gotta
impressive.
get to Leroy's review and then one more 300 topic. But anyway, so no, this match proves the dogs.
we
up-
got to go through the SummerSlam.
I know.
too,
So we gotta go. But anyway, dogs up and down, Bang Bang Gang. Let all these guys go because there's no way that David Finlay is gonna look you in the eye if there's no camera and it's all off the record and go, "Yep, this was the right decision." There's
There
no
wasn't.
fucking
Yeah,
way.
there's a better dogs in Triple
There's
H,
no
so.
And
fucking way.
now we have the TBS title. Go ahead.
TBS style. Maya World defeated Akira.
You know,
Hikaru Shida.
You know, this could matter if Hikaru Shida wasn't a paid fan. Sorry, Jesse, for that reminder.
Why you apologize? I'm the one who got on them about that.
But Maya World has been pushed so little since she got here. But remember, Tony already knew about her. 5 internet fans already knew about her, and 6 people in the audience already knew about her.
Yeah.
So she's over.
No, this whole match, I'm just like, who?
She's been in there since
And
December.
and
it was
Hikaru
December of
Shida.
25.
Hey Jesse, once again, Hikaru Shida. She must need a mask because she has what I would call short-term syndrome. Jesse, guess what? She can't hold the title longer than 90 days again. Hikaru Shida can't hold the title over 90 days. Holy shit.
She's been with the company for 7 months.
he does
Maya
not,
World, not
Maya World.
Not
He
Hikaru.
does-
yeah.
He doesn't. I told you this years ago. He doesn't deserve Hikaru Shida. The fact she's still loyal to this company is insane.
That's because she's making bank.
she is making bank, but she deserves it.
Guarantee all these wrestlers are just loyal to the money. You take the Tony Khan money away, they go elsewhere.
Oh, if they were getting paid Vince money, they would have left years ago.
for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
If they were
Well,
getting paid Vince old
Let's get
David money.
into now.
Next
By the way,
Oh,
the match with the women was great, but let's get into, to me, the worst match of the night.
Go ahead.
The Worth match? Okay. Well, we had the AW World Tag Team Champion, the men's Tag Team
I am not
Champions.
allowed-
Let's get
All
into
right.
Chris Jericho and Tommaso. We will get
Cajun
into that.
Cope defeated the Death Rider, Claudio, and Pac.
This tag team division doesn't mean
The
shit.
bastard Pac.
This
Yeah,
tag team
WWE's
division's
at
gonna
least
be
admitted
shit.
they're trying to fix it, but this is garbage.
I like the fact that the only thing I like about this title run is that they're giving Edge and Christian a run before they,
Well, right, before they retire.
Yeah, but guess what? You're not supposed to be liking old timers getting one last run. You're supposed to be liking a new up and coming tag team. But
Once
yeah, go
again,
ahead.
they're supposed to be making everyone else pop out. They're supposed to,
Right.
And all we're gonna get is them versus the Bucks again.
Well, of course, that's how. But yeah, no. Once again, wasted time, wasted talent, wasted matches.
Yeah.
They just
Hey, Pac, you got to lose some of the muscle.
You have 8,000 wrestlers on your roster. Make an actual tag team division and make
I agree.
actual.
And I need Pac to lose some of that fucking extra jacked up muscle he got. He looks so slow in this match.
Well, it's because he doesn't do half of the stuff he does anymore because
He can't. He physically can't do it. Not even because of injury.
Ask every wrestler. You got to wrestle enough to keep the body moving and be able to do that kind of stuff. He doesn't really wrestle anymore because
Right.
he's on the Death Riders. He's the fifth option for them now.
No.
Because
Recently, he's been the third.
Because doesn't it usually go Mox, Claudio?
No. It's Daniel Garcia now.
Yeah, Daniel Garcia.
Who got new
the
music.
next, yeah.
I'm not.
And
Daniel Garcia doesn't
why the hell
exist
did
to
they
me
put him
anymore.
in there? The joke guy that just dances. They're going to turn it. They're going to turn him into this mean guy. It's like
because they thought the biggest thing they had going when they re-signed him was the Death Riders, so they put him in a big thing to be like, look, we didn't just sign him, so he didn't go to NXT. And meanwhile, because of the booking sense, Sean's like, I never wish bad on anybody in this business because I used to be in their shoes, but thank God we didn't pay money on that guy.
But that's like making Cody Rhodes a heel. It just doesn't work.
Oh, it's going to work out
Oh,
so
it's
well,
gonna
Mark.
fucking work.
It's going to work out so
Oh,
well. You're going to
next
love
match.
Homelander.
I can't wait to talk about it for SummerSlam. But next match.
We got 3 things left to do on the show, so let's get going. We don't want to be here
Homelander,
forever.
Cody, we won.
Next match.
All right. Well, Mark alluded this to earlier. The Painmaker, I think it was more pain for us. Chris Jericho defeated Tommaso Ciampa
Mark, I agree with you.
by submission
This is
with
the,
a drill.
You don't have to say it. It's fine. This is the shit when Chris Jericho does this. I'm like, this is where Vince was good. Nigga, no. This is my pay-per-view. You're not drilling a nigga in the head. No. We have already lost sponsorships. No. I don't care if I pay you $10 million. No. My money tells you no. This is a bad ending to a good match.
Yeah, it's exactly because it was a great match until the end. It's like just when the drill got brought out, I literally went, nope.
Can I also point something out? Because I've been wanting to ask this question for a while, and
Well, they're
thank
not
God.
going to go to Milwaukee sponsor.
They keep thinking like they're GCW, and they're not.
And what bothers me is I now have to ask the question, and people are like, oh my God, how could you ask this question? I'm like, no. I think it's finally a relevant question, especially after this ending. Who is doing better right now? Johnny Gargano or Tommaso
Oh,
Ciampa?
Johnny Gargano planking.
Yeah, because Gargano's literally the only reason I want to go meet the wrestlers because I want to get a picture with him planked.
Also, he's around world champions while
planking-
planking.
And planking, that's good.
There's clearly a
exercise.
plan for Johnny.
It's
Johnny
good
Gargano is
exercise
going to
for
be
you.
just fine when this is over.
Jesse, it's good exercise for you too, planking.
I honestly think Tommaso
I'm
Ciampa.
too big for it.
I think
I know,
Ciampa
I know.
jumped the gun and should have never left WWE because I think he's going to.
Well, no, he didn't jump the gun because again, he said, I gave a lot of thought to it. I'm at a financial point in my life where I can do it. I want to go try something new. That's fine.
Yeah. But I think he made I think he made a mistake.
He made a mistake because at the end of the day, it's the number one issue with the talent in AEW. And even though we're a talent first podcast, it needs to be said. Everybody thinks that because they're having fun, everything's better.
Before we go to the next match, because
Doesn't mean anything
I
like
want to
that.
agree with you. I was okay with the move at first. So I was like, you know what? This is a guy Tony probably needs. He brings some gravitas. Like, this is Tommaso fucking champion.
Yeah, I thought it
Ciampa.
was going to be good too.
And since he's been there, I'm just like, Bailey, you have every reason to not fucking go. Start discussing your contract. Take whatever new money. Lie. Tell them Tony Khan offered you something. Don't go.
Oh, no.
Edge did it, even though that was real. Edge did it and got a fat, juicy last contract in WWE.
Yep.
Go ahead, Leroy.
Yeah, Bailey's not going anywhere.
You just lie.
All
Next
right.
match.
We had the match for the AEW National Championship where Andrade beat Mark Davis.
Happy for Andrade. It's the wrong title.
Yeah.
Once again, the international title in AEW makes no sense.
This is
Another
the
This
national
is the
one.
national championship.
Oh,
This is the national.
This is the national title.
Sorry.
The title that they
It's
technically
even worse.
stole, and then they had to call Billy and be like,
Yeah, the international.
"So Billy,
Yeah.
sorry."
The international one was the one they used to have the tournament for.
Yeah. So once I don't
Their
like
other
it.
mid-card
I
title.
honestly I don't like Andrade's wrestling character persona.
Okay.
He does nothing for me. There's
Okay.
even though he's a good wrestler,
Yeah.
Which is why I said.
His charisma does nothing for me.
Which is
He's
why
a
I
flat
said
wrestler to me.
Okay.
he needed to not lead the Don Callis family. He needed to win the fucking world title. He needed to become Don's new guy. He needed to cause friction, and then he needed to leave after he lost to Ospreay. It would have been perfect.
Well, in Andrade's case, because of course on the Indies he's actually been reteaming with Thekla.
Yeah.
That's besides the Wyatt Six. That's the other one I go. TKO. You help drop the ball. It was simple. You put him with her and her husband because as his manager / wrestler, she was excellent, and he really in NXT Black and Gold he really like shined.
Yeah.
Because his problem, especially when he's a heel, is the suaveness does not come off as cockiness. So for you, of course, it doesn't work because it doesn't come off a certain way.
Yeah.
You can tell the whole thing is if he's going to have girls in the crowd act like they're swooning over him, he should actually hire actors instead of people that don't know how to even show
Well, what they
emotion on
do
their
is
face.
they use independent wrestlers.
Well, then those independent wrestlers need to go back to school and figure out how to put emotions on their face
I
because
didn't want to say it.
they're
so I
not
don't
doing a
say
good
it.
job.
Oh, and then real quick, the other guy in this match.
Mark Davis.
The guy got hurt.
Shrug.
The guy got hurt. He comes back.
Shrug emoji. The guy does great work.
Yeah.
He's a shrug emoji guy.
Once again, it's emotionless wrestler. He does good work, but
You
it's
know
like,
who it reminds me of? Do you guys remember European champion back in the day, Japanese wrestler before he got a comic kid, Tajiri?
Yeah.
Tajiri, to me, I mean, I loved Tajiri back in the day, but I used to understand like why people in the WWF back then couldn't really get back into him and shit like that. That's Mark Davis.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
wrestler, just gives you nothing to really get
Yeah,
behind.
once again, it's the whole point of wrestling is the storyline behind it because
Correct.
it's a scripted
Because
thing that gives you a
again,
story
Correct.
because
to
again,
involve you
people
in it if you're just
who want to
dry.
sit there and act like Tony Khan is the savior of the territory days. You know, in the territory days, guys actually had to figure out characters. Guys actually had to cut promos. The fucking greatest territories of all time, sure as fuck, weren't living off of mid-card wrestling matches 5 nights a week. Anyway, next match.
Nope. All right. This is going to be the last two. They're both one's for the women's championship.
Yeah, no
and
one cares
for the
about the
men's.
women's match because guess what?
Oh,
Tony
we're
Khan
gonna get
doesn't
into
care.
both.
Okay.
We're gonna get into both.
Willow Nightingale defeated Thekla
And Kenny retained
and then Kenny Omega
Has anyone been
defeated
more?
Kevin Knight.
Has anyone been more like backroom fucked over more than Willow Nightingale in this company?
Yeah, Kevin Knight. Why did you do this to him?
Yeah,
He got like no response.
0.
well, it's because he shouldn't have. He's not ready for the main picture
Right.
yet in that thing. He was great as the TNT.
Tony,
champ.
yeah, we keep telling you need younger people. Yeah, you got to do something with Kevin Knight. This is not what the fuck we
What
meant.
do you do with Kevin Knight? You don't fucking take a guy who was getting people interested as a heel, as just a by himself heel. You know what you do with Kevin Knight? No.
You give him
hold
the
on.
TNT title
No,
and let him
not even
run
that.
It should've
a
worked.
middleweight division.
It should've
Eventually,
worked.
Run 'em up.
eventually you do. But you know what the first thing Kevin Knight as a heel should have done? Is wipe the fucking floor for 6 weeks with Darby loser ass
Yeah,
Allen.
I agree.
Because he already beat him in the fucking tournament. And now he's a heel, so he cheats, so he borrows, so he does everything he can to piss every fucking person off. Because some people still believe Darby Allin's a talent. Fuck him. But I'll say it till I die. He's what Ric Flair thought Mick Foley was. But anyway.
Uh-huh.
No. What do you do with Kevin Knight?
Trust fall.
Hey, buddy.
Trust fall.
Here's what you do with Kevin Knight.
Trust
Here's
fall.
what you do with Kevin Knight. Yep, yeah, exactly. Trust me. Here's what you do with Kevin Knight. You fucking do what every dumbass motherfucking sports team does when they're desperate. You draft a guy with potential, and then you put him on the starting lineup fucking night 1. When you know you got to give him at least a year. That's what Kevin Knight is.
So
He's a
yeah.
first-round pick talent on
To
potential
me,
alone.
the conclusion of the World Championship match was simply this. You may have fucked Kevin Knight,
Yep.
and you're going to do your babyface versus babyface, which is going to be spectacular, but just like whatever. Now to the women's match.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, you got some balls on you. Do it again. Have Willow beat her. Do it again. Seriously, have Willow beat Mercedes. Do it again. Have some balls.
So, Jesse, you don't want to place a bet with me that Willow's going to win? Because I know she's not.
Oh,
gonna
we
win.
did talk about this. I'm glad I didn't place that bet
'Cause-
because you'd have won.
I know.
Here's because I didn't believe it.
Yeah, I didn't think Tekla was.
I'm like, it's gonna be Tekla versus fucking Mercedes,
I'm gonna screw
clearly.
it up every time.
And I thought
Yep, everyone does.
Thekla and Mercedes at in Wembley. Yeah.
This is the part that
No,
nobody
it's gonna
wants to
feed him
talk
Willow.
about. We had a good show. You are building the biggest fucking show of the goddamn year, and you decided to stick a
They're Mania.
roadblock, no pun intended, because Roadblock actually worked in WWE, because WWE changed things at Roadblock.
Right.
They put stars on Roadblock. They opened with Enzo and Cass, for Christ's sake.
I'm excited for Enzo and Cass to be back together. In
There's
NXT.
still rumors, and I don't know who started this because this would be the dumbest decision, and Triple H isn't this crazy. There's actually people that think that they're going to come back, and it's solely going to be Cass as a singles and Enzo as his manager. And I'm like, are you high?
No, it works with the little guy and the big guy. That's how their
Whoa.
dynamic works.
I
So.
don't know if they're still bringing them together because right now the focus has been re-promoting Big Cass. We'll see. I'm not going to put any stock into that shit.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing
Enzo's
about
been in the Performance Center longer than
yeah,
Cass
that's
has.
right.
So.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing about the women's match that I really appreciated. Number one, Thekla doesn't really lose anything because if this doesn't work, maybe he does have her beat Mercedes. You can just put the title right back on Thekla.
Yeah.
She's still a star. That's not the problem here. The issue becomes you only have now two women I like at the top. And I love Willow Nightingale.
She's great.
We
Yeah.
love Willow, yes.
But like, you only have two women at the top, and everybody else. And by the way, I would love to see Julia get pushed. But listen, her and Sky Blue are fulfilling their duties in that faction.
Oh,
that's,
for sure.
That's what a faction is for.
They're not bad by any means.
No, no.
They're probably the only good faction in
Absolutely.
AEW.
Absolutely.
But I am still so worried about All Out.
All in.
All In, because I get the feeling he's going to put the title on Mercedes.
Of course he is.
Oh.
Because he thinks she's
Yeah.
the money cow in the thing, and for most wrestling fans that I know, none of us like her.
Because at the end of the day,
Post WWE, the only time she moved the needle.
LeBron James factor.
The
kind of
only
why you
only
don't
time
like her,
she
too.
moved the needle
Hold
is
on,
when she
hold
went
on,
to
hold
Japan.
on. I got to push back on that
Okay.
for a second. Okay, I got to push back on that. LeBron James, if anything,
LeBron James.
has always tried to go in a winning direction. He's tried to make things better for other people. That's why he tried to go get Russell Westbrook. Because again, I'm not saying he was right, but he thought stars, it'll work. And then we realized no one can make Russell Westbrook work. But here's the thing. Before you go off on the basketball thing, I know you're an MJ guy, whatever. But the difference here is that Mercedes has actually never had good intentions. I don't want LeBron to be misquoted in the fact that he's tried to win. Mercedes has tried to bury every fucking talent she's ever worked with since she left.
No, I'm just saying, and I'm not talking playmanship versus playmanship. I'm talking their showmanship. The way he went into Miami is the same way
That was bad. That was
the
bad.
same way Mercedes thinks of herself, and most like Tony thinks.
But
of
at
her.
least LeBron didn't
they're
put
gonna-
the chant at the start of the song.
You don't think he would have if he could have? You don't think that every time he
No,
steps
because
on the
LeBron
court,
watched good wrestling.
but you don't think every time LeBron steps
That's
on the court he
true.
would have "I'm the goat, I'm the goat,
No,
I'm the goat"
no,
played
he
or something.
Nah,
I mean, the
no.
man called himself the goat. That's why he can never be the goat. You
He
don't-
actually, his friends did. Here's the thing.
it literally came out of his mouth. I am the goat.
Well, you should believe that though when you're competing.
No, you shouldn't.
We're not
You
getting
should
into that.
believe that.
No, you
guys,
shouldn't.
guys,
Kobe
guys,
and
we
Michael
have a
didn't
slight
believe it
time
when they were
crunch here.
competing.
Hold on.
different time, and we'll get into that.
Different
But
show.
I do want a little bit of pushback in the sense of the big difference between LeBron and Mercedes is LeBron actually does try to make his teams better. She hasn't buried talent. She hasn't fucking helped either.
No.
Look at all the people that got traded from the Lakers when LeBron went there. It wasn't to make the team better.
Did
It
he
was
win a championship or no?
one?
Okay. So it worked.
But
One
Wait a minute.
in 5 years. One in 5 years. And he's supposed to be the greatest of all time.
Where? Okay, first and foremost, I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole, but I'm going to say something that nobody wants to talk about. The Lakers right now are the Lakers. What were they before he got there?
The Lakers.
Bullshit! They were the
they're
Lakers.
not the Lakers right now. They're the Whitekers.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it like this. But
Even though people thought it was racist, Stephen A. kind of had a point.
no,
They are extremely white.
There's too much white on that team to make any sort of.
They shouldn't even play in Staples. They should go play in the suburbs.
They shouldn't be playing. That's not the point. If you don't have at
Been
least
playing on the golf course.
if you don't have at least 3 brothers on your starting
Nigga,
roster,
then it's not an NBA team.
it's not. Period.
No, it is.
It's,
No,
it's
it
not
is.
a
It's
European
just-
team. It's
No, it is.
not
It's
even
just
a
from the
farm
50s.
league. But the comparison and see
Or in
for,
Europe.
for me,
They're
I can
an
spend,
NA team. No
I can
niggas
spend
allowed.
6 hours just telling you why LeBron legitimately will never be the GOAT, and it's his drive, it's his will. He doesn't have that.
Okay, moving
He doesn't.
on, boys.
He's
moving
played for 20
on,
years,
boys.
but that's
Different
it.
show.
There's no drive. He has to run every 3 years because he can't get a team built around him because he's a little big.
Overall, I'm going to rank AEW so we can move on because I don't want to get into that. No. Overall, I will rank this
Leroy,
show.
shut up.
I will
Don't
rank-
do it, Leroy.
I will
It's a
rank
different
this
show.
By the way, we are going to start doing sports. So you got to come back. Overall, out of 5, I give it a 3.5. 2 of those tag matches killed me, man.
I will give it a solid 3. If they would have developed stories,
Yeah.
it would have been an
That's
almost
the other
4.5.
problem. This did nothing to build all in.
No, nothing at all.
Well, I'm about to say people will mention the world title picture, but I'm like it was always going to be babyface versus babyface probably because Tony doesn't have the balls.
Especially since Will didn't even turn into a Death Rider. He was always kind of a fucking side project.
And then also, I do want to give him credit for switching it. I did not think it wouldn't be Thekla versus Mercedes. So the fact that right now, unless it turns into a triple threat, it's not.
Yeah.
Give him credit for
All
that.
right. As we move on, we're going to quickly go through the SummerSlam card.
We'll just do our picks as we go through night 1 and night
Quickly.
2.
All right, this is what they have right now.
Okay.
They might add 1 or 2 on both nights.
Yep.
All right, first up they have up on here is Liv Morgan in Io Sky for the championship.
Io Sky walks out with the title.
Io Sky wins. Although I will say this, I am not a part of the internet hate. For what her job was to do, Liv has done a fantastic heel job.
Oh no,
Have they-
I love Liv's character. I think it's really.
And
good.
I also think that the highlight of the entire Liv Morgan last run will still be, boy, Danhausen's a better man than me, because when she walked into that room and took that jacket off, I'm like, bro, you were in character, and I respect it.
Hey,
Because she's not a bad-looking girl.
Yeah, but
Oh,
neither is his wife.
Well, it is true. When your wife is the #1 burlesque dancer in the world, that's an actual stat, by the way.
Sweetheart of a person, because I got to meet them, as you know, I got to meet them down in the
Yeah.
cities. Sweetheart of a human being, super hot.
And by the way, he knows it.
Have they announced the first hour what's going to be the matches?
No.
They didn't? Okay.
No.
They will probably do it this week.
Yeah.
And they might do it tonight.
Next match.
Next after, our favorite, Hell in a Cell. Brock and Oba.
Big meaty men slapping me. Oh, it's over.
For about 5
Oba,
minutes.
'cause,
It's Oba.
this is Brock's retirement
Yeah, he's
tour.
going
It's
home.
not a retirement
It's
match.
Oba
so.
because Brock, as we've learned over the last 5 years, yeah, he's about himself as long as he gets paid, but he clearly has more respect for the business than people ever fucking thought.
Listen,
he just doesn't like people, so he's antisocial.
which
He comes out,
is
does his
fair.
job, and
Which
goes
is
away.
fine.
Which is fair.
When Paul Heyman
He's
kind
going to do his match and then go back to Canada and slaughter some pigs.
when Paul Heyman gave away the fact that, hey, Brock was actually, when he was Universal Champion, was willing to work week to week. And I'm like, well, so Vince, fuck that then. Too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Vince, and by the way, anyone in this room, anyone that I know who's like, I'm a hard worker, motherfucker tells you he's going to pay you full time to send you home for 6 months.
I'm going
There's
fuck
not
him.
a person alive that I know who's even a hard worker who would say no to that.
No, I want to keep working because I want to earn my money. Shut the fuck up and sit on the couch.
Shut the fuck up and go to Saskatchewan.
Next match,
Next match,
which will probably actually be the main event, but they don't have it in this order.
Yeah.
Oba.
No. Next match, Leroy.
Oh, next match. Okay, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes.
You don't think Cody Rhodes is going to work? Well, you better get ready because it's coming. Oh, it's coming. For you, when you go home, I want you to look up some things when you have some time. Cody Rhodes and Ring of Honor highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes and TNA highlights. Cody Rhodes in early New Japan highlights.
You have to understand something. Cody Rhodes in TNA handed a $20 bill to a girl And
220s and a 5.
220s and a 5, and he told her, and I quote,
It's $20 more
it's
than what they were going to
$20
pay
more
you.
than they were going to pay you anyway for the night.
No, I see. Once again, it's not about the heel turn. I just don't like him. I don't think he is as good of a talent as everyone keeps pushing him.
We gotta go to the next match.
We got to do this another show, Jesse.
I gotta hold the nut. Next one.
Okay.
We disagree so hard.
For sure.
Oh
but,
my God,
but,
I love
but,
you
but,
though.
But remember, that's
Leroy, go! You're the only thing
since the
holding this
first podcast
together.
I was on with
Shut
you
Go,
guys, that's been
Leroy,
my
go!
segment, so.
I love
All right.
you for the take.
6-man take. Hold that thought. We're going to do another show with you, Mark. All right. 6-man take. LA Knight, Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa against the Bloodline, Jacob, Jay, and Jimmy Uso.
This babyface stuff for Solo is great.
Well, you've been saying since day one
know.
when he broke away. Oh my God!
He's a revelation.
There was so much personality
Yeah.
that wasn't shown when he was in the Bloodline.
See, and for me, for this match, we just see LA Knight not getting a push that he's going to get in because his team is going to lose. And LA Knight's going.
Ooh, I don't know, man.
And the reason I say this is because LA Knight's on the team. If it was anyone else besides LA Knight on the team, they would probably beat the Bloodline.
LA's gonna get there, but
Okay.
I think what we've now all come to
I'll
establish.
let you go ahead, but
He's just not gonna get multiple
I'm gonna
world
fight
title
back.
runs. He's
I'm
gonna
gonna
get one.
fight back when I choose my. You go ahead, quick. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to see he's not getting his push, okay? LA Knight still, as you look at everybody who's in that, Jacob Fatu, he's in the World Heavyweight. Main event, Jey Uso was a world champion. Solo Sikoa was in that. Royce Keys is going to get pushed in it, so he's not out of the main
Well,
event
that's the other thing,
scene
Mark.
at all.
Like
he's
I think
still there.
I mean, he's
I think
he's
he's
in
right
it, but
about though is that Mark, you know this better than most people because you actually listen to what people have told you and how this business works. It's not always about you're consistently working with the world champion. It's about who you consistently spend time around.
Oh, for sure. But see, for me, love that Sammy got the title, but as a character and more of a main event push or even a push of that title, I think LA Knight would have had a better 9-day run than Sammy did because Sammy doesn't need a title to make him liked by the fans and push his merch.
true.
LA Knight needs a title to be liked.
He'll get there.
I disagree. LA Knight is.
No,
his
I don't
team
think
is
he
gonna-
needs a title
His
to be
team is
liked.
actually going to win this match.
Yeah.
And he'll have his title run.
If you're off work, you're welcome to come on the follow up next week and
Um,
talk about that. You're welcome any goddamn time. How do you think Jesse got on the show?
Right. LA Knight.
He had Sundays off.
Right. LA Knight, to me, like I told people, will be World Heavyweight Champion by WrestleMania in Saudi next year. It's absolutely going to finally
and
happen.
I think he had a great run for
Number one, he
with the
does
US
not
title.
need the fan push. He's got it.
With the U.S. title, I thought he was great.
hold on.
I also
really
think
quick.
you have to understand it's hard. LA Knight is Scott Hall right now. It's hard to make him a world champion when your fucking in other people are Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash to a lesser degree.
I disagree. It's all been set up for him. Now, the him not getting it so far, it's been a little frustrating as a fan. I understand that. And here's the other thing I understand because my dad's a Cowboys fan. You guys have projection of hope, but then you take it away. We're Jet fans. We have no hope ever. But
that
the
is
reason
fair.
the reason we gather hope on certain things sometimes is because the vision. We'll get to them, but the vision sometimes can be very clear. LA Knight had Triple H's whole thing was, I want him always there, but when we get him that big moment, it's gonna be like Daniel Bryan. It's gonna feel so fucking.
It's also really hard to push a guy when you still can't beat Roman
And by the
Reigns.
way, when he gets his ring, because I think he'll beat Roman for it.
Yeah.
When he gets his ring, that's why sometimes I think it might happen at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because The Rock's coming to do the Roman match for next year's Mania.
But,
He's not going to have the
right.
title.
But that's the thing is that, Mark, you can't, again, Triple H, going back to what I said earlier, you can't just throw a monkey wrench out there for fun. Remember, if there's one thing you've learned when you watch a Gordon Ramsay style show, whichever one it is, being different, and a female chef actually said this in, I think, season 14.
It's bloody fucking raw.
Well, yeah. But no, we gotta stop.
Yeah, I don't like it that way.
We gotta stop making Leroy laugh because then he'll talk. But anyway, but yeah. So,
Need more lube if it's wrong.
there we go. But that's
You're
my
welcome.
thing is that a female chef said it one time in season 14. Being different is
need a
okay,
drum
but
set.
being different for the sake of being different is not a good enough reason. Triple
Oh, yeah.
H can't just
I need
beat
the button.
Roman And unfortunately, you can't just beat CM Punk.
And no one should really.
Shit,
beat
yes
Roman,
you
but-
can. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it this Saturday. Next match.
Yeah, but that's what QB won.
All right, this is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. Gunther and Nick Aldis.
The National Treasure has returned. I'm going to share, so feel free to ignore because you're going to see it a lot. I've already posted on the suite the interview that we did with Nick Aldis.
Don't forget, it's on our
And
YouTube. Free.
I have posted above that the future guy who's going to beat Gunther. Why? Because I want everyone to understand, one, I want more viewership. Two,
I was shitting myself in that interview.
that's why I was there for you, buddy.
There was a river of sweat going down my
And
back.
thank God I could hold the camera straight.
By the way, he was as regal in his class.
He
as-
was great. I love the
Great.
man.
And,
Oh,
But number
and there
three,
makes our lovely photo of him on our page
Yes.
too.
this is one of the most underrated performers of the last 15 years. In the world is about to learn
and
that.
Billy still owes him a lot of money.
Oh, for sure.
And-
No, I also think Nick Aldis is going to win this match because even for storyline, Gunther losing doesn't lose any momentum
also
for him.
people are like, oh,
It-
Gunther's
it
done
just
his
shows
loss.
Nick Aldis getting fucking pissed off and
Right.
fucking
He's not
beating his
beating
ass.
a broke down, older, doesn't look like he used to in his scrap daddy days, Adam Pierce. He's gonna be beat by a dude that stayed in shape the whole fucking
Yeah,
time.
And-
Nick Aldis, who still could be a champion.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. The guy who stayed in shape
Yeah, as
and
he-
is probably gonna be an active wrestler now.
As he stated, your boss is gonna make you his bitch, and that's what happened. It's gonna happen to
Not
Gunther.
the actual last night match of night one, but probably the opening match. Go ahead.
It'll be
Leroy.
well. The last one they have on here is a 6-woman tag with the Bella Twins and Paige versus Fatal Influence.
I have just never understood the Bellas. I'm sure they're
I
gonna win
just
this
want
match.
Paige to break away
I-
so she can go on that
I-
singles run she
I-
deserves. Because by the way, folks, in case anyone's wondering, go to the
It might happen
entirety
here.
of the WWE Women's Main Event. Paige is still younger than all of them.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. If they play this right, Paige is the reason that they lose, and
Yep.
it's because she turns on the Bellas because she's already.
No. Bella,
Actually,
no.
that's not a bad thought.
or the
Bella's-
Bella's turning on
Bella's
Paige.
turn on her.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But
Well, they're like
that's
legendary baby faces, so they probably won't do that.
The Bellas?
no. The Bellas are always heel.
They've always been
they're-
heels.
They're the heel good guys.
They're random baby faces to some girls who
Well, no,
were
it's-
like,
it's-
"Oh my God, fearless," and I'm like, "Fake boobs and a child."
It's the heel good
Unfortunately,
guy.
we did not get to go live, but I'm going to describe what I have in my hand.
The
It's
Bella
a-
Army.
It is an autographed photo of Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg was in pro wrestling for about 20 years, something like that, maybe a little bit
Bret
more.
Hart's
Um,
arch nemesis.
and I want to be clear.
Something like that.
It's still
To
Sean.
me, the Bellas are Bill Goldberg.
Okay.
I don't fucking get it.
Yep.
I don't know why there's love. I don't know why there's merchandise. I don't care that they have kids. She doesn't have a fat enough
Oh my
ass
God, I'm ready to
continue
throw
do
up
that.
with what he's doing there.
I throw up when she does it.
Thank God we didn't go live.
That we would have lost some viewers. with
Thankfully,
that one.
John Cena has better taste
I
in women
can
now.
dance. You would have lost viewers. You would have gained viewers.
But
Well, we had more women. Maybe we had more women watching us.
But
Let Jesse
That's a
speak on
bonus.
actual
There could
wrestling.
be a not straight man that thinks I'm cute.
Well,
but
that's true.
the
I
Bella
take the
Twins,
compliment.
the Bella Twins are a big selling point.
This entire show was just diagnosing Leroy with ADHD. That's all this show was.
And
No, I don't have that.
the
Bullshit, you
right
don't.
move,
Nah.
We all have
Bullshit,
it.
you
the
don't.
right move would be Fatal
an old
Influence
man.
winning
Doesn't
because
mean
you
shit.
can continue to push these young ladies.
Yeah.
They're probably going to let the Bellas win.
God, I hope not. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right.
Night
All right,
two.
We gotta go.
Night 2. All right. One. Well, the biggest one to start out. Roman and Seth Rollins.
Seth.
I think Seth ends
I
it.
would love for Seth to win this title.
I think
No.
Seth wins and sends Roman into his ending arc.
Yep. I also think this is because Roman's going to take the rest of the summer off.
I
So
Well, the
and
summer's
I
only
dis-
another
I'm-
like
I'm
3
disagreeing.
weeks.
I think Roman's
I
got
think
it.
it's to middle.
we disagree with that side of the room. It's going to probably be Roman.
I think Roman.
To be fair, though, I do think that. Okay. Let me say this to what they're saying. I think that Seth, being as great as he is, win or lose, can set Roman on a villain arc. I think Seth can do it.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
Because I think the story they want to do is that Roman finally beats him one-on-one.
Yeah.
But, like, oh, man, I'm like, to end his career never beating Seth is a hell of a story.
Yeah, but to be fair, we also got to remember something. What was the other streak in wrestling that was highly publicized that everyone now universally agrees should have just never ended?
Taker.
Oh, let's take her. Well,
Yeah, and-
because you had Brock do it for no fucking reason.
No, I still think they should have never ended it to begin
But
with.
just think with Seth winning this too, the arc that they can still go on with those two for the rest of their career because Roman's
Well, Roman's only got like
always-
3 years left.
That's-
Well, he said I might have 3 years left. So if he feels like he can go 3 more years, then you can always come
And
back
Seth
to
will
it.
go
Yeah.
until he's 80.
exactly. So
Drew's going to be in college by the time Seth has his
just
final
imagine
match.
that retirement storyline that they have because it'll
Yeah.
because it won't be his last match, but
Right.
somewhere in there, just like Cena's kind of thing where he
Right.
got to do everything.
Right.
You're going to see Roman do everything
and go
then-
get that win.
Yeah.
So if they know Roman's going to be around for a few years, then then Seth winning is a better story
Fair.
for sure.
That's fair.
Next match.
Well, you know,
Plus,
me and Jess-
wrestling
But
needs
we're on the
Seth
same
Rollins.
page.
Me and
It's
Jess-
going to be Roman.
It's like, and then Roman, Oba killing Roman. It's all right.
Plus, Seth Rollins as a champ is just glorious TV. So
He is.
It
great.
really is.
All right, next Intercontinental match: Penta and Chad Gable.
Chad Gable has to win.
I'm pulling
If-
for Chad.
You don't even need the poll. If they don't do this,
This would be
Triple H
so
officially
awesome.
is removed in any Book of the Year talk. This is the most This is the most motherfucking written on the wall for you. Only Tony Khan would fuck this up.
Mark, I need
Rudy,
Rudy. Mark,
Rudy.
I need my week to go right financially.
Vince
Because I
McMahon
need
would
to
have fucked
be
this
there
over
for
too
this
because it was
match.
his hometown.
No.
I
Even,
think so.
even if it had gone
This-
this way, Vince would have
Really
pulled
quick,
the trigger.
guys, hold on. This match, if I can get there, you want to talk about making the Minnesota fans cry. Having Chad Gable win this match in Viking Stadium, where the Vikings still have not won a big match. I'm sorry. It's his fault.
Spain,
we talked about the Jets earlier.
Spain has more playoff victories in your home football stadium than you have victories as a
By the
Jet.
way, as a Cowboy fan,
Fuck
I
the
will
Jets.
say thank all of you Minnesota fans.
Whoa. Are we talking about in the last 26 years? Because that's just not true.
I don't care about soccer, so it's not even a real sport.
Okay.
So
Oh,
moving on.
jeez. All right, shut up.
Keep going.
Ouch.
Yeah,
I don't
Go,
get soccer,
Chad
that.
Gable.
Fuck it.
I
All
do
right.
want to say, but I do believe it's Chad Gable.
Yeah.
I hope I'm there for this match because this is gonna be excellent.
Yeah.
All
Next
right,
match.
and I know everybody's they're taking heat for this for the interims WWE Women's Championship for ladder match: Charlotte, Chelsea Green, Jade, Tiffany, Julia, or Last Legend. That's gonna be the last one. It's gonna be Julia or Last Legend.
Okay, really quick. You know I called you podcast as a joke.
Yep.
Triple H, you fucking pussy.
Yep.
Just strip her of the title.
This
Who
is-
cares?
This is. I've said. I ripped Tony for all those interim things. He somehow got away from it. Maybe it's because the injuries happened less. Triple H, I'm gonna rip on you. The interim thing doesn't work in fighting, and it doesn't work here. I always hated the fucking. Well, okay, we're gonna have an interim champ. He'll defend while the guy's out. Just make him the champ.
Because then when your champ is healthy,
Because what pissed me
boom,
off,
you got your rematch. You got your match.
guys, the real champ. I'm not saying that I was on his side. The real champ avoided Tom Aspinall, but Tom was interim for the longest fucking time in UFC. But Tom was gonna beat John Bones anyway. So like, what pissed me off was you made him the interim guy. You had the fight ready to go, and then John just walks away. Now, John's happy. I'm cool for him, yada, yada. Still one of my all-time favorite fighters. But you didn't want Tom Aspinall. Just fucking come out and say it. Just say you didn't want Tom. Say it was a bad idea. But anyway, no. Triple H, this is where you
This
get
is weak
no
sauce.
love for me. This match
Weak
is
sauce.
a joke. I don't agree with it. I would agree with it only if Rhea Ripley... She can do it from fucking Australia. I don't give a fuck. But a fucking Twitter video, something. Relinquish. This is bullshit.
I can't defend this. I need to relinquish this. I will be back for it.
It's not that
That's
hard.
simple.
It's not that hard.
Literally that
And by
hard.
the way, you
And-
did her
and
even more simple.
Not to mention the fact, oh my god, put her on a fucking red eye
you know
from
they're
wherever.
giving the goddamn title to Charlotte.
All I'm saying is this.
I doubt
I don't know
it.
about that.
I doubt it.
All I'm saying is this. You fucking
Because they
fly.
wanted the Charlotte Rhea feud. That's why they're going to give it.
They've
to her,
already
so
had
that-
three. They've already had it.
They've
They already
done it.
had
No,
it.
here's
Done
all
it
you
a few
had to do.
times.
You fly her in. You fucking have her do it at the end of the fucking show. You get the tears, yada yada. You red eye her back to fucking Australia. She sleeps in her bed for fucking 3 days straight. We all go home happy. That's all you fucking had to do.
By the way,
Or Buddy could just make a TikTok
It
of
will
it
be
and-
probably Julia in this match on Friday. But yeah,
You think Julia?
it'll be Julia.
Go ahead. All
I'm
right.
saying
That'd be
Julia.
good.
I'm saying Julia.
We got
in
a
the
lot
match.
to get to the end
the
here,
match.
so we got to get going. Go ahead,
But
Leroy.
I think,
All right,
I think
next
the
up-
winner will be Jade Cargill.
Okay.
That's probably the feud they'll go with.
All right. Next up, determine the number one contender for the WWE Championship: Finn Balor and Sammy.
I think they're finally going to move Finn.
Yep, I think
By
Finn
the way,
takes it.
I also
Think
love
Finn's
that
gonna
he
win?
completely skipped that Danhausen will fight Dominic Mysterio.
He's
Oh,
skipping,
yes.
not us.
Yeah.
It
That's
is
going
not.
to be the best opening match of all time.
It's not on here, but
It was. It's in your fucking face.
Oh, it is. Okay, there. Sorry, I missed that one. Well, who cares? Dominic
I
and-
care!
When we get bigger, we're going
Very
to
nice,
add.
very evil.
When we get
You
bigger,
haven't seen this.
Okay.
Nice.
when we
I
get
care
bigger,
very much, Leroy.
Yeah, there I see it now.
Leroy, unfortunately, I have to tell you this now on our 300th episode. When we get bigger, we're gonna hire a guy like Colin Cowherd, who's really not a part of the show, but like throws news nuggets out there because you can't do this anymore. 300 episodes in, you ain't doing this anymore.
Fuck you.
The only reason why you got through Forbidden Door was because there were less Japanese and Spanish names.
Well, even when
true.
there were, I just did it myself.
Exactly.
And
So
then we got Trick versus
Dominique
Baron.
Donhausen.
Dominique, what the fuck?
Dominic, whatever.
Dominique.
Jesus,
I've heard somebody
Leroy.
say that too. It's like
Dom and Nick.
Dom and
That's true.
Danhausen.
That-
Is
That'll
there
be good.
vodka in that over there or something?
I
no,
wish.
there's vodka at my place.
Okay, and then of course we got Trick.
Trick and
And
versus
Baron.
the returning Baron Corbin.
So I do think Finn will actually be the number one contender.
Yeah.
Because
I
you
think
want to
so.
talk about a cool story. Finn versus a heel Cody Rhodes. Holy shit.
Be a good time.
And
Be a
then
real good
Trick
time.
versus Baron. Of course, this came about after SmackDown. They taped it and then put it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
My worry is that this is going to be the one where Triple H goes, let's do something fresh.
Yeah.
My worry on that isn't because of Baron, because he does feel fresh right now because he was gone.
True. Very true.
Wolf dogs.
My worry about that, yeah, that was pretty bad. Well, the name was bad. I actually like the tag team.
Tag team was
tag
great.
team was
the,
amazing.
the name was terrible.
I worry because we've been slacking in this division recently,
True.
and if we put it on a guy who probably should have came back to your main event scene,
Yeah.
I get a little nervous about that.
All right. Are we done with SummerSlam?
We're done with SummerSlam.
Yep. that'll be
Ladies and
good.
gentlemen, 300 episodes ago, Leroy and I started this because Leroy walked up to me and said, so I bought podcast equipment, and I was like, oh, shit.
Oh no. We were talking how much we love wrestling, and he said, it'd be fun to do a podcast. And like, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And
What
then,
the fuck? Maybe there is vodka, because folks, I'm going to tell the real story.
No.
No, stop. The real story is you started correctly. The next part was I said I was thinking about doing an all-around sports and wrestling podcast with a buddy. It didn't work out. It was Stewie, by the way.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out because of timing. 3 days after I said that, you fucking came to work, and the first fucking words out of your mouth were, so I bought this podcast equipment on Amazon, and my exact reaction was, oh, okay, we're doing this.
I think he has a crush on you.
Anyway,
But I do love you.
300 episodes ago,
I do love you,
we
Zach,
started
I do.
this, and for 299 episodes, this fucking dodging motherfucker dodging this little thing more than Trump dodged the war, decided to turn around and finally got caught. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it took 300 episodes. Leroy, how were the first 3 episodes of Dynamite?
As about as exciting when I downloaded the AEW video game. Oh my god! And I was the only one that did that. So fuck you both.
I fucking told you not to do it.
No, keep going. I got a clock on this. You're not getting out of this with a simple one
No,
line.
I'm not.
Keep going there,
I'm
kiddo.
not.
I want a fucking line by line review. Let's go.
Okay, first episode. I agree with Zach. Cody being on the first match, that was fine, but I still think they could have chose something better for that. Like you said, Mox and to start it out, 2 big names to start it out. Sammy's okay. He can wrestle, but he came out wearing a panda hat because he thought it was cool and he looked cool. No, it wasn't that good. The referees, not that good. Aubrey, oh my god, fucking Aubrey. You're too full of your fucking self. You're not that fucking good. She fucked up. All the other refs fucked up. The main event had the Bucks in it. John came out. right in front of the fucking ref. Blatantly took out one of the opponents, and then they had a 3-on-2 match. The rest, this should have been called. There was no stipulation of a no DQ in this match. It should have been called right there.
It was a 6-man.
Yes,
It was a 6-man.
it was a 6-man.
Kenny and the Bucks.
The match, and I was looking at watching like he did it right. I had to stop. I rewound it and watched it again.
Wait, was it SoCal or Christopher Daniels?
SoCal uncensored.
No. Chris Jericho and two of his cronies
Oh!
against Young Bucks and Kenny. And John came out of nowhere, right in front of the ref, and drug his ass out, which he should have been disqualified. The Bucks should have won that match.
That right there was a moment in time that I don't think we all realized was going to start the downturn of people who think logically. I'm not even making a joke. What I'm trying to say is,
And
Jesse,
logically in wrestling is a hard thing to
Jesse,
parallel there.
Jesse had a line early on when he came on, which was, WWE doesn't announce time limits. But they never announce time limits. They never try to stick to it. They never try to make you think about it. At least they're consistent. And in AEW, they would tell you it, but the problem is they would never announce when they were close. They would never make it a storyline, and when they did, they fucked it up.
They did.
They did ties, for Christ's sake, with no follow-ups.
They did somewhat in the first episode, but you could barely hear it.
But that's my thing.
And then the records of everyone, that made no sense.
That made no sense.
Episode 2, Leroy.
But no, there's one more thing about the first episode.
Okay.
The first episode did crown the first women's champ.
Which was, I think, little Riho, right?
Riho,
yeah.
against the Native Beast.
We just haven't seen it all.
I really wish they would have taught the Native Beast how to wrestle.
She was kind of
bigger.
green. Yeah, she was kind of green.
She
at
was
the time.
big. She was doing things that a bigger female
He
wrestler
tried-
or a male wrestler shouldn't do.
I don't believe that what Jim Cornette says that he made Riho the first champion to appease Kenny and blah blah blah. I think he legitimately believes, him being Tony Khan, that he was going to recreate the greatest women's feud, arguably in the modern era and beyond.
Awesome Kong and Gail Kim.
Kong versus Gail Kim.
And no, because
And the problem is that Gail Kim, world-class talent of all time,
World-class wrestler.
and Awesome Kong, the best female working big person ever.
Just
Because
incredible.
what I always loved about Awesome Kong was she was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was actually Abdullah the Butcher in a female look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nyla could have done a little bit like that, but she
Well, the problem
didn't
is,
have the credentials.
and the
to
other
do it.
problem
She
is,
wrestled hybrid cruiserweight when she shouldn't have.
Yeah.
No, she
Yeah.
should have just wrestled big.
and by the way, who's another big bitch who actually, I'm not trying to be mean, who's a big bitch who got told to work like a big bitch and all of a sudden she got over with everybody?
That would be the
Raquel
Mexican
Rodriguez.
Raquel Rodriguez.
She got told
the
to work
Latina
big.
mama.
Bunch of the fucking idiots on the internet were like, "Oh, so Kevin Nash is calling her fat." I'm like, "No, he's
big.
telling her what to do to make more money."
She's almost 7 foot tall. That's big.
She's also a
big.
big.
Call her
She's
fat,
also
big. You fat.
she's also big for a division that's not big. And it's like, if you work bigger, you'll get over, because the other thing that Kevin Nash understands, regardless of everything else he's screwed up in his career, lowest drawing WWE champion of all time, guys, he made a lot of fucking money working big.
And by the way, she listened to him, and it worked.
And it worked out really well.
She honestly should be in more of the WWE title pictures just because of how.
Oh, I
big she
agree.
is.
Oh, I
Not
agree.
even a question.
Well, all right, before you guys get sidetracked, episode 2.
Yeah.
The only
You don't have to do match by match. I just need your, like,
The only-
highlights
Which is what
or
he's been
lowlights,
doing.
yeah.
The only one of the 2 matches I wanted to talk about. The only good thing about it was like the tag team. When they started out, the tag teams in
Tournament?
AEW were good. They were
Yeah.
featured. The Bucks losing the first time,
Yeah.
that was
We
interesting.
still had promise at this point.
But it's still with the referees.
You established in episode 2 what I said about episode 1. You established that the referees and the production around it means nothing.
By the way, I want Leroy
And the
to
production
finish.
was really shitty.
I want Leroy to finish, but it is funny to hear Leroy talk about this for the first time. Notice the main thing that keeps fucking him up. That will never fuck you up when you watch WWE or New Japan. He keeps talking about the refs. Remember, we got to episode 7. And I think I was starting to become a regular at that point.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was like, if I see Aubrey make herself a part of a match and she doesn't need to be anymore, I'm going to lose my shit.
The referee is an integral
so
third
much.
member of the performance. But
You're supposed
unless
to see them, but they're there to relay the
They're
messages to
an
the
NFL
wrestlers.
fucking lineman.
Yeah.
The only time we should know about them is when they get like into the Pro Bowl, all that kind of shit.
or
Get
if
the
they
recognition.
or if they screw up, but it's part of the story.
Right.
Or they
They
have to
don't-
pick up that fumble and they run it in.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
No,
We love big man moments.
But the one
sometimes passes out and you got it.
The one saving grace for them for that episode, for
Yeah.
referee wise, is Earl Hebner was on. But they should have learned from him how to do everything.
Well, the problem is that Aubrey comes from the school of Rick Knox, who was the personal referee in bar wrestling for the Bucks. And by the way, Jesse refuses to allow me to even mention about the PWG refs because they actually did their jobs.
They did. Not Rick Knox, but the rest of them did.
But
Aubrey used to, like, someone was like, Aubrey. I'm like, Aubrey was there sparingly.
Yeah.
She was in other California promotions. Continue.
but they kept going too about that they had what was that the two guys Darby and then whatever guy what was the name, he's from England, that he got canceled.
Oh, Jimmy Havoc.
Jimmy Havoc.
Saying how great that if they win and if Pac would won,
That's
they're
what
being
happens
there.
when you sexual assault like 20 women. Yeah.
Their 2-0 record gives them deserve a shot for the title.
Before you go to episode 3, this is the part that's fascinating to me listening to you, is that here's a guy who, yeah, you can say, oh, he's listened to you guys for 299 episodes, so he's tainted. He went into this blind. I
never
want
seen
people to
these.
understand. He's never watched
He's
a
never
full
seen
episode
these.
of Dynamite in the fucking 7 years they've existed. But you know what he's saying? The same shit that we've been talking about, and I'm trying to explain to people. And by the way, this might be a rant that I go on in front of all of our fans at ExcaliburCon. Come on down and see us on Saturday. And I'm probably going to get a bunch of people rolling their eyes. But it's
And
like,
Sunday.
if you watch and you take out that Tony Khan is not a sexual predator like Vince, you can't help but not see this shit.
Right.
You don't have to be Mark, who got brought into DPW and all of a sudden saw the production from start to finish and yada yada, to open up his third eye of wrestling. You don't have to be that. You just have to have watched a wrestling match.
I don't advise opening your third eye. That shouldn't be opened in public.
Yeah, keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Third episode.
But and still in the commentary team through this whole thing, they should just have JR and Excalibur. They did not need. I like Tony Nostalgia. Just have him as a fucking.
Yeah, that used to be my old complaint. I'm like,
Have him as a.
Jim and Excalibur are great. Keep it that. You can maybe
Have
do
Tony-
Taz, but
Have Tony do interviews. with
Excalibur's
different people.
perfect for this environment.
Yes.
But when you put a bunch of jack-offs with him, and that's not a Jim Cornette line, folks. They're literally, like, seriously, I'm a fucking gooner and a fucking piece of shit. I know what a jack-off is, and they're just jacking off to their own shit. You and I have worked with a kid, won't mention his name. We've worked with someone.
Leroy.
Surprisingly not. If he laughs, it's a good joke. But if the whole room rolls their eyes, it means nothing to him because he laughed. He got to laugh at his own stupid shit. But the rest of the room of adults was like, it's not only tasteless, it's not funny, and it's the wrong fucking timing. But that's what fucking Daniel Bryan and fucking even fucking Nigel to a point have become. Is just Tony and Bryan are laughing, and despite what people think of what they call sock face, because they don't like his style of commentary, but in this environment, I think it works. Excalibur is trying to do a wrestling show. That's why when it was just him and Taz, it worked.
Yeah.
Daniel
We don't need
Bryan
Tony.
just doesn't want to go home because there's nobody there but his kids because his wife is off making money and wrestling. something he
These are
wants
my
to
kids.
do.
I ain't take care of them.
They're old enough now, though. He didn't have to.
Right, exactly. But it's like he just
they're
doesn't
probably
want to go
taller than
home.
And by the way, he's only on Wednesday, so they only do Wednesday. So the rest of the time, he probably is at home with them.
Well, but what I'm saying is that he just wants the version of wrestling that he loves, which is completely the opposite of what WWE wants. And that's why I think Daniel Bryan just became an old curmudgeon, where it's like you just can't admit that the biggest point of your career was WrestleMania 30.
Get off my lawn.
That's exactly what he is.
I've learned to still love him, but I hate him. Continue.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, third episode.
Yep.
Referees still suck.
Yep.
The matches were decent.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the tag team was good.
He's only in episode 3. He's already saying the same shit we've been saying for 7 years.
And-
he's only in episode 3.
Jeez. I think it's bad. The tag match with Pac and Mox against Kenny and Hangman. Good match, stuff like that. But then when foreign objects were put into the match, yet again, no one is disqualified. Mox screamed at the referee, and I can't remember who the referee was, a bald dude, man, or whatever.
Probably Rick
Probably
Knox.
Rick Knox.
Jumps out of the ring
Yep.
to go check on the wrestlers on the floor, and the objects are in there. They could have disqualified either one of
The
them.
referee's job
just-
is to keep the ring clean of any foreign objects, regardless of wrestlers on the fucking floor.
Really quick, and by the way, thank
And
you
it was-
before I let you finish the rest of your little review here.
Only one more.
Remember what we talked about with the JR thing? And the only thing he was asking people was learn to work your cameras. It's a big thing. We're on
Learn
fucking
to
TV.
tag in and out, which, yes, in Lucha, they don't necessarily do all the time.
Regardless, it wasn't because I remember it wasn't just the tag team shit. It was everything. He's like, guys, we gotta learn to work
Cameras,
the cameras.
tags, yeah.
Why? Because a referee noticing a nigga bringing in a chair to go check on the ref so he can't disqualify him looks fucking horrible on live TV.
See, that's the thing. I would look at them and I
and
would...
they all got mad at JR.
Do you know... Okay, seriously. At some point, and it's happened in the history of wrestling, it's probably happened on WWE television. I can't bring it up right now, but I guarantee you I could ask WWE people and they'd tell me. There have been times where... Oh, wait, no, there was one. Big Show. They said, is the table going to, support him? Remember, Cody said, that was Show's idea. It wasn't supposed to happen there. But the
Right.
referee's staring at him.
Right.
He can't... Now... The pause for dramatic effect was funny on television, but the ref still wasn't going to say, all right, keep the match going.
Right.
For those who are wondering, many, many matches later from the matches that Leroy is doing, Jeff Hardy won a tables match, and a table didn't break.
Yeah, that was bad. That was very
The
bad.
table didn't actually break.
It cracked a little bit.
And all the referee had to do was just make a weird hand motion of like, nope, we're still going, keep going.
Right.
Like, that's all. Make it up on the fly, motherfuckers. Please finish.
And then I will talk about Aubrey again.
She was bad the first
I'm
week.
kind of sensing a pattern.
Yeah, right?
She is their senior official.
You should
they
come over
say.
and on the big TV. We'll watch it
And-
on Tubi.
I get a 75.
When
I got a 98.
I know. And a
when
55, though.
it
I
was
have a 75 and a 55.
Darby against the champ Chris Jericho in a street fight.
Yeah, 3 episodes in.
Okay.
This was the beginning of
Street-
Tony booked
And,
backwards.
and they did in normal, no DQ matches, rope breaks don't count, but they said rope breaks did count. Okay, they did state that.
Yep.
That's fine. So why are you telling him, get him out of the corner, because there's no DQ?
Yeah.
Why are you persuading them, hey, you can't be outside the ring, get back into the ring? Why? It's a street fight match. You can wrestle anywhere. Aubrey, shut the fuck up.
Because Aubrey...
Do your job.
Because
You are
Aubrey,
not part
as-
of this story.
As shown when, by the way,
Oh my
Mark, I don't
God.
know, Mark, I don't know if you ever heard this little nugget story. I should send you the link of the Jim Cornette review of it. But there was a point in time,
I like nugs.
Mark,
Yes.
there was a point in time where a Twitter account that
Yes.
by the name of, I believe, Dan Stevens,
So, yeah.
was constantly copyright striking AEW clips on Twitter. It was traced back to the offices of AEW in Jacksonville and found to be Aubrey Edwards.
That sounds about right.
It was literally proven. Because the fucking email, which they thought couldn't be traced, went straight to the email of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because you can't reverse engineer an email?
Just it.
I forgot how bad she was in
Yeah.
the early days and like how much she thought that she was a part of all this. And it's like, sweetie, the referees at DPW were involved because they were written into the fucking story.
And
They
she's
were
not
told to
in
do
the
what they
story.
did.
I say,
And in the end,
That's like me saying I was part of the storyline for the last DPW thing because I was head of security. I literally stood there for.
does anyone, like, I mean, seriously, let's just go down the DPW stuff. If you look closely, Nick and I have done a pretty decent job, not taking over the story, but a decent job of Nick being like, didn't Paul hit you with a chair once? Irrelevant. Moving on. It's like we've never just thrown things out the door and said they never happened.
Yeah.
Consistency is something that will always create. Okay, by the way, regardless of if anybody liked it or not, one of the best years consistently of college football ratings. Yeah, everybody hated Bama. Yeah, weird. Y'all watched every time they were on TV because you knew they were about to whoop up on some motherfuckers.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone screws up. Every promotion will screw up. And for the noticeable ones like that, you make fun of it like that in a funny way. Like, hey, didn't someone hit you with a chair once? What are you talking about? Never mind.
We're moving on.
So it can be part of the storyline. So when you screw up, your next couple days, your writers should be out there going, all right, we fucked this up, so let's make this into something so they don't.
In the moment when Paul Charlie horsed me with the chair, I got carried to the back. I sold the injury a little bit. I was screaming and trying to skew.
You did a good
low.
job.
I was trying to make it seem like it was a big deal. The very next,
I got my fat ass out of there.
Yeah.
I did not want to get hit with that fucking
The
chair.
very next
I
thing
wasn't.
I got told when I got backstage, and it kind of pissed off some of the crew members because they were like, "Hey, we need extra help," and I'm like, "I'm part of the story now." By accident, was get the fuck out of here. Don't be seen by anybody. I spent the rest of the show in the rafters so no one would see me because we had to get the illusion that Paul sent me away.
Yeah, he hurt a couple people, right?
So like.
yeah.
If we could figure that out on the fly, how the fuck does it take 3 episodes and you guys are still like, hey, Aubrey, do your job and then shut up?
As I said, the wrestling was good, but all
Earl
the,
Hebner's great moments, the double referee moments with Hogan, all this stuff, it was planned, it was thought out, there was weeks of working up to it. There wasn't just a guy who's literally seen it for the first time 7 years later saying the same shit we said in the moment. Play it back.
like I said, the wrestling was good, but everything mixing into it made it horse shit.
Leroy, I love you, but by the next show, I don't care if you skip everything until it. I need you to watch the Dark Order takeover because I need someone else in this room besides Jesse to know the pain of that segment.
The dark,
I
do you know what
remember that.
episode that is?
6 or 7.
It's probably, I think it's 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It has to be 7.
Because
I
a
think.
guy whose name we will not mention threw some punches in an
Oh
area
my
that Dustin
God.
Rhodes wasn't in the ballpark of. And then they took a blood capsule and shoved it down a throat, and Evil Uno did something he never did on the Indies. And then the very next week, I was like, oh my God. They're literally never going to mention this again. And they haven't since.
It was the gayest shit I've ever seen on pro wrestling, and I've seen some gay shit in pro wrestling.
I will watch that, and then I'll.
And
let
I
you
don't.
know.
And by the way, I want my gay friends to know you should watch this because you will watch it and understand what I mean when you see it and go, whips and chains, guys in masks getting whipped. This is some pretty gay shit.
Yeah, might think you might be at the back room of the 90s.
Like some pretty homoerotic stuff.
And
going
oh, by
on
the
here.
way, something that's never been explained to me is 2 dudes earned masks and then never wore them on fucking day in their life.
They were made to take them off at one point, thanks to what's the name? It was weird. The whole thing was weird.
But they never wore them. They earned these like again.
Alex Reynolds and yeah.
Pitbull. I can't remember.
Fuck,
his name.
I can't
I
remember his
the
name,
But to be fair, they haven't been on TV in like 4 years.
I'm about to
so.
say I haven't seen them. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Leroy.
Probably still getting paid though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
By the way,
probably.
Leroy. Yeah. So whatever you do, yeah. So I want you to move on to the next 3 episodes. But if you just want to review that segment, I'm fine. Final topic. I'm glad Mark's here for this because Mark's listened a bunch, and I appreciate that. We're going to end on a top 5, which I think is always a lot of fun. This is going to be interesting because we're going to build it together. I'm not going to throw things out, but it's the top 5 biggest things in wrestling to happen throughout our 300 shows.
CM Punk at All In.
Brawl Out, I think, is number 1.
Brawl Out
because,
has to be
because
up
let's be
there.
honest, that night actually, and Mark agrees with this too, it actually got Triple H and CM Punk to agree on something. 15 years later.
Craziness.
Sun
Is that
shines
shit.
on a dog's ass every once in a while.
Brawl Out is number 1 because, guys, that was also the night where you were like, oh, there's no hope in this company. As soon as I found out he got suspended, there's no hope.
The moment I knew they were going to do the video, I'm like, oh, we're done.
Brawl Out is the single most important moment in the history of our show because I came in and Jesse and I both had finally seen it, but he watched it live.
You know what?
And
One
we
and
just
two,
said,
so there's Brawl Out.
yeah,
And I think number 2 has to be
Punk and Survivor Series?
the video
No.
from
Yeah.
Wembley.
Because, by the way, it killed your fan base. The building hated it. The people at home. You were ripped so much online that you had it taken down. You copywritten yourself
It was crazy.
to the point where CM Punk, due to English law in England, had every right to sue you, and he literally probably sat at home, looked at April, looked at Larry, may he rest in peace, and said, I can't do anything worse than what they just
Like
did.
they just killed all their
There's
own
no
shit.
way. I
think-
guarantee you, Phillip Brooks, being just like Jesse, which is why they would both not get along, but get along at the same time. Petty as fuck.
Oh yeah.
He probably looked at his fucking smoking hot wife. How she has abs, I don't know.
Crunches.
It's more than that. She gave away her routine to Stephanie, and oh my
Yeah.
god, it's way more than crunches. But like,
AJ looks
but like,
great.
bro, you can't tell me he didn't look at April and go, I need to never speak about this again because I can't make this worse.
I think number 3 then would have to be
They've never hit 1 million since that day.
the Vince McMahon
Scandal.
releases. Yeah. Because
Yeah. His retirement.
because I mean it got him out of WWE.
Vince McMahon finally did something that he couldn't just sweep away.
Finally, it's not. He's finally got it caught where
Yeah.
he can sweep it away.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, for Christ's sake, just thinking back to the Ashley Mizraco thing.
Yeah.
And all that. It's like, how did he get away with that? But
How did he get away with Snuka?
crapping on someone's chest and lying about it is the way you get kicked out. You literally cause
Jesse-
the death of someone.
Jesse
Yeah.
has said 1,000 times off the show and on the show, if a lie got us there, God bless her.
The Lord truly works in mysterious ways. So
I think one other big moment that happened, I would put it in the top
because
5.
that was the first moment where one of us actually did a video, Leroy, and then I'll let you finish, where it wasn't us doing this because I did the video as the stuff was coming out.
Yeah.
I think which still has a lot of hits on YouTube, so thank everyone for
Yeah.
checking that out.
You guys are around for Ric Flair's retirement match thing. Right?
Nope.
No? Was that before?
Ooh, you mean the indie one?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would put that in our top 5,
We
but
were
that
there,
was a point of
But that was
conversation.
a
were
joke, and,
Yeah.
and will forever be a
And
joke.
then we never.
That's
talked
not a
about
top
it.
5 moment, though.
That's why because of the joke matter, I think it should be closer up there, though.
It could be an
Oh,
honorable
man.
mention.
That's no,
You know,
Because it had to have been.
I'll put it in
I'll
honorable
I'll
mention.
honorable mention.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went on
Top
for
10.
damn near an hour about
Oh,
that.
that was
shit.
fun, yeah.
I think Cody's return to WWE
Ooh,
Absolutely.
is one. It
Absolutely. No,
That's
no,
a
no,
huge one.
Mark. Okay.
So he's talking when he meets Cody Rhodes. He's talking about from
I-
when I was probably one of the first people to report about Dude, he's on a handshake deal.
What people
anymore.
have
sure.
to understand is, like or dislike the in-ring persona, the idea that the guy who did a separate reality show, who was in Forbes magazine with Brandy, she deserves that credit.
Correct.
The first guy, the real reason why AEW exists, because Tony was perfectly happy just going back to New Japan shit.
Yes,
he was
he was.
he was perfectly happy walking away from AEW. But the guy who got AEW to exist, the guy who really actually by proxy got Chad Khan to write $100 million check for the license and the IP,
Yes.
intellectual property, of All Elite Wrestling. The guy who not only did that, but got Vince McMahon to fly to Atlanta, sit on his couch, and say, I want you back at this number. And Cody literally said, nah, man,
Go up.
go up. And Vince did. The guy who had the best intentions, who wanted it to happen, and then the guy who said, I didn't leave AEW because of one person, and we all know it's a lie. We all know that Tony Khan thought too much of himself, turned around and said, I can do this. I don't need you to be helping in creative, because the Bucks don't fucking help in creative. The Bucks just go out there, do their shtick,
They
and go
do
home.
their own shit.
The fact that Cody Rhodes walked out of AEW as arguably one of the most hated guys by the audience, the guy who was boring, the guy who didn't make any sense, the guy who brought Jade Cargill to the masses and created one of the greatest segments for all the
Bitch,
wrong
someone
reasons.
you must have thought this was. Oh, what did she say? Oh, that shit was so good.
Who told you it was open mic night, bitch? And then she called her a heifer?
Yeah.
I mean, to quote Jim Cornette, Foley, Punk, Piper, Brandy Rhodes. Like, the fact that he walked out
Yeah.
a complete zero and then got to WrestleMania, it was what it did for people like us was it made us realize in that moment, I think I said it the next day on the show, this audience, being WWE, they actually have no idea what he just did for 2 years. They have no fucking clue. They didn't know at all. That fucking moment was like, oh my God. He actually was able to go do the most groundbreaking thing of the last 20 years, and no one knows about it. He got to walk away unscathed from AEW. And that's when I started to realize Cody's not going to be the big domino. The domino is when the mid-card leaves AEW.
Correct.
And you've seen what they've done in WWE.
Right.
And also, to realize that he showed up with the music.
The presentation, all of it.
Allow me to say this. Promotion only. Personal life, go to hell, which is where you'll be. Vince McMahon, business-wise, those 90-day deals made a lot of sense. He walked out and walked in, and it wasn't even a fresh coat of paint. It was the same guy.
Yep.
He literally, he pulled the ultimate Tom Brady.
Yes, he did.
He walked out of the greatest fucking situation that he built, and he walked into another place and did it again.
And it had the largest pop ever in the Cowboys Stadium that it shook outside the stadium.
Well, besides
Once again,
you
I
guys-
understand what he's done. It's just I personally just don't like him. Period.
And that's fine. But like I said, Jesse and I both sat on this show, and I'm pretty sure we both said, you take any love or hate of Cody Rhodes out of this, this business-wise is the smartest and dumbest move in the last 20 years, all at the same time.
Yeah, no, he's done a good job. He's made a main event. He's gotten the kids to like him, which is how you make money in the WWE.
The only thing he did wrong in that 48 hours was the Cody Vader. Being by itself on the
Well,
stage.
I'm about to say on Raw. Yeah,
On
that
Raw.
was stupid.
On Raw.
That was fucking stupid. He could have just walked out, and they fixed that thankfully pretty quickly.
Yeah. All right, so we got what, 4 moments?
That's 4, yeah.
Well, hold on. So we got Punk,
had to be Punk.
Yeah, Punk.
I'm gonna put him showing up to SummerSlam on my honorable mention because otherwise we got 3 Punks.
Survivor
Survivor
Series.
Sorry,
Series.
Survivor Series. Sorry.
SummerSlam's in a week, so we
But
get
it, Punk Punk.
He's not looking at us like you fucking idiots.
I know.
Punk.
Vince selling WWE.
Yeah. Vince's retirement. Cody, and then you know what? It's been 300 episodes.
By the way, really quick,
Let me-
the reason I would put that in the scandal is because that kind of advanced the sale quicker.
That's true.
Yep.
All right, and
Yep.
you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna extend the olive branch, regardless of what the show actually was, regardless of what happened afterwards. Guys, look, Wembley Stadium was a moment. I mean, it.
Oh, we're talking about the first All In there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was pretty huge.
you did something that no one had done in this century. You took Wembley Stadium and you proved there was something there. Once again, as in typical AEW fashion, the fallout and the aftermath and the follow-up
They
has been
blew
dog
it
shit.
tits, yeah.
But the moment in time, I remember watching it on a free service, because fuck you, I wasn't paying for it. On a free service, I remember thinking to myself, you know what? Please take the baton and make this work. Because it will make it better for everyone. Because I have said this for years, and I'm going to make one more plea to the fans out there who think all I do is shit. I know and have gotten to know in the 7 years of this show, throughout 300 episodes, what Leroy has and I thank you for Leroy. When I say this with a thank you. What Leroy forced me to do has created lifelong friendships with men and women that I barely see, but maybe once or twice a year, but have made an overwhelming connection with. And I want to be honest with you.
Wrestlers.
Oh, I know. But
And I want to be honest with you.
First,
You bought equipment. Of course, I was feeling obligated to do this. You bought the equipment. But anyway,
it was a
let me finish my statement.
hard
Let me
persuasion.
finish the sentimental.
Let him
please.
finish, and then I'm going to defend
Yeah.
you. I got you.
Sledgehammer and a cinder block.
All
No,
I
no,
gotta-
not.
All I gotta say is this: I want every single one of them to make an honest, real living at this, because I have seen people that you don't know the names of. You might have seen them on Ring of Honor when Tony was in town. You might have seen them on AEW Dark when that was still a thing. You don't know what they've done. You don't know the roads they've done. Like, they've done it, and I've watched it.
Right.
There's
I was going to throw an olive branch and say number 5 should be me. As a joke. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, maybe number 5 should be me. So, in this sense, because you guys told me this.
Honorable mention.
Like, me becoming a full member of the show almost really filled this thing out.
yeah, I agree, 100%.
And I mean, I want to thank you guys because I still remember, I started to get the Sundays off, and I'm like, you guys still doing that thing? I would love to come back.
Well, that was the thing. You just kind of had nothing else to
Right.
do. And I was like, hey, this is a guarantee.
Right.
Just don't bring COVID into his house around his kids was about the only rule we had.
Right.
And
Yeah.
And that's kind of where, we did this at the 100.
Leroy's been so welcoming. His family's been so good to me.
We did this
so-
at the 100. We did this at 200, and we'll do this at 300. And Mark, I know you're here, and I appreciate all the love and respect you've given the show over the years. But
Yeah, thank you.
understand something. This was planned whether you were coming on the show or not. Was like 300 episodes of all of a sudden. I don't make light of this. I have made $1
Pro wrestling.
in the wrestling business. And when I tell people that, I actually get teary-eyed. There are few things in entertainment that have gotten me to genuinely tear up, and that is a statement that I still don't believe half the like
Right.
seriously, I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, I know Allison's here. Jesse was still there even before this started. I know you were there, but it's like, fuck, did that really happen? Did I actually make $1 as out of the professional wrestling industry?
I also think about like the shit we've been able to do, and now we're going to continue to do. We got you here, which is amazing, and Mark, and like we're about to go do the convention. Hopefully, we're going to do more of those in the future. Like the things we continue to be able to do.
if health and finances weren't the worst in 2026, we'd be
We
down
were gonna
at
go to
WrestleMania
way more,
tomorrow,
right.
and we'd be covering the whole week
Right,
of wrestling.
right.
Oh yeah.
But God had other plans, and yeah, I'll give you that.
Thanks,
But-
Donnie.
But I will say this, like
Dickhead.
me and Leroy were talking about a little bit on the show last week, like going into 2027, like there are plans in place, people, to go to these different conventions and shows to see you all, to do more of this.
We also finally have jobs that are literally like, yeah, go do it. We don't care.
Right.
So I'm like,
I've been able to
let's go, baby.
I've been able to start making money to even help to do that. So like the fact that like, I don't know. It's just like you said too. It's created an extra family. I got a pro wrestling family. Met some really great people through this.
I want to be very honest about this because one thing I've learned from watching Financial Audit is sometimes if you're just honest with your audience, you get a very real audience. The guy sitting next to me, Mark, a lot of other people whose names I forget as I'm speaking here, including wrestlers. The money that you guys help give this podcast is literally, yes, part of it will go to us. That's business. Okay,
Right.
I got to pay the bills.
Right.
But I want to make this so big that I can implore Mark to be like, Mark, I know you're going to make a really good living in your next venture, but if I can offer you similar money, come do this 7 days a
Right.
week. Come do it. I want to employ people. I want to call up my friends who are the wrestlers, who are the talent, and be like, what's your rate? I'll pay you $200 more to come on up. I'll put you in a nice hotel. I'll do everything for
Right.
fucking 30 goddamn minutes of your time.
Right. Right.
I want to reinvest in this because I want people to understand that this sport, and there are moments I can point to, and one of them was with our boy Funny Bone. If you can if you can just get people to a match,
Right.
if you can just get them to see it live,
Right.
there's an itch there. If they just let it be scratched.
You talked about Mark getting the chance to see behind the scenes of a wrestling show at DPW.
And now Mark literally fucking texts me 6 DPW ideas a week.
But like I tell people all the time,
Leave me
when you
alone.
listen to the show, is I tell people, go to your local promotion, see if you can volunteer.
Wrestling has never been in a better place.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that you got to realize every single star that you see, even Roman Reigns, performed in a fucking storage locker.
Perform somewhere really small before they got their
Guys,
start.
wrestling begins at the indie level, and there's
Yep.
there's a lot of now. Tony Khan has unfortunately listened to the wrong people at the top and has not given you what I believe to be the class of the indies. But son of a, I know how long
It's,
we've been going.
it's,
I
it's
know-
number 300, baby. It
It's
was going
number
to be kind
300,
of long.
man. It is. I don't give a fuck. It's number 300.
It's
Who
number
cares?
300.
But like, I swear to God, I'm ending on this. This sport.
Raw
ha-
comes on in an hour. You'll make
yeah,
it.
you'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
This sport has never been better.
Recorded anyway.
Yeah, exactly. This sport has never been better, and I want to grow with it, and I want to make this a 24-hour news and entertainment outlet. And yes, that costs money, but like, guys, I actually have kept doing this, and we haven't even really made real money. I just
Not
get
yet, but we're
I
getting
just
there.
get wet in the eyes when I realize I've made $1 doing this.
Yeah. We've made a bit more thanks to you guys in our.
Dollar is what I made.
Thanks to you
Careful,
guys.
that's as much as we're allowed to do before we're
of course,
copyrighted.
we have more sponsorships as we've talked about. We will be at Excalibur Con. I don't know about Zach. Will be able to announce if the full team will be there, but me and Leroy can announce now.
I've already said I'll be there.
I'm talking about for MAW.
Oh, yeah.
Women of Nations.
MNDO, yes.
Me and him for sure will be there.
It's my annual surgery year. I gotta do another one.
And I'm hoping to have some sort of presentation for us at Twin Cities Con if I can figure it out. But seriously, everyone new who listens, people who have been with us for day one like Mark, thank you all because, yes, we love it. We've continued to do this for 300 episodes, but it's also given us a chance to meet people and have new friends and make $1 in the wrestling industry, and we continue to grow as a show. We're sorry we didn't get the chance to go live. Big J thought he had it set up. Big J did not have it set up. Big J probably will have it set up next week.
301, baby.
So for 301, hopefully we'll be live. Thank you all. We love you all.
Yes,
At
we
the
do.
end of the show will be a new ad for a great new sponsor called ProMed. I want you guys to check them out. We love you, and bye-bye.